and had shoes on his feet.
Right.
And yeah, he was worried about his hairstyle.
Right, well that's definitely not true either. This is unbelievable.
Well, there was a man on the radio doing poetry, says Karl in his diary. I thought I'd have a go at doing a poem about today.
Not really. Steve, I'm a little bit queasy. He hasn't really written a poem.
He's written a small poem.
No, he hasn't really.
Yes. If moths had eyes...
Fuck me!
let me read the poem, okay?
Oh, fuck.
You wouldn't interrupt T.S. Eliot.
Okay. Okay.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
Right, it may be the greatest poem ever written.
Just dissecting it briefly, you attempt to rhyme in the first 4 lines, but abandon the rhyming system in the last 3. Is there a creative decision for that?
Can we have Karl read that?
By all means, yeah.
Just you read it as you would like to. So this is, imagine this, right? Okay, this is going out all over the world. This podcast. And now, Karl Pilkington, a new poet from Manchester, now living in London, England, would like to read a poem.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
We had bacon and egg on toast. I'm eager to get through the brown sauce, as the bottle is too big to go in any cupboard, so it has to be left on the sideboard. So I had about 4 dollops of the stuff. I love it because, that made it into the diary. He's concerned about the fact that brown sauce is too big, so he's rushing through it.
I know, but I'm just saying the kitchen isn't that big, and it looks messy when you leave stuff out, doesn't it? And we've got this giant brown sauce bottle, and I don't want to chuck it away because that'd be a waste.
So you're having brown sauce and everything, your cornflakes,
yeah.
in your tea.
Yeah.
A wasp got in the flat. Trouble's brewing. It was massive, the biggest wasp ever. Suzanne asked me to get it out, but I wanted to take a picture of it first. I was getting my phone ready when it flew at me. I reckon the sting on it could have killed a kitten.
So specific.
It ended up flying out the window on its own. Drama averted.
Oh, God.
We went out for tea. You're always in a cafe. That's what this diary. You spend so much time in a cafe. There were loads of flying ants. I kept kicking the table because I could feel them on my legs. I wouldn't be that jumpy normally, but I still had flashbacks of the giant wasp from the morning. Suzanne told me to stop being stupid because I was ruining her night out.
A night out in a cab. Brilliant.
What was it, her birthday?
And flashbacks from an incident.
Yeah.
Like he's some sort of, war veteran. What is it? It's the wasp. It could have killed a kitten.
Bought some wallpaper. We got back and got on with it. The wall that we've papered before has got a big mirror under it. We papered on top of it again. I ended up reading my phrase book while Suzanne did the rest of the tidying up. Now, what's your phrase book? This is just you trying to master English, is it?
It's just a book that tells you little sayings and how they came about.
An interesting phrase is potluck. It came about when all people ate is stews. They used to chuck all sorts of stuff into the stew. You stuck your spoon in, and sometimes you got something nice like beef, or you could end up with a bit of frog. It's potluck.
Good, isn't it?
That's what it said in the book, did it?
A bit of frog.
Got up and checked the wallpaper out. There are loads of air bumps and it's buckled on the joins. I wish we'd never done it. Suzanne said the washer was broke and it's out of its warranty. She called up the people who made it and they said it will cost £150 to fix. I don't know how they know that when they haven't even seen it. I want to smash it to bits and see what they can do for £150. So much anger.
I want to smash it to bits. That'd be great, wouldn't it? 150, you sure? Come round.
Yeah.
And it's just like a cube that's been through one of those car crushers.
Yeah.
150 quid, there's 150 quid, fix it.
I watched the news and calmed down a bit, because there was a story about some Siamese twins who are having an operation. They've got 2 heads, 4 arms, 2 legs, 1 liver. The doctor said they will have 1 leg each. I felt bad worrying about the washer when people have bigger problems like the Siamese twins. Ricky and Steve asked me to do a poem about one day a week, so I thought I'd do one today. I can't obviously do it justice, so I should let the master read it.
You've done another poem?
Yeah, you said, just do one. If you have a day where you've had a lot of emotions.
Well, I loved the poem, and so did the listeners, and I knew they would, so if you can do that every week, that would be a joy for me.
You can't force a poem, though.
No, I know.
A diary's easy to do, because you just write down what you're doing.
But
Yeah.
you've got to have some really meaty subject matter to be able to write a poem, Rick, as you'll discover.
I know.
Right, so, you've heard what problems they had that day.
Go on then.
Bubbled wallpaper. What a mess. Washer dry and knackered. What a mess. Siamese twins separated. 1 leg less.
There was an animal in the paper today that I've never before seen. It's called an alpaca. They are gormless looking. The fella who breeds them said they are easy to look after because they're used to harsh conditions because they normally live in the mountains. The problem with this is they will turn useless eventually, and then if we tried to bung it back on the Andes, they won't like it. It's like how people win these live like a star for a week competitions. They're not good for anyone. Okay?
Do you know what I mean? If something's living somewhere...
But he's not
But
going to
why are
send
we
them
gonna
back
bung
to
it
the
back?
Andes. He's presumably breeding them for something else.
Yeah, but say if eventually, the world's getting busy, there's hardly any room, and we go, right, what can we shift here? What's getting in our way that we can shift? Well, those funny-looking things came from the Andes, bung them back. All right, then let's put them back. And they go, oh, they don't like it. They're not surviving, they're dying out. Why did we bring them here? Oh, it was closer. Yeah, but look, we've died out now of the...
Sorry, this is an argument with
This is a whole
yourself.
scenario.
This isn't happening. They're angry about it, like it just happened and you're sick of it. No, this has happened
No,
yet.
I'm just looking at how it will happen. Leave them where they were.
But
It's
you're
like-
getting angry about things that you're speculating on now. It's absurd, Karl. Not once have
That
I
was
read
an
here about
argument
your
with
anger
yourself.
about terrorism or international, political injustice. Not once have you written about that. Only about the fact we may send animals back to the Andes.
I know, but just because it just annoyed me, that's all. They brought them here, some fella's getting a load of praise because they brought this weird animal into the country, and yet it's like, well, they were on the Andes for a reason. Leave them there. It was happier there. I feel guilty when I open a bag and a fly flies out of it, and I think, where's that come from?
What bag are you opening with flies like that? What bag?
No, just when, the bag I took the computer home in, a fly flew out of it, and I thought, when did that get in that bag? Wherever brought that from? And it's the same thing. It doesn't want to be somewhere else. It was where it was. And that's the same with this Polaco, or whatever.
Oh, God! It's amazing! It really is the ramblings of a madman, isn't it?
Some new sea thing has been found.
There's no headlines on the news.
It wasn't found by sea experts. It was found on eBay. Someone was selling it for a £5. I don't see the point in buying something that you don't know what it is.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It was...
Someone's found some sort of shell with a thing living in it.
Right.
They thought, oh, I've never seen one of these before, I can flog it on eBay. Someone bought it and then wanted to look after it, went to some sea expert, and they said, oh, I don't know what that is. That's the story. It's just weird how stuff's being found on eBay.
No, it wasn't found on eBay, though, was it?
Yeah, but that's where the specialist people sort of picked up on it. It's just weird that... all I was saying is I wouldn't want one. If you don't know how to... If it's a new creature, you don't know what makes it happy. When you get a kitten, you go, stroke its head, loves it, right? And you can do that knowing that it's liking it. If I had a little seashell, and you go, does it sit in water? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You could end up doing more damage. So that's why I wouldn't want it. It's nice to have rules in it. It's nice to know what you're doing with something.
Well, as you write in the diary, it's like if an alien landed and wanted to live with you. As much fun as it might sound, it wouldn't be long before you got annoyed with it because it wouldn't eat the food you gave it.
That's what I'm saying, but I couldn't have a go at it because he might not like pasta.
It might not.
got up and put the radio on. I listened to the story that the vicar read on Radio 2.
Yeah, that could be good.
He was saying how Jesus was 33 when he died. He said he was more into the idea of doing a lot in your life than living for ages. This was linked to the news about the doctor who's come up with some stuff that he's been injecting himself and his wife with that makes you age better. I looked it up on the internet. It wasn't worth them doing it because they are already old looking. I don't know why people want to stay looking young. You can wear a bald head better if you're old because hairs are replaced by wrinkles.
It's drivel.
No, it's not drivel.
Pointless.
It's just
a pointless entry to a diary, that.
It's not, because that could be like an important bit in like world history.
What?
The fact that someone's trying to make people not age. Age is good, isn't it? When you see an old person.
That's been going forever.
What has?
People trying to age better.
No, but he's talking about if you're 90, he wants people to look like they're 30. And that's not good, because how would the world run when that's going on?
Well, I agree. But
when
again, it's not a revelation.
If I like chatting to old people, because they know a lot of stuff. So if I'm sat on a train and someone's old, I'm happier talking to them about...
They get up and move after about 10 minutes.
Well, no, the fact that many of them are infirm and can't.
Yeah, they have to stay there and listen to this one.
But yeah, even that means that they're getting more out of life in a way, because they don't move about as much, so they have more thinking time. It is weird how that happens to you as you get closer to death.
Jesus.
You're not working as much because you're resting, and you can think back about your life, and you can think, oh, I had a good one. Actually, it's not been that bad. Whereas
But you must have started that now, because you've been doing nothing for the past 3 months.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, it is a good thing for you to do, to sort of think about what you've been doing with your days and your weeks.
And how do you assess your life so far? With all this spare time you've had in your hands and moping around and moaning about your illness and just sitting around, right? You've been introspecting, have you?
Yeah.
Go on then. What have you come up with?
I haven't come up with anything. I'm just, I'm just, I have an all right life, and things are changing.
Oh, keep saying that.
No, but you don't know how much they are changing, to the point of, I don't know if I mentioned the squirrel eating Mars bars, but from that, from that happening to monkeys opening bottles with lids on them, to, it's mental out there. It's madness what is going on. And all I'm saying is old people need to be old people. You need oldness. You need to see old people. You need to go, right, they might have a solution. They've been on the earth longer. Quick, we need an answer. How old are you? I'm 32. Well, you look 78.
I don't know what you're saying! I don't know who that conversation was with, why you got angry, and I think you made the opposite point that you were making at the beginning. If you say you're 32, you look 78. No, you were saying about it would be a problem if you were 78 and looked 32. Well, I don't know what you're saying. You came down on the wrong side then. You did that whole thing and you bollocksed it up again in your brain.
I'm just saying, either way, you need to have people who look old. Otherwise, who's in charge?
I don't know what you mean. Right. So you say you're saying it'd be alright to make 78-year-olds look 32, as long as there were some 32-year-olds that look 78, as long as you've got old-looking people.
No, but say
Can I tear this page out? Because it's worthless.
What I mean is, when I went to the doctors, I saw the specialist, right, about the kidney stones. I was asking him all the straight questions.
Go on.
Is it life-threatening?
No.
How long am I going to be out?
Couple
all the
of
rest
days.
of it, right? Now,
as it turned out, it is life-threatening, and you've been out for 3 months whinging about the fucking thing. Strange.
Now, he was quite old. He looked about 55, and that reassured me in a way. In a way, it didn't, because he's one of them doctors who didn't open his eyes much, and I kind of thought, I hope you open them wider.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean he didn't open his eyes much?
One of those sort of doctors who's either that overworked, that he does that, when he's tired, so he's going, right, what we're going to do is, and he's doing that with his eyes shut, he's talking like that.
This is radio.
I know, but I'm telling you, so you can see.
But people are meant to be listening to this.
But if they can't imagine me with my eyes shut...
Well, tell them you got your eyes shut. Just say he had his eyes shut.
Yeah, he had his eyes shut.
Had he been reading this? Bored stupid, I imagine. He's just trying to get a...
Well, do you know what I mean? Or I don't know if it's because he's tired or if he's that educated that some people know so much you don't even have to look at it.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Intelligent people.
Who is so educated that they don't need to open their eyes.
You see it. You see like...
So, who's that bloke of those? Is he blind? No, he's been reading too much. He doesn't open his eyes anymore, doesn't he? No.
Old people who you see wearing tweed and what have you, and they're really posh and they talk, and whenever they talk, their eyes are shut and they
I
open.
don't know what this observation is.
I don't understand why you've never seen that.
I've never seen an old, educated man wearing tweed who doesn't bother open his fucking eyes.
Steve,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Steve, have you seen... Do you know what I mean? When people don't sort of open their eyes when they're talking to you, and it can be quite annoying, because it's like they're saying, I'm not interested about you sat there, I'm not bothered if you're listening or not, I'm saying what I'm saying because I say what I say. And it can be quite annoying.
If he has got his eyes closed, he's probably just trying to absorb what you're saying and think carefully about it, so he doesn't misdiagnose you.
I'm not having a go at him.
Well,
I'm just saying he was 50 odd, and I was happy that he was there telling me...
I don't know why you were watching his eyes when he was telling you about your insides.
Because you can tell a lot by people's eyes. That's what I said about jellyfish. But, you know, just lines in a face tell a few stories, and I don't think we should get rid of them lines.
Looks like the world's fattest man is having an operation to get rid of some of the fat. He has to have an iron bed because that's the only thing that can hold his weight. There's also a man whose skull has fell out. He's in hospital somewhere. I hate that. It would make me panic. The hospital is busy with people coming in to look at their head.
What are you talking about there? That tells us nothing. Right, it's impossible for a skull to fall out.
How are scholars in 10,000 years going to be... What are they going to decipher from that?
They can sort of go...
There's not enough incident detail.
But how did his skull fall out?
Circulation problems.
But answer the question. How did his skull fall out? Fall out of what?
He was at home, and I don't know if he was combing his hair or something, but it come off.
What did?
His skull.
What do you mean, his skull? Do you know what the skull is?
It's a part of the head.
Well, no, it's the structure of the head. It's the bone. Do you mean the top of the skull?
This is only useful if you have all the salient facts. Then it would be of interest to us. We could.
Well, I couldn't take that on. I'm busy. I'm not going to start looking into stuff in depth. Just get the details.
God. You're such an idiot. You are the best, idiot in the world.
Well, I don't want to be premature, but that entry is followed by, I injured my toe the other day by dropping the toaster. Instead of letting it hit the floor, I tried to catch it with my foot. I didn't think I'd done any harm, but my nail looks like it could fall off. I might show it to the doctor when I get my kidney stones out. We could easily get by without nails on the feet. They are more trouble than they're worth.
You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
I think on the days when cavemen without shoes and animals need nails, I don't think we need them now. I honestly... Because you hear about ingrowing toenails, right? So that's a problem. You've got to cut them. Stuff gets under there and gets infected. Get rid of them, you won't have any of that. As long as you wear shoes.
No, you'd have unprotected toes and fingers, wouldn't you?
I didn't say on the fingers, just on the toes.
So why do you need them on the fingers and not the toes?
Because you use your hands to do stuff. I've said about toenail out, it'd be good to have it growing on the head.
What?
Just having like a sheet of it, just like a nail on the forehead. It wouldn't look weird because we'd all have it. I'm not saying...
What are you talking about now?
I'm just saying, I don't want to go on about evolution and stuff because we've done it all.
What do you think the skull is for?
No, but I mean on the outside, so that when you bang your head, it's a little bit more protection. Like people, I mean, you're looking at me like that, why'd you wear a helmet on a bike then?
Because the bike wasn't meant to be invented. We weren't meant to whiz along at 70 miles an hour with evolution.
I know, but because life's changing, like you've said...
But you can't go, let's evolve, let's re-evolve.
Okay, let's assume we've got this nail on our head that's growing out of our forehead.
So we look like one big thumb.
Yeah. Which weirdly, Karl kind of... I mean, you can almost imagine it looking at Karl now. You can imagine a big nail there. Does the nail continue to grow? Do we have to trim the head nail?
Yeah, in the same way you get a haircut.
Why is that preferable in your mind to just wearing a crash helmet in instances where you might have something hit your head?
Just because, for a start, helmets, you have to carry them around with you. That's one thing that's put me off having a motorbike. Whenever you see someone on a motorbike, it's all like the clothes they've got to wear. And it's like a big upheaval, isn't it? It's you know, if you have a car, you can get in with your shorts on, your flip-flops on. A motorbike, it's like you're an astronaut or something, and you're only nipping down the road for some milk. Do you know what I mean? So, what I'm saying is get rid
But does it annoy you having to put shoes on every day, and underpants, and a vest, and I don't know...
No, but once they're on, I'm not carrying them. They're on me. If I had to then take the shorts off for whatever reason and walk around holding them, I'd go, I can't be bothered. I don't like holding a bag. I don't like bags. We carry too much around with us now. I don't like carrying stuff. It's just a hassle, isn't it?
It's just endless things he doesn't want to do, doesn't like doing. He's like carrying bags. Who the hell has a gripe about carrying bags? Why is that a concern?
Because it's stuff that's on
I
you.
love the way that he wouldn't mind having a nail growing out of his fucking head, but he doesn't want to carry a bag.
What's good with it is everybody's got one of these. And
But it's not going to happen, Karl.
And the most important thing in your body, apart from the heart, is your brain. So protect that, not the toes. The toes we can get by
Please,
without the toes.
people.
But your head's important, isn't it? There's a lot of stuff in your head. And I know all this just after seeing the Bodyworks thing. I went to see it's a show on where there's a load of like dead bodies and that. And you can see how much stuff's in the body. And there's loads of stuff. There's nothing in there that you don't need. It's all doing stuff. Everything in your body.
We've been telling you that for years.
But you reckon you don't need the toenails?
Yeah, that's on the outside. I'm saying everything that's on the inside of your body, right?
You don't need the appendix.
No, but doesn't that depend on what lifestyle you have?
Well, it's a hangover of when we probably ate a lot more cellulose, and it's.
Yeah, well, they might come back. Things are always coming back, aren't they? So if people start eating them again.
What about male nipples?
Sort of looks all right though, doesn't it? Because the chest is quite plain, so with nothing on it, you'd go, oh, what's this? It just balances it out. I think it looks all right. I think it works. So leave it. But what were we talking about?
But wouldn't you rather have maybe a little like a rib cage around the testicles? Because you get a whack in them and it. Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Not an invention, Karl. It's not an invention, and we can't do it. But
would you be able to sit down still? Because that's the good thing with them at the moment is movement. So it sort of works. But don't they say, they said something about testicles at the Bodyworks thing.
well, they're on the outside.
Put yours away, Karl. You're not one of the exhibits.
They're on the outside because they have to be a few degrees below body temperature for the Sertoli cells to
So that's an odd design. That they had to go there because it's a bit of an odd place to have them.
Where would you suggest? Dangling from the throat?
Sort of.
I want to redesign you, right? You can possibly do this now. This is something you can actually do, probably. You could probably have your testicles anywhere. So where would you want them?
You've got a giant forehead nail.
Yeah. You could have that. It probably wouldn't grow, but we could certainly have that.
I just mean like, because if all it's about is temperature, you don't want to get them too hot.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting hot down there because you're wearing pants and what have you. So have them nearer to the outside of the body.
Well, they are on the outside of the body.
No, but we wear pants over them.
So you wear pants over them because they're testicles, and polite society suggests that you don't show your testicles.
Yeah, well, that's the odd thing, isn't it? That's what's happened somehow. That we've said testicles shouldn't be seen.
Well, then just put a hole in your trousers. If it's only about, keeping them cool, and because they're too hot, why don't you just hang them out your shorts?
Because there's too many sort of seats that are shared these days, isn't there? But what I'm saying is...
Well, what are you saying?
Where would you put them?
Somewhere like, sort of under the ears. So it sort of just looks like lobes.
So you would redesign your body to have a pair of testicles hanging from your ears?
And when people are sometimes talking, they do sort of mess with their ears and they're always saying check for lumps. More handy.
Had a late night last night because I stayed up to watch a programme about monkeys.
It's already good! Of
course you did.
It's already good!
Now, before I read on, I mean, is this not some kind of monkey news? Is this not a late return to monkey news?
Well, it's not that good.
Is it not? Whereas the other monkey news is...
Oh, chimpanzee, that's some more shit!
This is what he says. This is what he gleaned from the programme about monkeys. It sat on a bridge and wanted stuff off people to walk over the bridge.
What?
So it was acting as some kind of toll booth,
This
was
is
it?
ridiculous.
No, it was a bridge in like the jungle.
Oh, shut the fuck up!
And it's a monkey that sat on a bridge and a lot of tourists go through the area.
No, it's a monkey who realised that if he sits there, he'll get stuff because it look like it's a cute little chimp begging.
No, but every time.
Yeah, because you give a monkey, I'm as bad as him now. If you give a chimpanzee a banana, and he starts realising that humans have things to give.
Yeah, but it's all
Squirrels
sorts of
learn
stuff.
that. I mean, you don't go, you wouldn't say, went to the park, the squirrel's waiting at the gate. You have to give them a toll to go in. They're only going to give them a nuts. They come up to you every time. You fucking idiot.
Went to bed after watching it and fell asleep thinking about it on the bridge right now. It's a bit bad, really, because the monkey should work harder for its food. It made me remember the slug I saw yesterday that was eating bird poo. Nobody would ever help a slug with food like they do with ducks and monkeys. A slug's life is pretty bad. The only time they come out of their den is when it's raining.
Den.
So even their days out are depressing.
It is. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It is like, it's a horrible thing to be in it. A slug.
Let him talking about what is it like to be a slug.
No, just because like the monkey, even though it was being quite aggressive, everyone was like, "Oh, give it some water," and it was well like kitted out. It had like chocolate bars, bottled water, some like fizzy stuff, and all that.
An iPod. It was listening to Monkey News.
He could have had one if he wanted one. It was getting away with murder on that bridge, and that's just because it was furry. Yeah, if that was like a blob, like a slug, there's no way people would be that friendly towards it, and it just annoys me how you get this pecking order for like no matter what creature you are, favouritism. And that slug was only eating that bird poo because it wasn't being offered stuff.
If it was offered toffees or whatever.
Well, it's just sad, isn't it? It's come to that. That's what its life has come to.
Yeah, but it's not as mollusk that's down on its fucking luck.
He didn't live in a big country house, and his
but
wife
it
left
is.
it. The kids went. It started hitting the
watching
bottle.
it, and I kind of thought, and look, they do only come out in the rain, and it's depressing, and it'll probably get killed in a bit. And that was its last meal. I just
last meal.
But it wouldn't prefer steak and chips, Karl. It doesn't have.
It must like a leaf or at the end of the day, it's an insect. They love a
It's
leaf.
not an insect.
Well, it's part of that gang. It's part of that. No, it's part of
They
that.
hang out together. They hang out together.
Why do you think it's part of that
Because
gang?
it knocks about in the woods in the same place as a spider does. But what I'm saying is they're eating boring stuff because that is what's
It's
in
not
their
boring
area.
stuff to them. They're not. I have no opinion of it at all. They take in sustenance.
No, but where you are is what you eat. When I'm in London, I'll have beans on toast for lunch. On holiday, what? Tapas? Go on, I'll have a bit. So it's whatever you eat, what's in that area.
Suzanne went off to work and I went to the shop to buy some envelopes. The shop was empty, but the fella behind the counter was on the phone and just kept talking even though he could see I was waiting. I started to count backwards from 20. When I got to 6, he hung up and served me. I won't use the shop again. Question, why count backwards from 20?
So he's thinking, what's going to happen at 1? If I start counting from 1, he's going, well, let him carry on.
What, out loud?
So, not really loud, but like more of a mouth action, so he could see who was doing it. You know, like
Sorry, you just started miming counting backwards to a man in a shop.
he's on the phone. The
Yes.
shop is empty. I
Yes.
thought he'd like me custom. He could have served me and stay on the phone. Even though I don't like that, at least he's still doing what he needs to do.
I'd have said,
working the
sorry,
shop.
can I just get these, please?
Yeah. Well, I stood there and I thought, it's annoying me now, my kidneys aching, and I started to get a bit of a sweat on. So I thought, right, I'm going to give him 20 seconds, and if he hasn't got off the phone, I'm leaving. And when I got to about 6, he served me. What's wrong with that? Again,
You are
giving
one
yourself,
of the strangest people.
it's just giving yourself a thing. I could have been stood there for
Free.
ages.
He's one of the strangest people who's free to walk
It's
the
about,
streets.
no, I set myself a little target, and I thought, I don't want to waste another 30 seconds in here, I'll give him 20. It worked. He served me at 6.
But it didn't work. Yeah, but did he do it because you were doing that, or did he finish his phone call?
I don't know, I was busy counting.
Looked at what's been going on in the world. There was a human head attached to a seagull's body in a jar.
Is that all it says?
This is the sort of weird stuff that goes on behind surgery doors. I doubt it ever flew because the head would have been too heavy.
Well, of course it wasn't. It didn't happen. It wasn't live.
No, but they try this stuff, don't they? That's like that programme I watched with a
Well,
monkey.
who has ever tried to put a human head on a seagull's body?
They've done loads of stuff like that. It's part of us moving on, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
I'm not going to
Carl?
get into arguing about
Well,
science
you're
because
wrong.
it's all
Don't
behind
talk
closed doors.
shit.
How do you think we can change a heart now from another body? You have to try things out. It's trial and error. All sorts of weird stuff goes on in hospitals, but we let it happen because it's to help us out in the long run, isn't it?
But what are they aiming towards when they're going to find out if you can put a head on a seagull's body? What is that? What are they want to learn, and how do they want to apply that knowledge? A new heart, it is obviously for a reason. It saves a life.
Yeah,
what is this to save money on transport? Instead of getting a bus pass, you go, can I just put my head on the seagull's body? I go, well, it won't work. Well, try it.
Yeah, but there is odd things like that. Like, I saw a fish the other day, right? And honestly, it's the weirdest thing. It was just like a blob with a face. Now, I would never have said, yeah, let that swim about. I'd have killed it from day dot. I would have gone, get rid of that.
Oh, God! Under what circumstances would you have killed that from day dot?
I'm just saying, looking at it, I'd say that does not work. And it looked sad. It looked like it didn't want to be about.
Have you got her number? Now, of course, for those of you who have not been keeping abreast of Karl's medical complaints, just bring us up to speed, Karl. You had to go into hospital this week because previously you'd had...
I've been in and out, honestly. I've been in and out of that hospital just with kidney problems, really painful and what have you. And
you had kidney stones, alright?
No, but seriously.
Monday. I had a bit of a lie-in today because I have to get up early for my operation tomorrow. Not only have I got to have tubes shoved up my knob, but I also have to get up at 5:50. Suzanne said I could have what I want for my last dinner. It's not your last dinner, you're going for an operation.
Yeah, but you can't take things for granted these days.
Oh,
I had shepherd's pie and peas. Suzanne made it from scratch. As nice as it was annoying. Because making stuff from scratch means loads of pots, and it's my job to do the washing up. So much as the food was nice, there was loads of pans and that. People who get their last dinner on death row don't have to wash up. Got up at 5:55. You were supposed to be getting up at 5:50 on the other page. You were 5 minutes late getting up.
He's often late.
Often late.
No, just because I needed to have water. Before 6 o'clock, they said, don't have anything after 6.
We'll get up at 5:50 then, like you were planned to.
Don't
you having 5 minutes sleeping.
Doesn't take 10 minutes to have water, though, does it?
Well, why did you say 5:50 in the first time?
Because then it tricks me head, doesn't it? Going, I had an extra 5 minutes.
Tricks me head. Because then it tricks me head.
It... Got to the hospital and had to wait in the waiting room. There was another 9 people in there waiting to be sorted. I got called in. They sat me on a bed and took all my details down. 5 minutes later, I'd been knocked out. I got woke up when they were ripping a pipe out of my throat. I felt more rough this time. The doctor came to see me and said he couldn't find a stone, so I must have passed it. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, we filled your kidney with water and expanded it, and there was no hiding place. I sat in the recovery room for an hour while they found me a bed. One of the fellows who was sat in the room with me this morning got wheeled in. They couldn't wake him up. All the nurses were laughing because he didn't want to wake up. I bet they were laughing at me when I was in the theatre. Someone told me they totally strip you when they're operating. I would have looked like the alien on the Boswell incident.
Boswell! Boswell!
It's quite a nice analogy if it weren't for the fact that you said Boswell. It's the Roswell incident. Didn't sleep much through the night because there was a 60-year-old fella shouting at the nurse about his pillows. I don't think I slept through a full hour with one thing or another going on. My bed was next to the toilet, so I kept hearing the flush.
How do they sleep in hospitals, though? They wake you up to give you fucking sleeping pills and things, don't they? How do you sleep in there? It's always hot. It's always like 90 degrees.
There's no air.
Is that to make you drink water?
I don't know what it is. There's no air. There was an old fella across from me who kept breaking wind. He didn't even try and cover it. He was just of that age where he didn't care. Just like, that's what I do. I'm in the hospital, leave me alone.
What do you mean?
Just, I don't know what was wrong with him. I talked to him because at first I felt sorry for him. I was a little bit like, you know, he's had no visitors. No one's calling him up, so I'll talk to him. But then he got that familiar with me that he'd just be doing it whilst I'm chatting to him. Just like he's my granddad or something. It's just like, oh, that's what he does. It's like, well, I'm ill as well. Stop doing that. Honestly, unbelievable. He didn't even try and cover it with a cough. It was just like, that's...
With a cough! How would you cover it with a cough?
Just non-stop.
Got home and sat down. My pains are coming back, but the doctor said this would happen and that my insides are still in shock, so I need to take it easy. It's 9 o'clock. I'm in agony. I can't do the diary for the rest of the day. Jesus. So you may as well just tell us then what happened.
Right, well, yeah, after that, went back in. Suzanne just got frustrated with me because I was rolling about on the floor and she was trying to watch Arthur, right? So that was on the other night.
I thought it was when you lodger.
So,
And she said, look, if you're in pain, do something. She said, you know...
you went and got a cold plate.
Yeah. No, use an ashtray. Plates are for liver damage.
She said, right, come on. Let's, I can't put up with this. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So we left the flat and what have you. Got in a taxi. He filled up on the way, which was annoying.
He did it.
That
He
is
did.
cheeky.
That really, I mean, he could
On
see
the
I was
way
in
to the
pain.
hospital.
So,
Because he's not an ambulance driver.
Did you explain that to where you
no,
were going
I
to?
was in that sort of thing where you just can't be bothered. Do you know what I mean? I was in a sweat and
He
stuff.
came back with a scratch card and some barbecue.
Briquettes, yeah.
So anyway, he gets us there and he doesn't charge us, which is pretty decent of him.
That's all right, yeah.
So I go in and there's like, I don't know if you've been in like A&E at like
Agree, my imagine.
2:30 in the morning. It's
Oh.
just depressing. Fluorescent light doesn't help because it makes everyone look iller than they actually are. So in there was a woman who was just sat there crying. She wasn't holding onto any part of her body. She was just sat there whinging. And when you're feeling bad, you've got that going on. So you just want to tell her to shut up. There was a fella who was like moped over in a wheelchair that someone had just chucked in.
Moped over.
It looked like somebody had just sort of found him and wheeled him in.
Nurse? Who's the guy moped over?
So this gay fella came through. And,
How do you know he was gay?
just the way he was. I'm not having a go. He was a good fella. Do you know what I mean?
A doctor, you mean?
No, he was a nurse.
Right.
And he came through and just sort of went, oh, how are you? And I was like, oh, I've had better days. So he got
As
me
you
on
mentioned in the diary, I remember the first time when I came here, they said the nurse might put a tablet up my arse. I thought the chances of that happening had just increased.
Oh, Karl!
Yeah, but I would have let him do it. Honestly, I was that sort of out of it. That,
Of course you'd let him do it. He's a qualified nurse.
No, but the way I am now, say if it was just a tablet for sorting out my blood pressure, and I walked in there and he went, oh, hello, and he said, yeah, let's pop that. I'd go, hang on a minute. but what I mean is that night, I would have just let him put 3 up, honestly. It's just weird, isn't it, how your body just goes, let him get on with it, and you trust anyone, don't you? When you're in that much pain and you need
And
help.
they're a qualified nurse, yes.
They gave me some morphine, and my sort of head caved in again like last time, and then the pain went. But anyway, just turns out that I'd had a load of like blood clots in the bit from my kidney to my bladder, and that was acting as a sort of a stone again.
No, it's just,
So that's
it's just a scab, isn't it, where it's curing it? So.
No, but all the work, when they blew up the kidney 4 times its normal size, so there was no hiding place for the stone.
Yeah.
So when they did that, it caused a lot of blood. It must have ripped the sides of it and stuff. And then that blood was in the kidney, and it went down the pipe and blocked it up a little bit. And that's the pain that I had. It was sort of, had problems getting through all this thick blood that they'd caused. So, the weirdest thing that happened when I was in there, right, the morning, like, after I'd had the morphine and what have you, right, I slept pretty well. But I woke up, and you have, like, a telly for your own bed, that you're allowed to use if you pay for it, right? So the glow from that woke me up because they come on at about 7:10, and the telly's in front of your head. Right? So you're getting this glow and you're going, oh, what's that now? And I looked at it, and all it had written on it is, Karl received bad news about your father. Right? And I was like, is this what they do now? Because it's such a big hospital, did they just text you sort of news to your bed? And I was kind of like, like I say, it was early, it was 7:10 or whatever. Thinking, what's going on? I didn't have my mobile, Suzanne took that. And I was looking at it, I read it again, I thought, it might come up with more, like, what's up with him? Turns out it was just a review for Neighbours. It just tells you... it tells you what's on the telly that day. And there's some fella in Neighbours who's called Karl, whose dad went bad. So that sort of woke me up a bit. I had a bit of a shock then. It was kind of like... So I was wide awake at like 7:15 in the morning because my heart went a bit fast because I thought something had happened to me dad.
Karl, of course, has written a poem about the experience entitled My Ward.
All I've done here, I've been through I don't know what the word is, a bad experience.
Trauma.
A trauma, yeah, I've been through a load of trauma. So I'm just finishing it off with a little sort of picture for people.
Go on then.
In my ward. It's called my ward. Me, a Chinese fella, and an old bloke who looked like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Don't know what was wrong with him, but breaking wind was the symptoms. No one visited him or called him. he seemed quite lost to me. As well as wind problems, he had a colostomy. When I left, I said, see you to the old man. Turned out the other fella wasn't Chinese, he was from Japan. I never found out what was up with him. You've got a little picture there, haven't you, of me sat in my ward. I'm sat there with that fella who I didn't talk to, the old fella who had wind problems. And that's what a poem is, isn't it?
But the detail about you thought he was Chinese and he turned out to be Japanese, how is that evocative? That's just a piece of misinformation.
It's just
I like it.
I imagine a lot of people make
I
that
like
same
it,
mistake.
because you know why? It's like, he even makes digressions within his poem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, he could have gone back and erased that, but he didn't. He left that digression in, and I think that's great.
It's very honest.
Yeah. So, you know, you've done quite a few bits there from the diary, right? The other week you were saying a diary to sort of be famous and what have you, it's got to have a big event in it. That's a big event in my life, right?
Mm.
Peeps did a diary that had big events in it. You said about the fire on Pudding Lane. I had a kidney stone here.
You write about puddings you've had.
So is that as big as is that a proper diary thing?
It's a proper diary anyway.
I think personally, the 5 or 6 pages you've written about your ill health are genuinely interesting, and I'm sure in years to come it will be an interesting evocation of the NHS in this modern age and how it is, what it's like to be in hospital.
What other diaries are out there?
Well, a lot of them are fictional, of course, Bridget Jones and the like. There are lots of memoirs, but to
I
publish a
don't
whole
know
diary,
why.
I mean, you can
Well,
get...
the two most famous diaries, I'd have thought, was Pepys and Anne Frank.
But
Yeah.
Kenneth Williams' diaries were published after his death. Many celebrity diaries have been published. Alec Guinness, people like that.
And is that just their last year, or did they do it when they were doing a lot? Because if
yeah.
they're old and sort of not working well, a diary isn't that good.
Well, often the moments, you know, prior to their passing are some of the most interesting. You see their final thoughts and final days.
Yeah, but you say different things when you're ill. When I was on that table about to go under and you're thinking this might be it, different thoughts on the world. Do you know what I mean? Different priorities.
What's the most profound thing that you thought that, you know, it was because of your illness?
Just as I went under, the last thing I said to this woman was, "Oh, you look different with that on." And
Oh, you look different with a hat on.
yeah, it was a woman who gave me the injection, and she'd been round to the bed beforehand, sort of saying, "Right, you're allergic to this. Can you eat strawberries?" And I was a bit like, "Why are you asking me that?" And she went, "Well, no, a lot of people are allergic to strawberries." And I was saying, "But is there any trace of strawberries in the stuff?" And she's like, "No, it's just that a lot of people are." And I said, "Well, no, I eat them." And then she's like, "What about fish?" And I said, "I like some, but I haven't had them all." And and then she turned to Suzanne at that point and said, "What, do you know of anything you can't eat?" She sort of said,
like turning to the mother.
Yeah.
When the child can't answer.
but she was this woman, and she didn't have a hat on or anything. And then when I went down there, I didn't realise it was the same woman until I was lying there and she started to inject me. And I just said, "Oh, you look different with that on." And then I went out, and when I woke up, the woman sort of came round and just sort of said, "Oh, it's weird that was the last thing, like you said." And that made me think that could have been my last, you know, like fighting on the beaches or whatever. That could have been my little thing.
You look different with a hat on. Karl Pilkington.
Oh, God.
In its own way, it's quite wise. People do look different with hats on.
I think his last words would be something like, "Can this kill you?"
Yeah. Suzanne, can you drink bleach?
Me mam called me to ask me to like... Fuck me, you're right. That should be. Me mam called me to ask me to look in some of the magazine shops in London for a magazine that she can't find. It's called UFO Data. I said, I ain't heard of it. She said she's seen an advert for it in one of her ghost magazines.
I love the fact that she can't even find the magazine about unidentified flying objects.
Yeah. So we get a clue.
She
there.
thinks, I think I saw something, but I don't know whether it was a magazine or not.
So we get a clue there as to why you give any credence to this crap.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, I mean,
Mama Pilkington's into the same shit.
there's a lot of space out there, isn't there?
She said that this magazine has got news story about how Aldrin (astronaut) has got some evidence that aliens exist.
Yeah.
I told her that I found out today that the days are about 36 minutes longer on Mars. We chatted about how this is how they are more advanced than us. Do you mean the Martians?
Yeah, if they've got a longer day, that's more time that they're awake working on stuff.
Right, yeah, we know that makes no difference at all.
No, it does.
Think about it. Think about it.
Look, think about it. 6 o'clock here.
Yeah.
People are going, see you tomorrow. I'm going home. They'll be going, oh, another half hour. They've got a longer day. Productive.
And that's why they're able to fly.
That's why they're whizzing around.
To fly.
It adds up, doesn't it, over the years?
Christ almighty, what drivel!
Suzanne got in from work at 11:30. I told her about the UFOs in Mars. She said she's too tired to chat. I said, does it mean aliens will be more tired than us, or do they get more sleep? I got no answer. I love it when Suzanne goes in. She never indulges
No,
you.
it scares her. Anything with ghosts and UFOs, she sort of...
It doesn't
ignores
scare her, it bores her.
No, it freaks her out. Scares her.
Okay. I'm knackered today, and the face feels dry and spotty. Oh God, what's wrong with you?
It starts off moaning! The first thing he does is start moaning! He wakes up and goes, oh, fuck me, I didn't die. Oh, God!
I'm knackered today and my face feels dry and spotty. I think it's the change in water since being away. Or it could be all the... it could be all the Madeira cake I had yesterday.
I'm gonna burst.
But what's
I'm
the
gonna
Madeira
burst.
cake? The Madeira cake dries you out, does it?
Well, it's just quite fattening, isn't it? But I like it. It's one of my little pleasures.
Oh, God
Suzanne
almighty!
I went for a wander about to try and find the UFO data magazine for my mum. I didn't know which category to look under. There were too many magazines. I noticed how on the rude magazines, the women are being pretty rude on the cover, but on the gay magazines, it's just a fella smiling, showing a bit of arse. I don't know why gay blokes would buy it. Blokes have got their own knob to look at if they like knobs. Why were you looking at the gay magazine?
No, I wasn't. It's just that...
Oh, you were?
No, I
You
noticed
studied them.
Yeah, because I
you've
was
written
looking
about
for UFO data. I don't know where they put it.
I don't think you find evidence of other worlds down men's pants. Yeah, I don't think you want to boldly go where no man has ever gone before, Carl.
I had no luck trying to find the UFO data magazine. I will try some other shops. He writes UFO data magazine every time. He can just put UFO mag, but
No, but it
You wanna be
reminds me.
right. You wanna
It's sort
be
of-
specific,
If I write stuff down, it means that I remember it more.
Sure.
So, still looking for it.
Got some posts from Oxfam. They're flogging animals for Africa again. They've got new animals in their catalogue now. They've got donkeys and alpacas. Donkeys 50 quid, alpacas 20 pounds. I don't know if this is a special rate or if I could get one from a mam. She's been saying how they've been missing having a pet since they had the cat put down.
Sorry, you don't get it. If you buy that for someone, you don't get it.
Yeah, but they're not bothered where they're going.
Yes,
as long
they
as they're
do.
getting
Of
the
course
money.
they don't. They don't deliver them. It's not like they're in a warehouse wondering, people thinking, I hope people buy this. They're going to put them out there. They're.
But at the end of the day, 50 quid's 50 quid, and they're not bothered. If they're
Right.
sending an alpaca to Africa,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, can you get one to London? To them, that is less hassle.
Right. Carl, that's not how it works. You can't just go and say, oh, I'll have one of them.
They're not bothered. It's for charity.
Carl, of course they are. You can't buy an alpaca for 20 quid. Christ almighty. Plus postage and packaging. They're big bastards.
Read about a pub that is getting some stick because they've stopped a horse going in. It's been the horse's regular for ages, but there's been some new owners who've taken over the pub and they said they're serving fresh food and don't want a horse in there anymore. She taught me some way to breathe that will relax me. I wasn't feeling that relaxed though, because the person behind the counter was banging about making a coffee. Noise stresses me out. I wonder if less deaf people die of stress than people with working ears do.
Oh, it's the theories. It's the
It is
theories.
such a noisy world, though, isn't it?
It is. London is noisy. Very noisy.
I think just everywhere, just noise in general. They were
Yeah.
saying now, like, every noise has been used at least 5 times or something.
What do you mean?
Because there's only so many noises in the world.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there's only so many
What
noises.
do you mean every noise has been used 5 times? I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means.
Because
I don't know. I have no idea. Every noise has been used at least 5 times.
there's only so many noises. It's like a piano, isn't there? There's only so many notes.
Yeah.
and there's only so many noises,
Right.
but because there's so much stuff, the same noises are being used again.
I don't know what that means.
By whom? Who's reusing the noise?
By whatever.
So a
you'll have-
woodpecker when it's woodpecking.
Yeah. Some birds make noises that would sound like a Ford Escort, just because there's only so many noises that people can use.
What is he talking about?
Noises are a byproduct. Outside an instrument,
Yeah.
noises are a byproduct. A machine, they don't go, what should we make this noise, make this machine? It makes the noise it makes when it's doing something.
But why does it make that noise? Why not pick another noise?
They don't pick the
Who's
noise.
picking the noise?
A printing press makes the noise because it's the sound of the thing
Yeah.
going down.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
the printing-
a hammer makes that noise because that's what it does. No one's going, oh, can we make this make a different noise? No, it's a byproduct.
I know. So there's only so many noises.
I don't know what you mean.
You said the byproduct is because of something that's happening, right?
But it's
Yeah.
the physical action, isn't it? And the way that impacts on the surrounding air. That's what how noises are manufactured. It's not a choice.
When Stevenson's rocket came and I went, I went, can you make it go? It's that's the noise it made.
I know, but then, say like a new frog comes out.
Oh, what do you mean a new frog comes out?
They find a new type of frog.
Right.
It makes a noise, and
Yeah.
they'll go, "Yeah, I knew it was going to sound like that."
What are you talking
Because
about?
there's only so many noises. No animal comes out and makes like a weird noise, and you go, "I've never heard that noise before." They go, "Oh, that sounds like a chicken," or "It sounds like a Ford Escort," or there's only so many
What
noises.
frog sounds like a Ford Escort?
No, but
there
there'll be
can't be
some
many
animal.
because you've used Ford Escort twice as an analogy here. So you're running out of noises. You've come up with chicken and Escort so
I
far.
can't explain
But the problem
it.
is, a Ford Escort sounds a bit like an Austin Allegro. So
I
don't
know, yeah. And a chicken, you're ripping off the turkey, you cunt.
I read a bit in the news about people being injured while trying to cut open avocados. It's a food that ain't worth injuring yourself for. If it's a hassle to get into, leave it to the experts. I have never bought one. I have also avoided coconuts and pineapples. The amount of hassle to get into these things outweighs the joys they give.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I never bought a pair of Dr. Martin boots. Too much hassle when it's time to take them off.
Yeah, a lot of my mates used to wear them in like the 80s. You know, you can't just kick them off, can you? It's a big upheaval.
You've got to unlace them, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, since I found shoes with Velcro on them, brilliant. Just the way, I don't understand why laces...
Is it because you can't tie your laces?
No, I can do it, but it's wasted time.
You're so lazy. Wasted time. That gives him more time to sit around and look at insects,
How long
eating
does it take
biscuits.
to take off a pair of boots?
Well, it's
14
ridiculous.
seconds?
He can't fit his days as it is.
No, but I don't understand how some inventions sort of catch on and other things don't.
But this is what I mean. He's got too much time on his hands. Sitting around at home thinking, why are we not using Velcro more?
But there's
Why
one
are we
Velcro manufacturer going, yes! At
At
last, he
last.
said what needed to be said.
Why don't you get it sponsored? Because you could wear a Velcro toupee. Because that would be great if we could do that. If someone could invent a little hairpiece for Karl, Velcro's the little bit of fluff he's got on the top of his head, his shiny orange-like head. Pop a little Velcro toupee on. I would love that. I would love to get him wearing a wig.
But why necessarily reduce it to a toupee? Why not some kind of carrying device? You know, he could carry goods and things around in there, sandwiches.
Yeah, he doesn't look like carrying a bag. Well, what about that? A little thing you carried around, a little Velcro thing you carried a pot on your head for your sort of like keys and trinkets and money and that.
Well, no, I've told you about that idea that's out there but hasn't caught on as well, the tie.
Right.
The tie with loads of pockets and stuff in it.
Yeah, but you got to wear a tie.
Yeah, but that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? I've never wore a tie because I always think, what's the point? It's just hanging there in the way.
Can you imagine this image of Karl walking around in his big Velcro shoes, a tie with an apple stuffed in it, car keys,
Yeah.
iPod?
No, but don't you think it's a good idea?
Would you wear it with a shirt and collar or just a t-shirt?
No, wear it with a shirt. That's what I'm saying. It's an invention that will smarten up the world. Now, a tie, what does a tie do exactly?
Yeah.
What does it do?
Nothing.
Right, so I'm saying make it do something.
But I'm saying don't wear it at all. Pop your keys in the trouser pocket.
No, because
take a bag.
because the world is getting more and more scruffier, isn't it? When you look
I
back
don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
when you look back at like Victorian times and everything, everyone wore a hat. Right, they wore a tie, they wore a suit, and it was a nicer looking place to look at. When you see it on pictures, you go, "What a smart world that is."
Well, you can't see cholera and things on pictures, but sure.
No.
No, but I'm just saying it's better to try and cover it up with a bit of,
Cloth.
yeah.
Yeah.
The world look nicer with more cloth. Whereas now everyone's roaming about scruffily. So what I'm saying is, if we make the tie more useful, and give it a purpose, it might come back and the world will look tidier.
But a tie, its purpose is to look smart, really. Well, originally it was because we didn't have buttons, so it kept the collar up at the front. That was the invention. It was a useful invention, the tie.
Yeah,
it was called a tie. It tied together, okay?
Yeah.
So then, when we had buttons, that we didn't really need the tie, but it was a symbol of smartness, like saying, I've made an effort, okay? But now, that would go away. So now, you wouldn't look smart with a tie. They'd go, oh look, it's like a bag round his head with his apples and oranges and his keys and his sticks he's making a nest out of. So it would be scruffy. It would make the tie scruffy, so it would defeat the object. So now when you're carrying stuff round, I mean, crawling on all fours because your shopping's so heavy round your neck, they'd go, look at that scruffy fucker on all fours. Oh look, but look at his lovely head of hair. It's Velcro! It's a hat!
Yeah, well, that's the other problem, isn't it? I can't go back to a wig now.
My theory about reading old news is right. It's less bad when you know it's old. It was a story about a weatherman who was fired yesterday for having a nude picture of himself on the internet. But that happened 2 days ago. He's probably got another job by now. So old news isn't as shocking.
Well, old news isn't news though, is it? It's olds. What are you doing? Just reading the olds?
No, but what I mean is, if someone...
Stick the video on of last week's news, I just want to catch up on the olds.
Yeah, but then it's still news. News is something that you don't know, isn't it? If someone tells
that's
you
everything to you.
That's information, Carl, not news.
Yeah.
But news is information.
No,
and
the key with news is the word new.
No, I don't think it is it? It's just information, but they tell you at 10 o'clock at night. It's like, what information's gone on? Bong. Here's some information.
Yeah, that you didn't know before, because you couldn't have, because it only happened today. Bong.
Yeah, but never mind that. I'll tell you in a couple of days. It doesn't matter as long as you get the same info. Bong.
Yeah, we can't call it news, though, because it's misleading. We'd get done. It's called olds. Bong.
Yeah, but listen to me theory. What I'm saying is that if someone in your family, you know, it's Christmas and that, I don't want to bring the tone down, but someone dies in your family. Now, say if you're away on holiday, and they don't call you because they don't want to ruin your holiday, and you come home, and they go, Uncle Frank's dead, and you go, oh, when did that happen? And they go, 2 weeks ago. Now, because everyone else has got over it, it's not as bad for you. Because part of bad news is the way everyone's walking around moping, going, oh, have you heard the news? Frank's dead. But because everyone's got over it, time is a healer. That's what I mean about old news. It's better than new news.
But according to you, the only news that really matters is stuff that affects you. So it doesn't matter when you... there was an earthquake, when was it? Yesterday. Phew, that's alright then. Often the aftermath is worse than the actual event. 2, you only care about things that actually happen to you. So the doctor goes, you got a kidney stone. Oh, when did this happen? 2 weeks ago. Oh, that's alright then. Doesn't make sense.
No, but the world is...
You're not upset about dead Uncle Frank just because other people are upset. You'd be upset personally. Would it make any difference when they told you?
Yeah, but it is everyone else's emotions that make it worse, I think. Knocking around people who are miserable.
What about warnings? What about when they do things like smog warnings, or, you know, there may be a...
I don't like it on the news when they sort of say, news just in. I think, oh, what's this? You think, oh, what's going on?
But it might be useful to know
important information.
No, it just makes you panic.
What? Yeah, but sometimes knowing stuff keeps you alive.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it. It's sirens, you see. I don't like sirens, do I? I've said to you, I think it's a scary noise.
Well, it's meant to be, so you get out of the way.
No, it's not meant to be. It's a sign to get out of the way. I'd prefer it if it... Like I've
said... Hiya! Could you just move out of the way
well, it can
for
be
us?
anything, as long as we know... It can be a chicken noise. But as long as you know
that's
chicken
not going
noise...
to freak people out.
No, but it sort of make you smile. But you'd go, oh, best get out of the way.
You're cycling along and you hear what sounds like a giant chicken behind you.
And you smile, because you know that even though someone is burning to death, there's something clucking in my way. Do-do-do-do, whack! Do-do-do-do, whack!
Oh, that's probably a guy having a heart attack. Going to my mum and dad's today. I'll cut to the chase, Rick. They basically, we got about 4 pages where they drive to his mum and dad's.
Oh, Jesus
I'll skip
Christ.
past that because it takes fucking forever. Got there, mum and dad, his mum made him some dinner. The old woman next door, brackets, whose man was a witch, just pop that in brackets, Just pop that in brackets. I think we've discussed that before, actually, the old woman whose mum was a witch.
Whose mum was a witch.
Yeah.
Oh.
The old woman next door has been worrying because she keeps seeing adverts on the telly about changing to digital TV. She's saying she doesn't want wires drilled into her walls because they'll make a mess. Me dad told her that it doesn't matter because it'll probably won't happen until 2012 and she'll be dead by then.
He didn't say that to her, though, did
No,
he?
he did. They've got, you know, she's old. She knows she's going to die. I mean, it's something we've all got in common. And he's right, isn't he? Why is she worrying about it? Maybe that's sorted it out. Put it into perspective for her. You will be dead when this happens. Don't be worrying about it. But everybody worries, don't they? You've got that little sort of hole in your head that you fill with worries. You know, everyone's got to fill that little worry hole with worries, and that's us.
Worry hole. Everyone's got to fill the
we've
worry
never
hole with
got to assume
worry.
that there's a worry hole.
A worry hole.
Don't be filled with worries.
I love the fact that, you know, doctors in a million years would dig this up and go, humans used to have a worry hole.
Went to bed around midnight. Suzanne and I decided to sleep tops and tails, because it made me get a bit more room. Me dad had cut a bit off the mattress to fit it between two cupboards. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes just sawing off a bit of the mattress. You sort of roll to the edge, but the weight of the blankets keeps you in. This is like something from a Roald Dahl book.
No, it's just, you know, you think anything, you can sort of trim anything, can't you? And it normally works. But with a mattress, I mean, he only took off, I don't know how long that is, but he's sawn off about that much on the mattress and then has stapled it back together again.
Amazing.
And it just makes so much difference.
Of course it does, because a mattress is a very carefully designed object.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, though, would you?
Well, you
just
would
think
if you had a
it's full of
fucking brain in
sponge.
your nut.
No,
Someone took his brain out of his worry hole? Oh, God. He sawed a mattress in half. So we decided to sleep tops and tails. It just gets stranger.
So strange. Why?
he did it to make the room nicer with the cupboards on either side.
So he sawed a mattress in half.
Well, not in half.
Can you imagine how much hard it must be to saw a mattress in half? What did he use? What, a big electric saw?
Well, it must have been, yeah, because there's a lot of springs and stuff in there.
Jesus.
So what happens to the springs? They just spring out the side.
Well, some sort of stick out a little bit, but you're not lying on top, are you? They come out the side. So it's just got a bit of gaffer tape and a staple gun.
Unbelievable.
Hey, man alive. It's like...
Does he run it as a hotel? That's unbelievable.
There are squats with better bedding arrangements.
Well, we've had a bit of a bad thing in our house about mattresses and that, because when we first bought our first flat in Salford, you know what it's like when you buy somewhere, you sort of, you haven't got any money, have you, to buy extra stuff that you need. So we bought a bed, right, but there's that rip-off thing with beds where you buy a bed but a mattress doesn't come with it, which I've never understood that, because it's not a bed, is it? Without that mattress it's not a bed, it's a car without an engine. You wouldn't go, there you go, well, that seems cheap, well, there's no engine in it. So we bought this like, you know, flat and what have you, and we bought the bed, and then like, oh, we haven't got a mattress. So my dad got one from Uncle Alf. No, well, from that Uncle Alf fella, because he had one in his van that he used to use now and again. If he was like travelling round, he'd just keep in the back on this mattress.
Amazing.
A bloke who drove around in a van with a mattress in the back.
So
How
Uncle
terrifying.
Alf. So Uncle Alf, right? Well, tell me about Uncle Alf.
Well, you know about him, he's the one who slept in a dinghy. He's the one who...
Because his mattress was in his car.
I know, yeah, why didn't he go, oh, well, Alf, where's the bed? Left it in the car again. Oh, blow up the dinghy. Blow up the dinghy. I'm not going to go out and get it. Not at this time of night.
So anyway, my dad got me his mattress, and it just stunk of diesel. And Suzanne was like, "Oh, I'm not happy with this," and I think she realised sort of what sort of family
She's got
I was
herself
from and
into.
stuff.
Wow, she landed on her feet when she got you.
So now she's always a bit touchy about, you know, mattresses and things.
Unbelievable.
Uncle Alf, of course, sadly passed away when he couldn't escape from his sinking ship.
The fire engines were too late. No one got out of the way because they were laughing so much.
The mad woman next door saw me and said, "Hello, Clive. You live in a nursery rhyme." The old man down the road, the old woman next door whose mum's a witch, Uncle Alf who lives in a dinghy.
This is like not a real place. It's like fucking Narnia.
It's a children's TV programme.
Unbelievable. Oh, God. Oh, just all of them there on this broken mattress trying to find the golden ticket. Oh, God. Oh, God.
The old fella down the road talked to my dad a bit. He kept bees in the back garden.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Here comes the bee man.
His Yorkie dog was knocking about when he was messing with them, and it ended up getting stung 150 times.
Oh, little bastard. What is he doing?
It's not dead. said, but it cost a lot to get all the stings out. I don't know why people keep dangerous pets and insects. The amount of gear he had to wear to play with them is barmy. I don't think he's playing with the bees.
He's not playing with them, is he?
Well, what is he doing then?
Well, I don't know, but I think he should get the dog the same protection.
Yeah, but that's just it, isn't it? It's like, you can't mix your pets. If you've got a snake, you don't have a mouse. Do you know what I mean? They don't get on. And it's the same with them. Don't have bees. I can't imagine one bit of enjoyment. The only thing he does is the honey. And it's like, well, how much is that to buy? It's not worth messing about wearing a big white suit just to get some honey. There's a shop down the road.
Bees are kept for a very good reason, aren't they?
What?
For honey.
Yeah, no, but like I say, you can buy honey for next to nothing.
Where do you think... What do you mean? But where does the honey come from that you buy?
Yeah, from some proper bee farm. Let them do it. All he's doing, he's not making loads of pots of honey. He's looking after himself. And the thing with honey is it doesn't go off either.
No, it doesn't, no.
So get 10 bees, get the honey made, kick them out.
but you eat the honey, that's the point.
Yeah, I know, but
it doesn't. You can't eat it and then it's still there in the jar. It's not magical. Maybe in your world,
no.
Uncle Fred had that never-ending jar of honey.
But how much honey do you eat? What I'm saying is, it's one of them things in it that you buy, and you can move into a new house, buy some honey, and when you leave that house, that honey's still in the cupboard. You don't eat that much of it. So get 10 bees, get your honey's worth.
10 bees! Imagine keeping 10 bees!
Well, just get them to do the graft. If you've got loads of bees, they're not all pulling the weight, are they? Because they'll go, well, I'm not doing any, because I'll leave it to the others. Whereas if you've got 10 bees, you know that none of them are pulling the weight if there's no honey. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not a workhouse. Bees don't knock around saying, I got a bad back.
Anyway, back to this reading from the Twits. The news covered a story about a fish that knocked about 400 million years ago. It was 33 feet long and had a jaw strong enough to eat a shark in one go. All the dangerous stuff seems to die out, and yet things that you think wouldn't stand a chance, like worms, are still here, yet they have no legs or eyes. I saw a future human in the news article the other month about the future woman. She had 3 breasts. They looked alright.
Well, no, that's not... I can't see how that's going to ever evolve.
No, well, they say about how about evolving and that. I read that there's going to be ugly people. People are starting to go ugly.
Yeah, they're still going to have bilateral symmetry, I imagine.
I don't know what that means, but
well,
I'll tell you now, right? They're talking about like people who are just like, you know, you look at them and you go, oh, look at the state of that, right? And it'll get to a point when we're all so ugly that no one will have it away, and we're just going to die out.
Well, that's not true either. That's not true either.
That is the biggest worry.
Well, no, so...
That's the world's biggest worry.
So as we evolve and we change, our mindset doesn't change. We're still going, I wish we looked like they did 1,000,000 years ago. I don't fancy anything.
No, but look how things do change.
But why are we all going to get uglier? I don't understand.
It's just the air and stuff, isn't it? It's just...
the air or the hair?
You know, the air that we breathe and stuff, and the food we eat. Everything's changing, and we're not going to look that healthy, and we're just all going to go ugly. You've only got to look at some stuff that's in the sea, and you think, look at the state of that.
And that's because with the human evolution.
But the stuff in the sea is still propagating.
Yeah, but they've been around longer than us.
But it's still reproducing, so your theory falls down.
But they're deep down, aren't they, in the dark, so they probably can't see what they're having it away with. If they were up on the outside, they'd have died out ages ago.
Why? Because they wouldn't fancy the other stonefish or
yeah, because they're really odd-looking. I can't remember the name. I think it was a viper or something. It was just a head.
But Karl, the
fish
reason...
that's just a head. It was well ugly.
Watched a programme about the twins this morning. It was filmed 16 years ago. They are mental. They did everything together, including the vacking up. Phone calls had to happen twice so they could both have the same chat, and they said the same stuff at the same time. Well weird. The bloke who I watched it with, I don't know who that is, just some homeless guys that you just invited into the flat?
Just someone I've been sort of working with.
Sure, a mate of yours. He said he fantasised about having it away with a pair of twins. I don't see the point in this. If you're going to have 2 of something, I would prefer to have 2 different. Have 2 different women. If I had 2 cars, I wouldn't have the same one twice. Same rule with women. I don't even normally like buying the same pair of trainers twice in a row.
No, if you're going to have something new, make a change. It's like that fella who was going out with a woman and then left her and went out with a twin sister. Not worth it.
Not worth it!
It's not worth the upheaval, is it? Because it's exactly the same model.
I watched the final of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It was between singer Jason Donovan, singer Mylene Class, and singer Matt out of a boy band. I had my money on Donovan, but Matt won it. I think it was because of his last task. He ate a fisheye, some grubs, a big fat insect that they have on every year, a crocodile knob, and a kangaroo anus. I feel like we've come there, Rick, to where we entered.
It was this time last year when we first started the podcast that we were talking about I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, and you coined the famous phrase I could eat a knob at night.
Yeah.
So it's full circle. It's just the last series finished recently, and it was astounding that he ate a crocodile knob, he ate a crocodile eye, he chewed up and swallowed a kangaroo's anus, which I to be honest, I didn't know was a food stuff. Could you eat any of that?
If I had to eat any of them, it would have to be the anus.
What, really?
Yeah, more than the other stuff. I couldn't eat anything that's still alive.
No. I agree. I couldn't eat any of that. I don't know under what circumstances I'd have to go, right, that's it now, we're not going to survive, the ship isn't coming, there is nothing on this island I can eat, give me the crocodile's penis.
So it wouldn't bother me. I could eat anything. I could do almost all of the challenges on that programme, but I couldn't cope in the camp. I couldn't cope with the lack of food and the uncomfortable bed. That's all that would do my head, and I'd drive people spare, whinging and complaining.
I couldn't cope with any aspect of it except the physical challenges. I couldn't cope with sleeping with people snoring, the things crawling over you. I'm not so squeamish about that, like snakes and things. That's all right. But the eating is ridiculous. It's out of the question to eat a worm or a grub.
It doesn't concern me. I don't know why. I don't see really what the difference in it. The texture's probably the same as lots of other things.
What would hunger do to you, though, do you think? Would you think I would change? Do you think, if it really was a choice, if someone said, and I knew I would die if I didn't eat worms...
I think you would, yes. I think you'd complain and you'd whinge for a while, and you'd try and put it off, and you'd hope a ship would turn up. But when it didn't, you'd start chowing down on a bit of crocodile anus.
But then where's the rest of the crocodile?
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Who's been eating that? How come I've got this? You know, you're meant to, work together as a team in bad time, and yet I'm being handed an anus. Forget it.
Woke up to the news about an elephant in India that had sore feet, so the locals have made it a big pair of slippers. Tried to look online for a picture, but I couldn't find anything.
Sure they've made it 2 pairs of slippers?
Well, I'm only going by the facts in the diary, Rick, and I would have thought that they were absolutely bona fide and fact-checked and completely accurate. I'd be very surprised if there's any mistakes in here. I'm sure they've done this for an elephant before. I thought elephants have bad memories.
No,
no, but fair enough. I thought elephants have bad memories. If they have, I'm guessing it's going to keep forgetting where it's left them.
I mean, just to get if it's a myth, the myth completely wrong.
Yeah.
Elephants never forget. That's the saying. Not they always forget, so you can buy them slippers every year.
Carl says, I haven't had a pair of slippers for years. He thinks they're dying out.
No, I love slippers.
I love a pair of slippers,
I love a pair of slippers, mate.
Just wear socks.
Oh, slidey on a slidey on a piece of lino.
I know. And what about if you maybe opening a brand new box of thumbtacks? You drop them all over the floor. You're trying to pick them up.
Rick, I've got to pop across the road to get some milk, but it's right opposite. I'm surely not going to go in my socks, though, am I? But I don't want to put on the shoes. It's mad.
No. Pop some slippers on.
Well, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't go out in your slippers.
Why not?
Just across the street, mate, to get some milk.
Because they're inside shoes. You don't go roaming about on tarmac in slippers. That's basic.
But you don't have any slippers, so you're just tiptoeing across the street,
I put my shoes on.
But you can pop out and get the paper and the bottle of milk, can't you, in the slippers without any harm done?
No.
Huh.
Apparently not. That'll make it into the diary. Tried to have a shower, but there was no water.
I love it when he calls me and things go wrong with the flat.
But I like the fact that he tried to have a shower, but there's no water. How long did it take you before you realised he was there for 20 minutes?
Yeah, after 20 minutes, he said, Suzanne, should I be dry?
Yeah, I'm freezing cold.
Yeah, no, you should be sort of wet and warm. Right, there's no water then. Brilliant.
I called the service charge people, but no one was about. Looked outside, but couldn't see any work going on. Great, innit? In India, they can sort out elephants with shoes. In London, we have no water. Hung about for a bit, but still no sign of any water. Brushed my teeth just using the paste, and used the little bit that was in the kettle to have a wash. I was pretty chuffed that I thought of using that. Suzanne was a bit annoyed because she wanted a cup of tea. She said go across the road and buy a big bottle of water.
Not in your socks. Pop some slippers on.
Go across the road and buy a big bottle of water, she said. I never thought of that.
Oh.
You had a wash using the water
That's
in the bottom of the kettle?
Yeah, well, that's clean, isn't it?
But how much? There's only a little drop in there.
No, it's a big kettle.
So what, did you just wash your face?
Yeah.
So you didn't wash your body or anything?
Your genitals
Well,
were
you couldn't, could you?
filthy.
You've got to look at what you can do with the water available. People in Africa and that short of water aren't wasting it, saying, oh, my feet are a bit dirty. They drink it. What do you mean?
Had a look online to see what's been going on. Scientists say that Everest, brackets, the mountain, just in case you've confused that with any other Everests.
Maybe the double glazing people.
Yeah. You say that scientists say that Everest has grown a bit. The way they were talking about it, you'd have thought it's grown loads. It's only inches.
No, isn't that... They found out that it's actually a couple of inches taller than they first thought because their methods of measuring are more accurate than they were 20 years ago. So it's bigger than they thought it was. It hasn't grown.
No, I just think what's happened is at the bottom, because of like people are always climbing up it, aren't they? Right?
Yeah.
So they're sort of wearing away the
Don't
soil at the bottom.
talk rubbish.
So
they've
it's
always
also,
pushed it down.
it's
It's
also
just
measured against sea level. It's not measured about when you get... Otherwise they'd just dig a big hole, wouldn't they, and go, right, it's down to here. If the peak
does it,
is measured
at the end
against
of the day,
sea
though,
level.
does it matter at the end of the day?
No, but it's just nice to know, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is we don't need to know that. It's not going to put anyone off. Like Brian Blessed, who's always climbing up there for fun. He's not going to go, oh, I could handle it last year, but 2 more inches. Forget that. Going to be shattered. So don't worry about it. It doesn't matter how big it is. Something else, though, that's happened since, right? They were climbing up there, and someone got near the top, and they were sort of climbing up like that, holding the cliff edge and that.
And they'd forgotten the flag. Had to go back.
No, their hand hit the bit of rock, and it went like, ding. I'm like, what's that? It went, ding, ding. Put another hand up, ding, ding. Piano under there. They don't know how it's got there.
Right, you're talking shit again.
Someone's been tipping.
Well, oh, right.
Up Everest.
Okay. The council won't even take away your washing machine unless you pay them. They're not going to sneak up Everest.
No, this is the problem, innit? Because the council won't take anything. People are going, what can we do with this?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, yeah. Just sneak up Everest. It'll take you 9 days, and you may die. But just pop it up on Everest.
Well, I know for a fact that you've confused a few things there, because I think the piano being found was actually somewhere in Scotland, some kind of moor in Scotland, and they found a piano up there, and everyone said, I don't understand, how's a piano doing up here? And it turned out that some guy, one of these people who like tries to break world records, had dragged a piano up there as some kind of feat of endurance, but thought, I'll be damned if I'm going to take it back again, and just left it up there. It wasn't, bloody tipping or aliens or anything.
My dad used to bury things in the garden because the council used to charge for like washing machines and mangles and cookers and pets. So I'm just thinking in millions of years when they dig that up, they think that dogs used to cook and do washing up and things.
Yeah.
I love the idea of burying utensils. And think of the hole big enough to bury a washing machine.
Or a mango. So whoever kind of bought that house after your dad,
I don't know.
they got a little treat in store.
Yeah, lovely little themed rockery.
Yeah. The weather is weird this morning. 1 minute it's sunny, then it's thundering, then hailstones, then it's sunny again. People will be saying it's global warming. I don't really know what that means. Everything's changing all the time, innit? I wonder if years ago, when we first came out of the sea and we walked on land upright, did people blame the weather for that?
Good point, isn't it?
No, it's so stupid.
Yeah, ridiculous.
We didn't come out of the sea and instantly start walking around like humans and go, oh, can you believe it? We were swimming around, we were having a whale of a time. Do you know what? I blame the weather.
No, but now they would, if that happened. It's the same way, say like evolution, right? We talk about it a lot, right? Now, years ago, I don't know how it happened, but some whale had legs, right?
Yeah.
This is how it started.
Before he was a whale, yeah. Whales started off with legs,
They
that's
were rowing
right.
about on the beachfront, right? Anyway, it worked out that, they didn't like it or whatever, get back in. Now, say if that happened again now, right? Say if someone's born and they always say, don't they, check for lumps and stuff, right? Make sure you haven't got any lumps. Now, say
What,
if I,
sorry. Who says this? And what's the what?
like magazines and doctors and that. are always saying, check
When
for
you're
lumps.
first born?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Arbitrary decision. That answer.
But
Go on.
all I mean is, now, say if like our evolution thing is kind of like the next level is for us to have 3 legs because we're that busy on the world now.
But it
Everyone's
doesn't work like
multitasking.
that. Why would it work like that?
Because that's nature, innit? It deals with it. If people are getting stressed out and getting achy legs a lot, because they're going, well, what you're doing there is you're using 2 legs like you've got 3. You need another one. But the problem is,
No.
say
finish.
say if someone grew a leg now, because it's like, well, we need 3 legs.
Yeah, but
Let him finish.
Okay.
People would go, oh, I found a lump, right? And the doctor would go, oh, whip that out. Now that could be a 3rd leg that's growing.
But Karl, evolution doesn't work like that.
It does work like
Suddenly
that.
something isn't born with a perfectly formed 3rd leg that can be passed on.
I know it's a lump. It starts off like a lump, and if you left it alone,
Yeah.
it would eventually, over a bit of time.
No, over many, many millions of years.
Yeah, but it grow as another leg. But we're not letting that happen anymore.
It also wouldn't happen. Limbs don't work like that either.
They do if you keep putting extra pressure on 2 legs.
Karl, you're honestly, what you imagine the process of evolution and natural selection to be is, it's beyond me. It's
No,
incredible.
but it depends whatever your surroundings are. That's what you change to, isn't it? Like the
Well, you don't change to it. You're either selected or you're not. So, what happens is there's a genetic throw-up. So something's born, a llama's born with a slightly longer neck. And if that gets, the leaves that are slightly higher up and it survives, it lives longer, it passes on its genetic material. Soon, if that works, now over millions and millions of years, that they're the dominant species, a new species is thrown up with a slightly longer neck, and so on and so on. And it's gradual. It's just a slight
No,
advantage.
sometimes it happens quicker than that. There's been animals that have had eyes and then they go, oh, they don't need them. They go in the space of a fortnight.
What? No, what are you talking about?
There's a lizard somewhere where it's roaming about in the dark and it used to have eyes, and they used to be like, why have we got eyes and that? What's the point in having these? Because we're keeping them open. And they were getting more tired. Because at the end of the day, if your eyes are open, do you know what I mean? Blind people can stay up longer than someone with eyes.
Keep going. I want to follow this through to its natural conclusion. Keep going. Keep going.
There is nothing to do. Right.
Right, the first signs of you getting tired, you go, oh, my eyes, I can hardly keep them open.
Yeah.
So a blind person doesn't get that because they can roam about with them shut like that.
So they never sleep, do they, blind people?
Well, they sleep, but they don't need as much because their eyes aren't stinging.
All guessing, all guesswork, and all nonsense. I mean, all nonsense.
Well, hang on, fair enough. Okay, even if we accept that to be true of blind people, what was happening with the lizards? The lizards were going, I can't believe this is mad. We don't need our eyes. We're down underground. What's the point? Jeff, Bill, let's just no longer use eyes.
Well, they were just like, in a way, it's better if we keep our eyes shut to keep the soil out and stuff. And then over time, they were like, oh, my eyes are stuck. Like the time when...
For a fortnight, you said?
No. It's over hundreds of millions of years. And the other thing is, it's not the case that there's no will to evolution. What happened was that a blind one had no disadvantage, so he was selected better than one with eyes that maybe would find it irritating or getting in the way. Just like a snake, it's not a disadvantage for a snake to lose its legs because it's selected, and then it's an advantage because they can get into places that with legs would get in the way.
Like I've said before, right? You see like a little fella, like a midget or a dwarf or something.
Right.
Who's to say that isn't the way we should be?
Do you mean, how do we know that...
Well, everybody looks at them and goes, oh, look, there's a little fella. But really, it doesn't matter. If we were all like that, the world would be a better place because it's bigger, so there's more to see. Whereas for us, we're getting bigger all the time. The world isn't growing, so there's less to see for us. So for a midget, the world is brilliant. So I'd say it'd be good if we do go backwards as opposed to forwards. Instead of us getting bigger all the
Steve, do you
time.
want a cup of tea?
No,
I'm not sure, mate. I'll leave you to it.
do you know what I mean, though?
We haven't got any... We've only got instant coffee as well.
No,
Yeah, I might pop out for something.
but what I mean is, they always say
I'll
like
make it.
the body's...
No, thanks, mate. But
Tell me when he's finished.
I'm just saying the body's getting bigger, and instead of going forward,
No
then-
sugar for me, thanks.
Do you want milk though?
Yeah, milk.
forget it.
Some scientists have come up with a cure for bird flu. It's somewhat to do with some stuff in horses. They gave the flu to a mouse and then injected it and it's well again. I think we should stop coming up with cures for things as the germs are just getting stronger and stronger. I reckon by 2020, germs will be so big that we will be able to see them in the air. They will no longer be little particles. You wouldn't swallow one. If you did, it won't be the germ that will kill you. You'll just choke to death.
I think that's how we'll die in the future.
Choking on enormous giant
On
germs. And
they
they'll
are
be what?
getting
They'll
bigger.
be like rampaging around the cities, will they? Like,
I'll tell you what though, right? That I'm getting worried now because the stuff he believes and thinks of, I mean, it could be mental. Do you know what I mean though? Like a proper paranoid sort of, one of those people that soon going to live in a loft covered in tinfoil,
yeah.
right? And pages of the Bible all the way around the, you know, and
Yeah.
Suzanne's having to put on some sort of spacesuit to come in and give him his beans on toast.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to polish each bean.
That's
Yeah.
what scientists do, isn't it? They just sort of think ahead of everyone else. That's what I'm doing. And the weird thing is, right, Steve, sometime last week, there was a science piece which was close to what I'd already said,
Yeah.
that they've got some germs
Sure.
that like eating sugar, right? They stick them in a lunchbox with a chocolate bar. Within an hour, it was gone, right? And they say now these germs love chocolate and
Did
stuff.
this scientist leave it near this fat scientist that works in the same laboratory? And he went, it's unbelievable. He said, Ted, he went, what? Right, I put the chocolate bar in here with the germ. I came, it's gone. That's amazing. Wow, that's brilliant, that. Do it again. What? Do it again. Leave another one, see if it happens again.
So in the future, you're running around, and germs are.
Eating chocolate.
That's not science. That's Pac-Man. Went to bed and chatted about food to Suzanne. I said it would be best if our bodies could be run on something like coal. That way you wouldn't get fat, people, because you wouldn't be eating for enjoyment. You'd just be eating to give you energy. Suzanne said, "Why do you always take the nice things out of life?"
Because sometimes to think about the future, it's not going to be all good, is it? Look at the way we have to do things now that we sort of go, oh, I'm sick of this. But they do it for your own good.
But you try and change the laws of the universe.
Based on arbitrary whims.
No, but we're
Yeah.
always eating stuff. That's one of the things we do now, isn't it? As soon as we find a new creature like that frog that's been hidden away for like millions of years, you get someone who go, I wonder if we can eat that. Do you know what I mean? It's everything that's walking on the world. They sort of see what powers it's got.
What powers it's got?
No, like if it can jump far. Is it poisonous? Can you get anything out of it to save people? And
Yeah.
then can we eat it? They're the three things that they do with a new frog. Any creature.
So what are they? Can it jump fast?
Yeah. Has
Is
got
it
any
poisonous?
poison in it that you
Is-
can use to get rid of illnesses?
Yeah.
Can you eat it?
That's the
more
first
and
three
more-
questions anyone asks, do
It
they?
seems to be the way, because you look at menus and that, how they're getting bigger and bigger now, and that's only because we're finding more and more species of stuff.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at some stuff on a menu, that octopus you eat, at some point that would have gone through the list of, right, what does it do? What's it got in it? What does that ink do? What's it taste like?
Can it jump?
Can it, whatever, well, they've done tests on it, haven't they, when we said about it being getting in a jam jar or something.
Yeah.
So it's all part of it. Everything's been tested. Everything.
But I think what the trouble is that the first you hear of a newfangled food, do you think that in ancient civilization they didn't do this? They didn't try an oyster or spear a fish or
Yeah, because
Eat a
there wasn't
maggot.
that much other stuff knocking about at that time.
Right.
We've got loads of stuff, so why are we messing about with some new frog? It's all like, people just like showing off, don't they? Leave the frogs, let them get busy and have loads of them, eat the chickens, when we run out of them, move on to the frog. Or whatever. But why have all this on the go? Do you know what I mean? It just makes... I hate going out for a meal now, because it's like, what you having? Oh, I'm sick of it, look at it all. And then you're forced into people going, oh, have you had the new frog? No, I don't want it, I'm happy with chicken. That's what I mean.
yeah. Unbelievable.
Have you ever been out, Rick, and someone's been trying to force frog on you?
I've never been forced frog in my life. Although I did go for a meal once with Karl. we went there and he had the Oriental hors d'oeuvres I recommended, right? And he was trying to get this little oyster, right, off the shell, right? And he was getting it stuck to its house, right? And I looked round, and his eyes were watering, and he was choking, and he was drinking water. I said, what? And he said, I ate that. And it was a big blob of wasabi, right? And I said, why did you put it all in once? He went, he said, I thought it was a mushy pea. Why would they put one mushy pea?
Was it hardcore, the wasabi?
It felt like my head was caving in.
That was just Ricky squeezing it, wasn't it? Between courses.
Trouble with that, though, is, you know hot food? Why you get addicted to really hot food is the pain is actually it's killing taste buds, and then endorphins are released in the brain, like, you know, a morphine derivative to sort of go, it's alright, calm the pain. So you actually get addicted to that sort of, you know, what
So
happens.
why would you want to kill your taste buds? But new ones come back
Well, yeah, I think I think you.
straight away.
Well, I don't know how long it takes. I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, it's just, is that the chef sort of going, I'm serving some right rubbish tonight. Give him some of that kusabi.
Kusabi! Oh, God, and Tonto! Oh, God.
Back to the diary. At lunchtime, I went to a local cafe and had an omelette. An old woman, who was about 70-ish, was in there eating pizza. It didn't look right.
No.
I know what you mean there, actually. Old people eating pizza seems a bit weird. What about an old Italian lady eating pizza? Would that be alright?
No, I'd expect her to have lasagna.
Told Suzanne that I had read that we will have spoken to aliens by the year 2025. Ricky once told me that if a lion could speak English, it still couldn't have a good chat with us because its life is different to ours. If that's true, we've got no chance with an alien. I'd be worried it could read my mind. I had that problem once years ago when I worked in a studio making cassettes. Some mind-reading woman was having some cassettes made. She waited while I did them. She had a small dog. I knew she was trying to read my mind, so I just thought about the dog. I thought that would confuse her, because she wouldn't understand why I was thinking about her dog. There's so many elements in this. There's a woman who can read.
She used to...
Read that again. Read that again. Okay, we're gonna have an instant replay now. Any psychologists listening, or psychiatrists, or just, well, anyone, listen to this, what Karl's put in his diary. Okay, Steve, away you go.
I'd be worried that an alien could read my mind. I had that problem once years ago, when I worked in a studio making cassettes. Some mind-reading woman was having some cassettes made. She waited while I did them. She had a small dog. I knew she was trying to read my mind, so I just thought about the dog. I thought that would confuse her, because she wouldn't understand why I was thinking about her dog.
That's amazing.
So, firstly, how did you know she was a mind-reading woman?
Everybody who came in having cassettes done, you'd find out about what the job is. So, you know, if it's a band or whatever, it might be a police station needing blank cassettes to interview people.
Yeah.
And she had them to sort of use during a thing where they do mind reading and stuff, so
Right.
you get a
recording
of it.
Yeah.
And she was just there and she was staring at me like that, just looking over. And a dog was sort of looking worried, and they pick up vibes, don't they?
No.
They do.
And why was it looking
What do you
worried?
mean pick up vibes? Depends what you mean by pick up vibes.
Dogs pick up loads of vibes and stuff. I read the other day how they can tell if someone's got cancer and
Well,
that.
they can.
It's one
There's a
thing.
science behind that. They can smell different at a cellular level.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
it's the same
'cause it's
sort of
like
thing.
70 times. But no, they can't go. The dog wouldn't even know you're an idiot. The dog.
The dog was sort of looking weird and stuff.
It
and then
knew.
She
But-
was looking at me.
But were they looking? I'm not being funny. Were they looking at the roundness of your head? Do you
They
think?
were just looking at me, and I was sort of panicking a bit. And the more that I was thinking she's reading my mind, I was thinking she knows that I know that she's reading my mind. So I just stopped thinking about her reading my mind. Thought about the dog
What were you thinking about the dog?
just running about on a beach.
He remembers what he was thinking.
No, just so she thought, oh, hang on a minute, it's not his mind, it's the dog's mind I'm picking up.
Oh, so you thought she'd go? Oh no, I'm getting it all tangled up. I've got a cross line here.
But why were you worried that she was reading your mind? Because you weren't thinking of anything
No, but-
unsavory.
Don't. Oh, please.
No, I'm just trying to get in his mind.
It
His
doesn't
rationale.
work, Karl. No one can
his-
read your mind.
No, but wait. What I mean is, even if let's assume that you thought she could read your mind. Why did you think that there was anything wrong with finding out what you were thinking? Because she'd have known that you knew that she could read minds. So if she read your mind and all you were thinking was she can read my mind, she'd think, what?
Of
He knows
course,
that I can
if
read my
she
mind.
really could read your mind, she's going, there's Karl there trying to make me think that it's the dog. I know he's thinking of the dog.
No, but when you sort of try and think of normal things, you think of mental things, don't you? So I was like...
Whoa, hold on, let's let that
Go on.
No, I just mean, like, you're going, oh, God, I best not watch what I'm thinking then.
What were you thinking? Tell me some of the mental
No, there was
things you
loads
might
of
think.
things that was in there.
Go
Like, there
on.
was an old woman who used to annoy me in there who used to give me socks all the time. And
Socks?
socks. She used to always
socks.
make loads of socks and she'd be bringing them in. And no matter what I did, no matter how much I sort of said, look, I'm sick of your socks, she kept bringing them in all the time. And they had, like, pictures on and that. I didn't want socks with pictures on. So I might have been sort of stood there going, oh, there she is with her socks, I'm sick of her. Now, if she can sense that, she'll go over to her and go, watch him,
He
stop
doesn't
bringing
like
him
your socks,
socks,
yeah.
or whatever.
No one can read minds. No one can contact the dead.
Say like me, right, if I sometimes come in the room and that and I'm fed up, you go, oh, Karl's fed up. I haven't even said anything. So it's just that,
But that's because you look like a miserable bastard.
Yeah, and we know what that means. We're human and we understand facial movements.
So it's a bit like
and moves.
that. It's a bit like that. It's a level down from
No,
that.
no. She should be able to read your mind if you're locked in a safe and she doesn't know who you are and she doesn't know whether there's someone in there.
No,
that's what the double-blind test
that
is.
would never work, would it? Because that means she'd never get a rest. That's like
You're making up the rules. You're making up the rules. Oh no, the thing is, that's what these people do. Go, oh no, I have to hold your hand. Oh, you have to write it down. Well, why? Why do you? It's the same as these mediums that contact the dead. They go, oh, I'm getting someone. Just ask him who he is. Just give us his full name and address. It's ridiculous. I know the fact that these dead people give him cryptic clues. Ask him about the toaster. What's your name? What's your name? Can't say my name. Might be an uncle. Just give me your fucking name.
Back to Karl's diary, Friday the 31st. I read that some fella had been having an affair. His wife found out, so when he was asleep, she superglued his knob to his stomach, one of his bollocks to his leg, and glued his arse cheeks together, then chucked him out. If Suzanne did that, I would definitely not get back with her. Saying that, I would have woke up if someone was putting superglue on me arse. I'm quite a light sleeper.
Is that what she did, is it?
Yeah, that's why I'm a bit cautious about wearing earbuds every night. The plunge things.
Earbuds,
Earbuds,
right? So
plunge
that's
things.
so that's not called, right? Plunge things. He makes up words. They taught a chimp to talk, and the chimp had a better grasp of language after about a few years than Karl. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's why I won't wear buds and plunge things. I phoned him up the other day. He went, oh, just tried out those new earplugs that mould to your ear. You can't hear a thing except your own voice. And I went, oh, right, they're good, aren't they? He went, yeah. He said, it's weird hearing your own voice, isn't it? Because you're hearing it as other people hear it. I went, no, you're not. He went, you are. He said, you don't usually hear your own voice, because usually when you talk, you're talking over it.
Woke up at 9:55 a.m. Soon as I woke up, I looked at Suzanne and she looked at me. I said, did I tell you about...
I just think of him opening his eyes and looking at him.
Okay, alright. Okay, so he opens his eyes, he looks at Suzanne, she looks at him. What question, Rick, do you think he immediately asks his girlfriend?
Go on.
What question do you think? Have a quick guess.
Am I dreaming?
I woke up, I said to my girlfriend, did I tell you about... I woke up, I looked at Suzanne, she looked at me. I said, did I tell you about the immune system? Did I tell you about the immune system? Suzanne started laughing. I said, it's amazing. She said, not now.
Oh God! I was thinking that.
Springing into action, he zips up, his eyes are like... Did I tell you about the immune system? Oh, shut up, Karl. Put the kettle on.
Oh God! Oh fucking hell!
Was talking to Suzanne about how it's odd that Sundays are meant to be the day of rest. I thought God was meant to be born on a Sunday. Or was it the 7th day that he finished making the world? Imagine how good the world could have been if he'd given it an extra day. Sometimes it's best to give yourself a deadline, though, so you don't faff about. I looked at Suzanne. She was leaning back on the bench with her eyes shut with the sun on her face. I never got an answer to my question.
Pretending to be asleep.
I met up with my mate Laurie. He said he was in a pub at the weekend and saw a bloke whose hands were on the wrong arms.
No!
Well, he had his left hand on his right arm and the right hand on the left arm. I don't think this would be a problem if he's been like that from an early age. When I was in Ripley's in LA, I saw a bloke whose head was on back to front.
That's more annoying, innit, than your hands. Innit?
Now then, would you walk? How would you walk? Would you be walking backwards, Karl, so that you could walk? So you're basically walking forwards.
I reckon I'd walk sideways, so nobody would sort of tell the difference. It just looked like.
Oh God! He solved it again.
He's thought it through. Got home and read my magazine. There was a story about a baby that was born that looked like a frog. What magazine's this?
That made the news. That was in a proper newspaper in the end.
The story used the description to describe it. There was a picture. I think it was a fairly decent description. It didn't really have a neck or top half of its head. It would look alright if it always wore a scarf and a hat. The world would be a more interesting place if there were loads of different types of humans like there are creatures. Then some people would be good at certain jobs. Spider people, ant people, builders. Cockroach people, dustbin men.
Good idea, isn't it?
I mean,
Cockroach men, spider men, what are you talking about?
I haven't had a normal conversation with you for a year.
No.
It's getting worse, I think. I think it's because you've left and you've got too much time in your hands and you live in your head for sort of like maybe 8 hours a day, and then you offload when someone calls you, or when you call me, or Suzanne gets the brunt of it. But I mean, I don't know. I really would like to. And the nicest, I still think he's brilliant, right? But I would like to get a little psychiatrist in, just to. Would you mind seeing a psychiatrist?
No, but it's just there's nothing wrong. These are all ideas, aren't they? You look at some insects, right?
Yeah.
They don't have machinery, yet they're getting by, aren't they? They have their lives like we do. They get up, they wander about, they collect food, they tidy up, they fix stuff, they make their own house. We can't do any of that. So what I'm saying is, why aren't we using them? Why are these cockroaches with all these powers and stuff going about?
It's all these powers.
But how could we use them? How could we harness them?
I just told you, dustbin men. Or whatever that.
No,
what
you
do mean?
said that if they were also men, if they were cockroach men, we could use them.
You've left a big bit out, but when that 1-inch cockroach becomes a 6-foot bloke wearing a jacket.
It's just that we always use insects for like a bit of fun. You see flea circuses and all that, which is all very well, but I don't think it's getting the most out of them.
Cockroaches can live without a head.
Could they still sort out the rubbish if they've got no heads?
They could, couldn't they?
Except if they were, because you want to use them as builders and dustmen, they couldn't whistle at pretty girls, could they?
No, but they wouldn't be doing that job. They're just doing the bins.
Okay.
It's ants that are doing the building.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And are they getting up early? Are they disturbing you?
They don't sleep, do they?
But then they get you up even earlier. You hate it when the builders get you up at 7, then go to breakfast.
Yeah, but it wouldn't go on as long, would it? Because the ants would be working hard. So it'd probably be one day of madness, but then it'd be finished. As opposed to builders just stood about whistling, doing nothing, going on for months.
And is this ant 6 foot?
No. About 3.
3 foot. So how many of them are there?
About 30 of them.
And what do they look like? Are they just a giant ant with a...
Add that on. Just get on with it. I mean, it'd be weird for a bit, but with anything, you get used to seeing
But
things,
Karl,
don't you?
again, this isn't an idea. It isn't a theory. You can't put this into practice because it doesn't exist.
I know. I'm just saying.
It's
though,
like I mean, you wishing for ant builders is the same as you wishing that you didn't have to do any building and your house was just perfect, or you could just wish for it. What's the difference? Why go through this elaborate? But what I'm saying is that your wish is you're not taking shortcuts. You see, it's the same people who goes, "Oh, I wish I could go back in time and put £1,000 on the Grand National." What you mean is you wish you had £1 million. So don't worry about the time travel bit and put in you wish you were rich.
Yeah.
It's like, so you wish you didn't have to have builders round. That's what you're wishing for. So this elaborate thing of getting a 3-foot ant with a hard hat.
Today I got an innovations catalogue. I thought I'd keep it because I like the stuff they sell in it. Brackets, one big slipper.
What's that, one big slipper?
just if you don't go out much.
But you don't like slippers.
No, I know, but I think they're a good idea because they're just there to keep your feet warm.
But why one big? Why not two smaller ones?
So you can walk around?
Yeah, one big slipper's just making it painful.
It's more
and
sort of
awkward.
roomy, isn't it?
Why do you think that's a good invention? One big slipper.
How is that better than two smaller slippers?
Because the problem is with slippers, right? You've already said how you nip across the road in them, right? So you muck them up and you have to buy some more. There's no way you'll be nipping to the shops in that one big one. That will always stay where it should be, by the sofa next to the telly. And you go, right, I'm in for the night now, where's my slipper?
Couldn't I just put my feet inside a cushion cover or something? What?
If you want, but it's only cheap. Why not get one?
You're right.
They're only cheap. Why not get one? But then, Karl, why not get one big glove? If you're not going out, right, just get one big glove. You don't have to do anything, just one big glove. Pop your hands in one big glove. I'm not going out with gloves, you have to go out and touch stuff, just one big glove. Why?
Well, yeah, why bother putting trousers on? You've got to put legs in both. Why not just wear a skirt?
Yeah, well, pop a skirt on, yeah.
Just put on a lady's skirt or a lady's dress. It's one piece, isn't it, then?
Yeah.
Just pop around in
one big monocle, don't wear glasses, wear one big monocle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stupid having two gloves, two slippers is mental.
Anyway, I had a good sleep last night. So much so that I woke up before my legs did.
I don't know what that means!
This has happened before when I was younger. We used to have a phone in the bathroom so that if anyone called and we were on the toilet, you'd still be able to be available. My bedroom was next to the bathroom and the phone rang one morning. My mum and dad were at work and my brother and sister were out somewhere and the phone woke me up. So I jumped out of bed to answer it, but the bottom half of my body was still asleep and I fell to the floor.
It's horrible. Has that ever happened to you?
Well, hang on. I had to crawl for a bit and reached for the phone. It was a fella selling some bread to my dad for the shop. By the end of the call, my legs were working again.
It's a weird sensation.
What shop?
My mum and dad used to have a butty shop. So
Did they?
But the thing is, just on the floor, top half, I had to sort of crawl, carrying my weight, and my legs were just like they weren't there. It's really, really weird.
You mean you woke up with two dead legs, two pins and needles legs?
Are you sure you weren't wearing just one big slipper?
You've mentioned him before, Steve, this Peeps fella.
Yes.
Has he done anything else apart from a diary? Because now I've done a book and a diary.
That means you're better than Peeps,
Well,
is what you're thinking,
well,
isn't it?
I'm not going to say that until I know, but what else did he do?
Well, Peeps wasn't a writer predominantly. I believe he was, like a bureaucrat or something. But he kept a diary which has since become a historical landmark.
And what did he say in it?
What did he say in it? Well, it's again more because it's both well written and it's also an amazing insight
a social
into
document
a social
as well.
document. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a social document.
I
of
mean,
that
yours
period.
is a social document, but it sort of revolves around having egg and chips and a calf and seeing a ladybird, which, you know...
But that's today's living. That's
Well,
what I'm saying,
but his describes the Great Fire of London, which is what it's most.
Yeah,
it's
but
best
we haven't
remembered
had
for.
one of them. If we had one, I'd write it down. I'm only writing what's happening. The ladybird happened, right? I wrote it down. He was just lucky.
Just before the ads, about, I think we're talking about objects being stuck up people's arses. Okay.
I think that was the
Someone
link,
can just
wasn't it?
confirm that.
It was, it was objet d'art,
Well, objet d'art.
RCS, objet d'art.
Objet d'art, which maybe that's a new feature. Objet d'art.
Objet d'art.
Using objects you stuck up your
French for stuffing stuff up your arse.
Yeah. But I remember when it's not really, it was just about objects and odd things in odd places. I used to work for a magazine when I lived in Bristol, and I remember the editor said to me once, he said, "Oh, we got half a page to fill. Do the usual. Phone up a hotel and ask them what the weirdest objects they've ever found left behind in a hotel room are." This was something they did every year. They just did they would phone up the local hotel, and I found out. I can only remember two of them, but they have stuck in my mind. These were found. I think it was the Marriott Hotel in Bristol. Yeah. They were found by cleaners. A chicken.
A live chicken?
Yeah, a live chicken in a hotel room, and that was just left behind. And a false leg. I mean, I don't know who leaves behind a false leg. I mean, presumably you'd notice if you didn't have your false leg, because you'd be lying on the floor. But I just remember, well, yeah, I don't know where else you'd find those two objects, except perhaps Paul McCartney's farm. I've always thought to myself, who left behind a false leg?
Maybe the chicken pecked it off.
Yeah,
and
well, possibly.
The person with it just like went and goes, so much different, I keep falling over.
Yeah.
I don't know why, and where's my chicken?
Yeah.
She probably called later and said, did the cleaners find chicken and false leg? I'll check.
Yeah.
We haven't had them handed in.
Yeah. I don't know, we got a lot of chickens and false legs left behind.
What was it like?
Yeah.
It was just a wooden thing with a foot. Has it got a foot on the end? Well, yeah. Yeah, we might have found it. It might be yours.
In pirate films, they always had the pirates would have the peg leg, which was just a piece of wood. There was no effort to make it look like a leg. I don't know why it didn't dawn on them then to make it look more like a leg. I mean, I don't know at what point. I quite like a big.
Do you know
I
why?
wouldn't really be that interested, but I'd be marginally interested to see the history of.
It was
peg
fashion
leg.
because they didn't wear long trousers then, so they all stopped to the knee. So why are you wearing long trousers? No reason. Just have a look at your legs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's more embarrassing, you see, if you hide it.
Yeah.
It's like they had a hook. Why don't they have a glove?
A hook is never a glove. It's not a practical enough thing.
It is if you're abseiling between two buildings in a hurry, because then you can just use it straight down the wire.
But a hook is such a grotesque thing. I mean, because
I don't have a go at 'em.
But I mean, there's no one except that weird guy who's up in North London who's still got a hook for a hand.
Well, I think it is useful.
Because
it's good. Well, no, it's good for carrying
bags.
Yeah, carrying shopping.
Do you think that was the concern of pirates?
Well,
then Tesco.
Well, they didn't have like animatronic sort of stuff then, did they?
I know, but it's just so. I mean, if it's just not very flattering, is it? A hook. I mean, James was at school with a kid who had lots of different things, like knife, fork, he could screw onto the end of it. That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
That's good.
That's almost as good as having a hand.
Yeah. For the canteen.
But at school, you'd be the coolest kid in school, surely.
Bit more frightening in the swimming pool. Or in a bouncy castle.
Yeah.
But yeah, for chopping up a bit of,
I imagine him being banned from the bouncy castle at the fate. You can't let him on. Oi, Hooky, get off. You're not welcome on here.
Like to apologise for some of the things said in today's show.
But what happened when he started asking girls out and stuff? I imagine he spent a lot of time with his hands behind his back.
Oh God, with a sore spot on him one. Probably. And I can get out with this one.
Yeah.
Doctor said, that's handy. There's a fella in Ward 2 that's got a shopping bag up his arse. Together. Just pop it up there, pull it out. Shopping intact. Done.
Anyway,
Hastings
answers to Rockbusters.
He's going to Hastings in 10 minutes, isn't you?
Can't wait.
He's looking forward to it. Lovely day. Lovely town. Nice little trip. Chill out, come back refreshed. Monday. Let's do some work. Ooh, you'll sleep tonight.
What does the boss want me to do?
He's done you there, Carl. I was letting it lie, and he comes back with that after we were getting on.
So, who's the winner?
Answers. Well, let's give us the answers first.
Right. Well,
this was Rockbusters. It's not Rockbusters. I'm calling it Rockbusters because they're all interchangeable at the moment.
Right, Paul McCartney, Cheeky Girls, Sugar Babes, Space and Beatles.
Okay.
No?
Brilliant. You've really, I mean, if you're not interested in it, Carl, seriously, mate. Anyway, we're going to give the prizes, which are pretty good this week, to James Waters from Colchester. Well done to him, he's got them pretty much right.
Where's Dickie Anderson?
Not heard from Dickie Anders for a long, long time.
Because I wanted to, if there's one show I'd wanted to hear, it's this one. Because we've pulled out some of the stops now, haven't we? He's excited because he's going away, so he's putting an extra bit of, Come on, let's play a record.
Let's play a tune, then let's come out with Monkey News. Can we have some Monkey News to end with? He's excited.
Placebo in this picture on XFM 104.9. 8 minutes to go. Let's make it a good 8 minutes, and then we can all chill out. Yeah? Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Play the jingle.
Chimpanzee that Monkey News.
Excellent. A particularly aggressive jingle this week.
Wow.
Yeah, looking forward to this Monkey News.
Carl.
Right.
Come on.
So, what's the name?
What?
We've done...
Sorry, what?
Brilliant.
We've done a lot of monkeys who, like, got involved in crime and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? We had, the one on the train station, nicking a bag.
Yeah.
We had the one who went into a bank.
Who cares?
Went into a bank. And walked out with the money and stuff.
Yes.
Right?
Didn't happen either. Next.
But the thing is, you never sort of found out what happened to them. If they sort of got worse, got more involved into crime
this
and
Monkey
stuff.
News update.
That would be amazing.
Brilliant.
What they found out in India is,
Yeah.
it's got a prison. It's just for monkeys.
You mean wild animals? You mean
a zoo?
Yeah, a zoo or a kennel or something that where they've been gone mental or something.
No, it's a prison.
Yeah,
it's prison.
Is it? Does it have fraud cases?
It's
Mainly sort of animals that are attacked things. Mainly violence, I bet. That's my
that and theft.
Say it again.
Stuff. Theft.
Say it again.
Theft.
Say it again.
Robbing.
No, let's go back to that word. We're going to keep doing it. We've got 6 minutes. You're going to say the word right before you go to Hastings.
Well, you say it.
No,
well, because then you'll know how to say it.
Well, all right, robbing then. It's been caught robbing.
Say it again, though.
So
Who's
anyway.
robbing? Who's robbing?
So they've got this prison. Right?
This is extraordinary.
Say it again.
No, you're not going to say it?
Oh, go on then.
So they got a prison for them, right? And there's 11 of them in there, 11 monkeys.
Right.
That are in there for life. Because that's... I think there's one just got out on parole.
Right? No time off.
Well, there's 11. I'll give you the bit of paper because I thought this was
weird. You thought it was a bit weird.
Now, Carl, what are they in there for then? Because I mean, they're in there for life, so I'm assuming it's murder, is it? Premeditated murder? They're not crime bosses, are they? They're not.
Are they the
prostitution and gambling?
Are you sure they're not just the pawns and the head sort of like orangutans up a tree going, remember, you don't know me. You're on your own.
If I go down, you're all coming with me.
You take some of your gorillas down there and sort him out.
Oh, the great banana robbery.
It's not.
I wonder if they get them.
Right, go on then.
Okay, let me see. Now, I don't know what source this is, as ever.
Is it just the back of a fag packet found in a toilet?
Well, no, I mean, someone's clearly... If this is nonsense, then someone's clearly gone to a lot of effort, because it does open with the headline, "Parole unlikely for inmates of monkey prison."
Yeah!
Officials say 11 inmates at India's only monkey jail. Officials? Now, what kind of people work at a monkey jail? Where do you work? It says officials say 11 inmates at India's only monkey jail are unlikely to ever be released. The prison in Patilia houses monkeys apprehended by game wardens in Punjab state for thieving and attacking people. The Daily Telegraph reports how the monkeys at the prison in Montebello snarl and glare at visitors from their heavily barred cages. 2 monkeys were released a year ago after exhibiting good behaviour for 18 months in the jail. They have remained out of trouble. Prison can work, that's good.
So
all 11 monkeys.
They were aggressive wild animals that were taken away from the public for their own good.
And robbing and that.
Wildlife officials believe part of the problem has been caused by thieves training monkeys to help them. Lorry drivers training monkeys as guards for vehicles, and itinerant entertainers using ill-treated monkeys as part of their act.
It's the monkey that takes the rap.
It's a shame, that, isn't it?
That is awful. They didn't know what they were doing, did they?
Oh, so there you go.
What do you think of that, though, Karl? What would if you could visit them, like Lord Longford or something? What would you say to them? You go there and you get a visit a week or something, you know.
So can you get us a video? Alright.
Do they get conjugal rights?
Do you reckon? You wouldn't be interested in that, though, would you?
They get what?
Would you be happy to give them their conjugal rights?
Yeah, would you?
Fair enough.
Alright.
Off to Hastings.
Off you
See
go.
you later.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Breakdown, and that's for Karl's behaviour last week. Karl, you seem to be a little bit happier. Last week, I mean, we were worried about you. You sort of slipped into some sort of like weird depression. You played placebo twice, so you weren't concentrating. I know you're going to say that me and Steve were annoying you, but, you know, that's an easy excuse. I mean, I think the listener can make up their own minds.
No. It's just like I say, though, it's like a murderer, right? He might not have done that if it was a different day, if the sun was out or whatever, and everything just happened at once that wound me up.
Right, so it was like a crime of passion. You'd be let off because those sort of circumstances. You'd never put yourself, say, in a position again where we'd have 2 people trying to wind you up for, you know, the sake of fun and laughter for the public on a tin pot radio station between 1 and 3 every Saturday. Yeah, but you would never do that again, would you?
Last week it wasn't just for the listeners, it was for you as well, between 12 and 1. Before we even on the air.
Why?
You were winding me up then, do you know what I mean?
Having a discussion.
It's alright, I'm used to it now, I'm used to it, so it doesn't matter. But I found out that I can't do this job anymore, I can't do these sort of jobs where you've got to be happy all the time.
Well, you don't have to be happy all the time.
No, you do,
You
really.
forget that for the...
Yeah, but I can't. Do you know what I mean? I've got things going on in my head. And
do you think when Bobby Davros had a bad day that he doesn't go on stage and give 100%?
No, but that's...
Do you think Les Dennis let all that stuff get in his way when he did that theatre tour to the people in front?
Sometimes he had audiences of like
7, 8
15 people.
Yeah, and he just went, it's them. It's not my private life, forget that. Bang!
Yeah, but good on him, he can do that, but what I'm saying is I can't.
He's a professional.
See, I was talking to Suzanne about it, because, you know, it did get me down last week.
Suzanne's your therapist?
Minder.
Yeah. Saying to her, you know, I can't do this sort of job. Normally what I do in the week, you know, I'm tucked away in the studio. If I'm annoyed, no one knows about it, I get my head down and get on with it.
Right, do you tell him? Go on, next.
You know what I mean?
Next.
Right, yeah, but sorry, but what's your point here? So every Saturday you've got to come here, you've got
to be happy, we've got to go, oh, Karl, are you alright? Oh, you're right. Your hair looks nice.
No, but you know what I mean? That's the first time, innit? Normally people listening go, he's a happy fella, do you know what I mean?
They
It
never
sounds-
think you're a happy fella, Carl.
Well.
They've never heard you laugh. No one has ever... seriously, we get emails all the time. No one's ever heard you laugh.
Yeah,
They've
but
never heard you laugh.
I'm still happy, you don't have to...
Well, are you?
Yeah.
You don't look happy.
But anyway, that's the problem with this job. And, I was thinking about it, if do you know, like, if you're a doctor
Sure.
and you're on a plane and something happens,
Yeah.
even though you're on holiday,
Yeah.
You might have to save someone's life just because you can. Next.
and I'd be thinking, I'll keep quiet.
Sure.
I love that. See, that's one of the reasons why you didn't actually qualify.
As a surgeon.
I mean, you can still do your consultancy stuff.
Oh, sure,
But,
yeah.
you know, you just don't actually want a knife in your hand anymore. Brilliant. So you're giving this up, are you?
Sorry, and how is a doctor on a plane comparable to this?
Because that is just the same situation, do you know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
probably got in his
exactly
head,
the same.
he's shut off, he's ready for his holiday.
He's going to Hastings for a night.
Someone, you know, has a little bit of tummy trouble or heart attack or whatever,
Yeah.
and is he a doctor on the plane? And he's like, oh,
Jeez,
he's going
I
on
can't
holiday.
believe it.
Do you know what I mean?
I've got to loosen his tie.
Yeah.
I can't do
But what I
that.
don't understand, Carl, is you get paid to do this. It's not like we're forced. It's not like it's your holiday. You know that this is your job of work.
This is paying for your new kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I've got the kitchen now.
Oh,
It's done, innit?
Right.
yeah.
So when are you
job done.
stopping?
When you're quitting.
Well, you're finishing, aren't you, in a couple of weeks for a bit?
No,
so-
about 4.
Yeah,
We're
about
finishing
4
on the
weeks.
16th of August, yeah. But, you know, we're only going away for like 6 or 7 weeks again, aren't we?
Well, you don't know, do you?
Well, we'll give up if you give up. Tell your managing directors that.
Well, that's a bit annoying,
Why?
because you've just passed the book, haven't you?
I haven't passed the buck. This is 3-way. You know, you get your name in heat. You're in the title now. It's Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. And now you want to go, I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh,
Carl, I
Think
don't know
about
whether
it. Think
I don't know
about
whether
it.
you've noticed, but we don't provide anything on this show. So if you leave, we have to go.
Well, let's put a song on.
Now
then.
just think. Don't be so selfish. Don't be so selfish.
Yeah.
We need you. We've got nothing.
Think of the... Molly's Chambers, Kings of Leon. Brilliant. On XFM 104.9. So, I'm not going to put pressure on you, Carl. I know you're scared to be saying this, right? But, I'll tell you what we do, right? We're stopping this show on the 16th of August. We're going to film the Office specials, okay? And we'd be coming back, I don't know, August, September, middle October.
Mhm.
If Karl does.
Yeah.
No, I know that's pressure, but that's it. I think this is a 3-way show, so you don't have to do it. What should we do? Because I know we've been approached by a couple of others. What would you do?
We've been approached by obviously better radio stations. I mean, if you're a listener, just think of any of the radio stations you prefer to listen to. That's some of the ones that have offered us gigs. So we could toy with those.
Or we stay and we see this through and we get XFM on the map. We get a few strangers
I
next
know,
year.
Rick, that I know you've had a passion since you started working at XFM to get the listeners into double figures. I know that's been one of your ambitions, and I think it would be a shame to give up so soon because you've done so much hard work.
Yeah. So that's what we need to think about. I think so we've got we've got 4 weeks left. And that might be 4 weeks forever and never coming back, or 4 weeks for like an 8-week period. And that's for you to think about. So think if you enjoy the next 4 weeks, Karl.
Yeah, but like I said to you though, the reason I did this
Yeah.
was to get that kitchen, right? Now,
Brilliant.
as we speak now, right? Builder's in the flat. He's been annoying me.
Of course he has. Of course he has. What's he been doing?
Well, when he turned up on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Wanders in, and the first thing he says to me is, said, the pub across the road, is it any good? I said, well, it doesn't matter, does it? You're working on the kitchen.
Think of saying that to a builder. Probably making conversation. Probably meant, do they do a toasted sandwich? Because I got a half-hour lunch break. Not an hour, like Karl Pilkington. So I'll pop in there and get a nice, cheese and tomato sandwich.
Is that
packet of crisps.
genuinely what you said to him?
Yeah.
The first thing you
Yeah,
said
so
to him?
Suzanne had a go at me saying, why have you said that? He hasn't even started on it yet.
I cannot believe that.
You're unbelievable, Carl. And you say it's us that are rude, crass,
I wasn't being
thoughtless.
rude. I just was letting him know. Do you know what I mean? I know what
He
they're up
knows
to.
what he was there for. He had it down on his little docket. Do the kitchen this week.
Yeah.
He didn't come there and go, what did I come out for? Was it to go to the pub for a week?
Why am I wearing these overalls?
Yeah. Who's the little bald mank twat insulting me? Let me just check. Let me call the head office.
I wasn't having a go though. I mean, they should have finished it yesterday, and they're
Yeah.
there now, right,
Yeah.
on their own. And what annoyed me is they turned up late today.
Hold on, Carl, I've just realised something. They're probably listening to the radio, this I assume tuned to XFM, isn't it, in your kitchen?
Yeah, but they don't know it's me, do they? You know what I mean?
No. They'd go, he's got a whiny mank voice as well, so's the bloke who owns this place. And the bloke who owns this place, when I said, what's that pub like across the road, said, well, you won't be bothering that, he's working on this. No, he won't be able to put two and two together, will he? You've suddenly, the penny's dropped, doesn't it? You've suddenly realised, look at his face!
Yeah.
He's suddenly realised they might know it's him!
And they could be listening, and they're going to clean you out, mate.
Oh, if you are the builder, working in, where is it? I won't say the address, but it's...
Central London, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
mental. Have whatever you want.
Opposite that pub that you
Yeah.
like, that you're... That
He'll probably be in there now, so he won't be listening.
Oh, insulting,
You know what I mean?
insulting a
That's a
British
further
workman.
He should
So
have been
just
in
go
today.
mental.
He should have been at 8 this morning,
Just
which annoyed
go
me anyway.
mental.
Why, I really don't understand why they've got to start so early, right?
Yeah.
But he said he'll be there for 8, turned up at 9:30, right? Wanders in, and what annoys me is, he could have left all this downstairs. He had a paper under his arm,
Yeah.
one of those crossword books, and a pot noodle. Now, I'm not being funny, but most of them take quite a bit of time. A crossword book, he's not happy with just the one that's in the paper.
If you're listening, if you are the builder that's listening now, doing Karl's flat, what about pissing in the laundry basket? Lonesome Day, Bruce Springsteen, on XFM 104.9. So, you've realised now that the builder could well be listening, knowing exactly who you're talking about.
There's a chance of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't think about it, but you're right, you know, was tuned onto that. I think he did flick it on, thinking about it, thinking back. If so, yeah, he's probably listening now.
No, he probably isn't. He probably listens to about half hour. If he's got any sense, he turned it to Heart or Virgin or Magic or something, but, you know, there is a chance.
Good advice to the listeners.
Yeah.
If you've got any sense, if you finish
Yeah.
the crossword puzzle.
I think, you know, according to our figures, there's a 5% chance of him listening to it.
Yeah.
So, if we want to be accurate. Although
then
he is in a
what-
house with it tuned to that, so I think puts him right up to 50%
Yeah,
straight
but then
away.
again, Rick, he's got a job of work, so
Yeah.
why would he be listening to this show?
Well, he's doing a crossword at the moment.
Yeah, well...
You better hope he's not listening.
Well, I mean, they do annoy me. I'm sticking by it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
carry
that
on, come on, you
builders-
might as well keep digging, yeah, go on.
No, I'm just saying they do annoy me, the way they wake you up at 8 and then...
Well, that's when they start work.
Because I told you, I mean...
Oh, we'll leave that one then. Yeah.
No, but it's like the other day when they came in, I always like to test them, do you know what I mean? When I had some work done on the last flat that was in, right, that was renting, the builders were in, sorting the shower out and that. They woke me up about 7:30,
Yeah.
right?
Were you in the shower?
No,
Good thing about a clean this shower, there's never any hair down the plug hole.
Yeah.
Right. So, I left early to come to work, right?
Sure.
And I thought, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder if they have started. So I walked back to go back in. They'd left the flat and I was outside having a Starbucks. And it just annoys me that they couldn't do that first. Do you know what I mean? Have your breakfast first, then come and wake me up. But don't wake me up, so then get me out of the flat and then say, right, let's go and have
Well,
breakfast.
they've probably
lads."
got to get in, haven't they? Didn't
What
they?
for? What for? They can put all the tools in the little lobby bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just winds me up.
Sure.
Now the thing is, the guy today who's doing the tiling, well, that's narrowed it down a bit more, right? When I knew he was in there, I went out for a bit, had a cup of tea and a bacon butty,
Yeah.
right, at a cafe. And I went back and I was really quiet, put my key in the door and opened it really quick to see what he'd be doing. And he had actually
Did you-
started work, so fair play to him.
What if he'd just been exfoliating himself naked on the kitchen floor?
Yeah.
I'd say, right, caught you.
Don't
is-
use
this
my
is what I mean.
exfoliate.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But people
Instantly, if
annoy
you're
me.
listening, go through the wardrobes upstairs.
Go
I
to the
think there's
wardrobe,
good
get some
up there.
stuff, yeah.
they won't get anything. I've put everything in places where they wouldn't think of looking. For jewellery and stuff.
So you're thinking that
Where have you
they're...
put the jewellery? Where have you put
Can't, I'm not saying.
Go on.
So you're
no.
thinking that they're going to thieve from you as well?
Okay, so if you're
Yeah,
listening,
don't they have a route, don't
don't think about the obvious places when you're looking for the jewellery.
No. But I do things like, I would do things like, you know, just pop a little bit of urine, maybe in the salt cellar or something.
Yeah.
Just do
I'd
some...
say what I do is I take the toothbrushes in the bathroom, just pop them in the toilet, flush
Yeah.
it, and then
Yeah.
take them back again, just pop them back in there.
Leave them nothing. Leave them out. When they were coming last week, I brought the biscuits to work. Suzanne was like, "No,
You
one
didn't
you've got,
really?
no mates."
You
no,
brought
I
your
did. I brought
biscuits into
biscuits.
work.
No, it wasn't a tin. It was just a packet of good quality cookies.
quality cookies.
Yeah, you thought I'll be down with the
Oh God.
But that's what Suzanne always says. Don't know, why you like this, because it's not as if you've been sort of harmed as a kid or anything.
But I like the fact that you just once said to us that you don't need friends. You don't like friends because they're a bit of a pain. Because they call you up and they want to be with you.
Yeah, but mates are a hassle. I woke up today, right, and I think it was might have been on 5 Live or something this morning in the bedroom, right? And they were talking about how it's Nelson Mandela's birthday, 80-odd, 20,000 people turning up at his party. I thought, I'm glad I'm not in. I couldn't be doing with that. 20,000 people.
Think of the carpet afterwards. I mean, a good percentage of them will put out fag butts on his carpet. After Tommy Walsh and Charlie Dimmock, what's her name, did lovely patio and a water feature, he's gonna come back and he's gonna go, oh, it's ruined.
And what's he doing for his birthday? Karaoke? Chinese meal? Bit of karaoke? I wonder what Nelson Mandela's birthday party is like.
Big cake.
Bit an enormous cake.
Yeah.
The Spice Girls jumping out.
Yeah, the Spice Girls, isn't it? Well, everyone. I don't know.
Yeah.
We are the only 3 people that hasn't met him.
I thought everyone's file would have been in the cake.
Yeah, yeah. Just in case, you never know. And if Winnie calls, I'm not here. Have you not invited her? No, of course no, definitely not. Poor Nelson. Happy birthday.
How old is he?
85.
Oh, well done. Well done. No, God bless him. God bless him.
Oh.
85 today.
Oh.
Right, bit of songs of phrase next then, yeah?
Do you reckon?
Oh,
Well-
really? What's that one?
Wait a minute. Right.
Everybody says that they're looking for a shelter.
Silence is Easy by Star Sailor on XFM 104.9.
Sorry, just suddenly struck me something. I don't know if I mentioned it before. You mentioned that you tried to catch your guy out when you came back once. You opened the door really quickly to see what he was up to. Did I ever tell you when I was at university? Now I'm very tall and I've got enormous feet. Size 14. Size 14 shoes. And when I was at university, everyone, it seemed to me, was wearing Dr. Martens. It was like you had to wear a pair of Dr. Martens. It was kind of the rule.
Dr. Martens was too big for you.
Yeah, so that's a big pair of Dr. Martens. That's where the myth of the old woman who lived in a shoe, I think,
I
came
know.
from, people with my size shoes. Anyway, I just literally kind of moved to university. I'd been there for literally a couple of months. And obviously in that first period, you're quite keen to kind of, reinvent yourself, strike yourself, try and give an impression of perhaps being quite sophisticated, worldly, cool, all those things that, you've left behind all your childhood friends, so you're trying to, develop something
You
new.
didn't bother? You didn't?
What, sorry?
You didn't bother?
No, I was working hard on it, and I was kind of, I was doing alright, and I had my tie-dye shirt, I was looking good. And, so I was trying, working hard to try and seem kind of cool and, not freakish. And, I came back from studies once, and I came in, and there's a little old cleaning lady that kind of would always come in every day and clean up our halls of residence. And I came back, and my door of my room was open, and there was like a little huddle of people just peering in, right? And I thought, this is odd, that my door's open and I'm not in there, and there's people staring in the door. And I looked in, and the little cleaning lady had my Dr. Martens on and was clomping around,
Making them all laugh.
making them all laugh, doing an impression of me.
That's amazing. And
Imagine that.
and
Imagine
that's
the
the
psychological scars that has.
I don't know that she's more popular than you.
Yeah, exactly.
And they go, come on, Maud, let's go to the JCR.
Exactly.
And they carry her down. They go, drink. And she goes to you, Steve, you better have that spotless by the time I come back. And you go, alright, I will. Alright.
But what I like is the fact that I'm sure that's not part of the cleaner's code. The cleaner's code is they don't have the keys to everyone's room, so you can go through their belongings and play practical jokes. I mean, surely it's a kind of, there's a trust.
She must have looked like a wall bracket with the I went bowling with him once the first time, and we went bowling at this place. Where was it? I mean, in Finsbury Park. And I'd never been before. And he's got to wear special shoes. I went, all right. He went, so. He goes, have you got size 14? And she went, yeah, I've got one pair. And she put them on the table, and they look like crusty. Honestly, honestly, it looked like art. It was, I just started laughing, because they're so long and thin anyway, and they're multicoloured, aren't they? They're two colours, and it looked like Krusty the Clown's feet. And then this teacher just went, alright. 14, that is big, isn't
It
it?
is a huge size shoe. You're right, yeah.
And it was just the one cleaner in them.
Just the one, sadly.
She did have loads of kids eventually and brought them up in there.
in there.
Well, we got songs of phrase, haven't
Right,
we?
songs of phrase then.
Okay, let's just have a look at the prizes. Let's just remind us again what exactly songs of phrases, because I know a lot of people put it out of their mind week by week.
It's a phrase that's, been said on the show a few times, right?
I mean, you remember classics, like, what was?
We've had hairy Chinese kid.
Yeah, there's this hairy Chinese kid.
Stop squeezing my head.
Karl, you're an idiot.
Karl, you're an idiot.
Some classic phrases.
Classic phrases, and so you use various old-time songs and you put them all together, and that spells out the phrase. Before we play that, let me tell you now, you can win. Look forward to this. What's this? The new album from the Star Spangles. That's called Bazooka.
Is that out, is it?
Never heard.
When's Bazooka out?
Never heard of them. The best summer holiday album in the world ever. You've got the treats on there include the Fast Food Rockers and Laz Ketchup.
Yeah. I'm waiting for their second single, because I don't know what that's going to be about.
Sure.
Is it going to be a bit more fast food? Maybe like Pret a Manger?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
This is very good. Yeah, 2 disc set, the best of David Bowie. In Spiral Carpet's the best of them. Still don't know how they spring that over 3 seasons. No idea.
Bowie's is one.
Yeah. We mentioned it last week, the American Song Poem Anthology. That's kind of a kooky collection of songs. And we've also got a couple of DVDs here. Stephen King's Rose Red. I've never heard of it.
Straight to video.
Yeah, made for television.
Yeah. Will never be seen at the cinema.
And I'm sure there's a lot of nerdlingers listening, so they will be loving Richard Dean Anderson in Stargate SG-1.
Yeah.
Free inside, there's a collector's card, plus you can win some exclusive memorabilia.
Brilliant.
So I think a pair of their...
Right, all you've got to do is listen to these, 13 songs, probably, to write a well-known stupid phrase.
It's only seven different songs, right?
Well, just get the most you can. Just be rough. Artist or song, it'd do, right?
And the phrase is, about me dad nicking from, telephone boxes, right?
You've got to give them a clue, because they've got to know what they're listening for. It's hard enough when you know. Dad is never going to stop robbing from telephone box. Is that it?
Yeah.
So what are these songs then? Go on in.
It doesn't matter that some people don't know what that's about, do they? Doesn't matter.
No, they're not. Well,
your father's a thief.
Email only. ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Let's hear it.
All right.
From...
All right.
Also not grammatically correct.
No.
So it's Daddy never gonna stop robbing from telephone box.
Rubbish.
Unbelievable.
Play it again. I think we just need the song. That's all we're after.
Yeah, just the songs. Right.
From...
Just again?
Well,
This is a desperate feature,
It
isn't it?
really is awful. From... See, Rick, if we took more of an interest in this show, we'd have come in, listened to that,
We'd
and
said
said we're not
no
going to play
way.
it.
We'd have said no way.
I don't
we're
care
doing
how long
that.
you spent on it.
We've got a reputation.
Yeah.
We've won awards.
We've won major awards. We're not putting that tat out. But,
Yeah, no.
you know, that's what
But we're
happens.
just giving the listener what they're used to.
Exactly.
So I think more fool them for listening.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. At your breakdown, you went off to Hastings with your girlfriend, stroke carer, Suzanne. Now, what does she... Because whenever we meet Suzanne, we bumped into Suzanne recently at the BBC, Ricky and I. She's always very nice to us, very polite, we have a nice little chat. But I'm always wondering, what is it that she thinks of us, really? You know, because I'm assuming you immediately go home and whinge.
No, but they tortured me. You saw they tortured me on air.
Now, what does she make of us?
Did she listen to the show last week?
Yeah, she did, yeah. She knew I was annoyed.
Right.
So, she sort of gave me a look like... You know what I mean? Like that, when because we went to Hastings.
That wasn't because you had, like, Marmite or something over your face.
No, it was that... So we didn't talk for a bit, I just was like, getting over it.
Sure.
Thinking, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
Right? Is the new kitchen really worth it and all that?
I phoned him up, left a message after the show. I said, "You seemed a bit quiet when you left. I just want to make sure it wasn't anything I said."
But no one...
You're still doing your Samaritan work?
yeah. And did it ring, or did you just ignore it? Let it go to answer machine.
I think I turned it off. I left it off, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just left it off all day and
But
that.
what does she make of us? Does she genuinely think... Does she not really like us?
I said it's weird, because there's no one who, who she doesn't really like, which annoys me, because she says to me, I'm the opposite, do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, everybody annoys you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, but that's my choice, right?
Sure.
And that's why I don't bother getting mates and that, 'cause
Sure.
it's just hassle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, sometimes me being like that affects stuff that she wants to do. So, you know, if a mate...
Like see her family and friends.
Well, let's not say her family or friends, but say if one of her mates had a baby,
Right.
right?
Right.
I mean, you know...
Naming no names.
So this happened.
Well, I've just got to
You got to
watch what I'm doing, haven't I, now? 'Cause of all...
The builder who knows you're slagging him off and saying indie stuff.
Yeah. So, you know, she's got a few mates who have had kids recently.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of them had a kid. Yeah, go on.
Right. And she wanted to go and see it, right? And she said, you can come with us. And I was like, you know what I feel about babies.
Sure, you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
They all look like Mel Smith. Why do I need to see another one?
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, yeah, but come and see it. You know, you get on with them.
Mm.
Come and see them. And I was like, it's a long way away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's probably narrowed it down again.
Yeah.
You know? So, and that annoys her, because I can't be bothered. Do you know
What
what I
did
mean?
you say? You say, oh, no, I'm not coming to see him. I don't
I'm
like
not
him.
going all the way to Swindon.
What did she? Did you? Yeah. Or Birmingham, or Cornwall.
Yeah,
well, you know who you are. If you had a baby,
Yeah,
sort of in the
but-
last
but-
time,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Karl didn't show up, and Suzanne said, "What Suzanne? What excuse did she say? You're working or busy or?"
No, well, to be fair, I was working, right? And they
Yeah.
are nice people and
Oh,
stuff.
now you're backtracking because
No,
now
I'm just
do they
saying, yeah.
listen?
Yeah,
Do they listen to the show?
They might do.
So you know they listen to the show. So once again, you've got an anecdote where the people who you've admitted to not liking to see their baby or
No,
care about
no,
them
no,
are
no.
listening to the show.
No.
Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe the builder's listening once
They're
again.
nice people, I like them.
Just
like their baby.
just sneeze in the chili pot.
When the kid's older, I'll go and see them.
Yeah.
It's just, do you know what I mean? When it's got its own little character. As a baby, it could be any baby. Do you know what I mean? It's got nothing to offer me.
I know what you mean.
It could be a toy baby.
But you know what I mean?
It could be a bag of sugar.
No, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
When it can start talking and, you know.
And lend
Play
you
around
money.
with it.
yeah. yeah.
Got good toys and stuff. It's well worth
Yeah.
going, but at the
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah, nothing.
I'll see it when it smells
He
sick.
goes, oh, you want to go? Yeah, brilliant. Put it to bed. Let's have a game of Scrabble.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're talking about on our way to Hastings last week. For me, that's where I went to chill after the.
Of course,
after the
And that's
thing.
where you decided you couldn't give 100% to the public if you weren't having a good day, like me and Steve do. Come rain or shine on a tin pot radio station that really doesn't, keep me in frappuccinos these days. But we'll say once again on air, this is official, and this is not to put pressure on you, that me and Steve are going away for a couple of months on the 16th of August to do the office special, and if Karl doesn't come back, nor will we, because I see it as a three-way thing, and that's the truth.
Rick, you said that a couple of times now, as though you're expecting a flood of emails and calls. Nothing.
No, I'm just trying to get in pressure
There's been nothing.
because I know for a fact that they want us to come back, and I know.
I think maybe not the listeners though.
No, the listeners don't care.
They don't care
Listeners
then.
couldn't give it. They don't care who stands in. Do you know what I mean?
Incidentally, what frequency is Magic?
It's 105.4.
Worth checking out because I had a great.
Heart is
Bill Withers earlier.
106.2. I think. Virgin's 105.
Bloody good station.
What is that? 105.8.
Yeah.
Which is
Well, check press
good.
for details, but
Yeah.
or watch some cable TV. There's some good stuff on.
Yeah, Kisses 100. That's easy to remember.
There's a new Ride album out, gentlemen. I think you're probably quite excited. It's
London's Heart 106.2.
It's released on the 4th of August, and it's all the BBC sessions, all the stuff that Ride did over the years for
Virgin 105.8.
for BBC, and this is one of them. It's called Time Over Time. I think it was from the album Going Blank Again. It's very good. Play it, Karl. I play that for Pippa, who requested some Ride. That's from a new compilation called Waves, and it's the BBC recordings that Ride made during the 90s, and I think that was originally recorded for BBC Radio 1. That's a good station. Radio
Bloody
1.
good station.
That's a good station if they're interested.
Radio 1. So one of the.
I think they pay quite well as well.
Well, I enjoyed working for them.
I know we used to work for them for a period of time.
Until we got fired for slagging off.
Simon Mayo.
I think it was Simon Mayo.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I can't quite remember it.
Well, we used to do this thing, Marion Hobbs at night, and we were getting a bit busy, and so we were constantly handing in shoddier and shoddier work. Right, we used to hand it like that and hand it to them.
A theme there.
A theme, I know, yeah. And to the point where they kept going, oh, like every other week they go, we couldn't put it out. Why? Well, because it was the most offensive, or it was inaudible, or it was twaddle, or you didn't record it. You know, there was things like that. And then I think the straw that broke the camel's back was, Simon Mayo had just broken the Guinness World Record for, DJing. And we were going, oh, that's brilliant, yeah, in an air-conditioned studio with loads of scrotes getting cappuccinos for him. That's not work. Our dad used to build walls, you know, that's work, not sitting down. If he wants to break a record for work, and we went off on things like, I know, we were going, we know birds who do leisure stuff to feed their smack addiction.
Yeah.
That's work.
Oh,
I want to see Mayo on his knees outside McDonald's giving a rent boy a blowjob and all this sort of stuff.
I want to see him hanging up in some kind of leather strap.
In a Amsterdam torture garden with 13 blokes jizzing on him, all with beards.
Yeah. But why aren't you still there?
Oh
happy
dear.
days.
I think
Happy
the producer at the time said, we can't. I said, why not? I said, we're not saying he did it, we're saying we'd like to see him do it.
Yeah.
Right? And she went, oh, he's a Christian.
All the more reason. Well, we were talking earlier about friends. You say you don't like making new friends, do you? You're kind of repulsed by the idea of new friends because it's too much responsibility. They might phone you up, they might ask you for a favour, they might need a shoulder to cry on. You don't want any of that responsibility, any of that concern. But I'll tell you what's worse than making new friends is when old acquaintances come out of the past.
Oh, pop up.
It really unnerves me because I'm constantly bumping into people who I just don't recognise.
I know.
And I've got this urge to be polite. I can never just go, I don't know who you are. I've always
Nor
got
can
to
I.
pretend.
I've looked for clues. When they say, you still, don't know, I go, yeah, so I go, right, and what about so-and-so? I go, say, no, those two people, and it's like a saw in my brain going, oh, I must know them from so-and-so.
Yeah. Well, I went back to Bristol once, and I remember walking to the bus stop and seeing someone I recognised from school and walking all the way to the next bus stop just so I didn't have to stand there and make conversation because I just thought I've got nothing.
Well, it's the conversation.
I didn't know you then.
If you're yeah.
What can we talk about? We've got nothing in common except the fact that we went to the same school. I was on a train station platform fairly recently, and the guy comes in and goes, "Oh, Steve, how's it going, mate?" And I looked at him, stony face. I had no idea it was, but of course I had to go, "Good, mate, good. How are you? How are you?" And you know, I had a newspaper, and I kept looking at the newspaper, thinking every time I look at this newspaper, it's a clue for you to just walk away.
God.
But he never took the clue. He never took. So it was kind of, I'd say, "Oh yeah, not bad, not bad." Read the paper, and he'd go, "Oh, where are you living at the moment?" So I'd tell him, and he'd say, and I'd look at the paper again. "Oh, do you still know
But that's what, when you know they are, it's just as bad, because they go, oh, we should have a drink sometime, and you want to go, I'll be honest, look, if I'd wanted to get in touch with you, I had loads of opportunities.
Exactly.
I've had every day, from now right back to the last 15 years, I could have made contact. I didn't.
Exactly.
It's easy. Take that as a clue.
Yeah,
I mean,
instantly. If you are listening to this and you perhaps know me from school or university, you're thinking of getting in touch, do not bother.
Ditto.
I do not need your friends. You've got enough friends.
Better ones.
Better friends. I've got a number of better friends that I prefer. The reason I've not kept in touch is because I don't really like you.
You've moved onwards and
I've
upwards.
moved on. I know people now, the likes of which have won major awards on
Ricky
television.
Gervais, to name but one. He's
Let me
happy.
see, he's sat right here next to me
That's all
now.
the friendship a man needs.
If you have won 4 BAFTAs, then give me a bell. If you have not, kindly stay in your little underneath your particular rock, because we're not interested. We have kept you out of our lives for a reason. I did not accidentally lose your number. When I promised to send you a letter, it did not get lost in the post. Nothing gets lost in the post.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Karl, what do you think of that?
It's alright. That's that, but I'm honest with them though, when I see them, do you know what I mean? I just say, I don't know who you are, can't remember you. Not bothered.
I'm not bothered.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that is genius.
Anyway, Bit of Darkness.
Oh, well, I've got to play this. Now, be warned, this is a rock ballad off the new Darkness album. I love the album, and it's a bit cheeky playing this because it's got shades of Def Leppard, right? But there's a lovely balalaika bit in it, and it's quite a nice song. Right, and it's the Darkness, and they can get away with this sort of thing for at least another 4 months.
Oh. Radio 1.
You want me, I'm
Cardigans, You're the Storm on XFM 104.9. If anyone from Heart or Magic or Radio 1 or Radio 2 is listening, could well be available come October.
Yeah.
Alright?
Please get in touch.
Yeah.
I think that my new TV is too big, Rick.
I said that
I know,
when you
I don't know
bought
what I
it.
was thinking.
But I can't believe it. He talked about this buying it. He's got a bit of cash now, of course. And what is it? 42 inches? 42-inch plasma screen. What did it cost you? $3 grand or
I
something?
don't tell. That's
Wow,
huge.
it's
3.5
ridiculous.
grand.
£3.5 grand, big spender. Of course it's too big.
Well, I can't get far enough back in my room, in my living room for it.
You know, it's 40, you're meant to be, I think, 4 times the screen size away from it
Really?
to get out in the air. So that's 4 times 42 inches you're meant to be sitting away from it, which is impossible.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to just get friendly with the neighbours.
Yeah, watch it through a hat.
If that's the case, though, aren't you better off just getting a portable?
What?
I don't understand that rule.
Well,
What are you saying?
Well, you're meant to be 4 times the screen size away from the TV.
But
That's
then what's
the
the point in having a big telly if you've got to keep moving further back? Get a portable.
And sit
and
right
sit
next to
near
it.
it. Is that how they sell it? Is that what they say to you?
Well, no, it's a rule, but I do see your point. Why do people go to the cinema then?
Did you see films that aren't out yet?
Fair enough, he's got you there.
Done.
I tell you this though, I had it delivered, and are you supposed to tip delivery men?
Of course you are.
I don't know. You see,
Well, if
I've never had anything delivered before. I've never
Well,
spent
no,
that much money.
not if it's a courier with an envelope, but if it's a bloke who's struggled up the stairs,
I held the door
two
open for
fat blokes with a fridge, then give him a £5 for a drink.
The problem was, I didn't realise, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if I've got to tip him. And the guy was leaving, and my mobile phone went off in my pocket,
Yeah.
and I reached in to get it. He put his hand out, thinking it was a tip. I went, it's just my phone. And I felt terrible after he left. I didn't know. What was I going to do? Run down the street and offer him a £5?
No,
No, of course not.
no.
I'm not made of money. I just spent it on my TV.
Yeah, I've got no money, mate.
No.
I just spent it all on
Yeah.
this. I had to clean out my jar,
Exactly.
everything, the drawers.
Yeah, I'd take some bottles back.
What
The problem was, it took me forever to wire it in. I thought, I'm not going to pay for someone to wire it up, you know. So it took me about 3 hours to wire it in, and it was huge, and I got it switched on, and the first program that was on when I got it wired in was Bargain Hunt. I'll tell you this, David Dickinson's tan almost took my eyeballs out. It was incredible. It was like X-rays.
So
Extraordinary, the glow.
close. I know, a huge plasma screen with this orange thing
Yeah.
coming out, and he keeps turning to the camera, doesn't he?
course, that
Just
grin.
to get you. Yeah, he turns away. You get a bit closer. They go, "What's he doing?" He just turns around,
Exactly, yeah.
takes the cornea off.
What do you think, Bargain Hunters? Bargain Hunters, Bargain Hunters.
Oh dear, that's why I'd buy a plasma screen to watch, Bargain Hunt.
I mean, it's good, because this is the problem, is because what do you
I
watch?
mean, have you watched anything that's been worth having?
The only thing I've watched really worth watching.
24.
Well,
on-
yeah,
on a
24
big-
works great, but also films. Obviously, that's the main reason I bought it, because films just look amazing on there.
Yeah, DVD on
Yeah.
the plasma
That's it,
screen.
if you're into films and that, it's
Yeah.
just that I only, I've just got the 5 channels and flicking about, and I'm not impressed. I mean, I can understand why more people listen to radio and stuff.
Yeah.
Cause,
Well, not this one, but go on.
when was it? When was the last time I sort of sat down and had time? Because I'm always busy doing stuff and that.
Sure.
Um,
Moaning takes up about 3 hours a day.
when did Wimbledon finish?
A couple of weeks ago.
Right. Found myself sat there, right? I'm not having a go. I know we stopped Cheeky Freak of the Week and all that, right? So I'm not going to be having a go.
Christ,
I sat there.
I'm scared.
No, I'm not having a go. You've always got to remember that.
Go
I'm
on, just get on with
telling you
it.
what goes
Get on with it.
in my
I'll
mind.
apologise after.
I'm just saying, watching Wimbledon, it wasn't, one of the major games. It was little fellas in a wheelchair having a game.
Little fellas in a wheelchair.
Right.
But for me, I mean, great. They're doing a sport and everything. Don't get on the telly.
What was up with it?
It wasn't like a rally going on. No, do you know what I mean? Do you know normally, like, with the well, not to Enman, but with some of the other, with some of the other players and that, they're playing for ages, aren't they? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, who's going to win this and that?
Yeah.
None of that. It was just like, hit it, net.
Oh, Christ! Oh, God! I don't know what to do!
And people were, like, sat there watching it as well, when they've got other games going on in there. That's what I couldn't understand. If you've paid your money to get
God.
in,
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, good on them if they, do you know what I mean? But it would have been, I
And
don't
they
know,
all start first in the marathon.
I just thought it would have, give them a game of swing ball or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I understand.
Oh, Oh, God.
There's never anything on.
XFM in the community.
Did
Brilliant.
anyone confirm, actually, I had an email earlier,
Swimming ball.
No, I'm not having a go, though. Tell them. This is what I'm like, aren't I?
Sorry, this is recording you as well. What do you mean I'm not having to go tell them? What you
No,
think you
but
just
do
said
you know
that to
what I
me?
mean?
That you think you haven't got a microphone? You just said to London, keep wheelchair sport off the telly because they can't get a rally going. You call them little fellas in wheelchairs. What? And I'm meant to go, what Karl meant was... What? I mean, what? They can hear you as well.
Yeah, I know, it's just that they might think that I'm having a go, and I don't want them to. That's why I stopped Cheeky Freak of the Week, because some people got the wrong end of the stick,
Right.
and what have you. So,
Well, it was funny that a woman was born with deformed legs. They might think you were taking the mick.
Anyway, I just was wondering if anyone could confirm. We had an email earlier, I forget who sent it in, but thanks very much indeed for it. They said that the Paralympics began this week, and apparently during the opening show, the entertainment was provided by Riverdance. Now, I don't know if that, I can neither confirm nor deny that, but it does seem rather tactless. Let's play a tune. Ricky Gervais, Gervais.
Don't put my name to this last link. Don't put my name to this last link.
Ricky.Gervais, xfm.co.uk.
Oh.
Magic, Virgin, if you're listening, we are available probably sooner than we thought.
Making plans for Nigel? XTC on XFM 104.9. Well, you seem a little bit happier now.
Oh, yeah, it was alright, I'm a bit worried. But like I say, the last thing that we just talked about, I don't want people thinking, you know, we're having a go at anyone, because it does do me head in. Because I'm the one who always has to deal with it as well when people do.
What?
You know, we're just having a chat about tennis and stuff.
Yeah, the little fellas in the wheelchair, as you put it.
Yeah,
What are you worried
that's all.
about? That
Just that they think we're having a go and that, because sometimes I do have to take calls and deal with it, all this stuff, right? You don't see that. You don't see the hassle I have to go through.
No, but I don't often say things where I'm likely to get a complaint.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it wasn't meant to be taken badly, do you know what I mean?
You're allowed
It's
to say you thought that the quality of tennis, because they were confined to a wheelchair, was poorer than, say, Sampras versus Agassi. I don't think that's in question. It wasn't as good a game of tennis. That's what all you were saying. You weren't saying they shouldn't play or...
wreck the grass. Right, mess.
Well, stop while
No,
you're
no,
ahead.
I'm just saying as well.
I can confirm, incidentally, we've had several emails, I can confirm that Riverdance opened the Paralympics in Dublin recently, so I'm sure that was very good, very entertaining.
Leave it then.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it was entertaining, they're very good.
Who was it that thought? Was it Jimmy that thought it was short for Paraplegic Olympics?
Really? I've no idea.
Yeah, it's Parallel Olympics, isn't it? It's
Paralympics,
yeah.
right.
But as we pointed out, that would be pretty much
Yeah,
blow football.
yeah.
There wouldn't be many sports in the Paraplegic Olympics. It stands for Parallel
Yeah.
Olympics. I'm educating, Karl. Don't let me like that. I'm educating. I'm not saying funny little fellas in
I
wheelchairs
educate without
playing up the
going there.
grass. What?
I'm always educating. I'm always telling you about stuff that I learn about and that.
That you get off hand and over, and it's about a monkey who became king.
No. So we've
No? Have you got monkey news this week?
got a little bit of monkey news coming up.
What does he do? Drive to Spain, rob a bank, or get married?
No, we're done all them, aren't we? We have done all them.
Yeah,
This
but you
one,
know
no,
what-
it's a good one, it's a good one. And in fact, it's a bit related to what we've been talking about in a
Oh,
way.
God.
That's good. That.
Okay.
Last week, after your nervous breakdown,
Yeah.
you went to Hastings.
Yeah.
Can I ask, why the hell did you go to Hastings? It's so arbitrary.
What do you mean?
Why go to Hastings?
You lost him on arbitrary. Why did you choose that above all other places within...
It's amazing, isn't it? You look at his face when you say a word that, you know, he doesn't understand, and it just goes dead. It's
Yeah.
like when your computer freezes.
Yeah, it is like that. Yeah. Is there an equivalent to Control Alt Delete when
On
Karl
call.
just doesn't understand? So we have to press like knob, bollock, finger up arse. It takes him out of his sort of stupid, doesn't it?
Now that's three things to press, but you've only got two hands, so...
Wow. Yeah, I know. God, what would I do?
what
I'd
would
have hold on. So I could have the thumb of my right hand, pop that up his arse. I'd have probably my index finger of my left hand on his knob. How would I press his testicles? What would I use? I'd have to use some other part.
Shall we try it?
Yeah, let's go around
Let's
there.
have a quick try.
Messing about.
Look, come on. What?
Sit
I just
down.
think it's time you had a little kiss.
down,
No, you're so welcome.
I've already had a little.
What happened, Karl?
He
What are
loves
you
it, he
doing?
loves it. I'm just going to give you a little kiss.
Don't
Just
do
for the
that.
webcam.
Right, hurry up then.
Alright, on the lips.
No, no.
Oh, come on.
Oh, God. I love it because he hates it so much.
You won't get that radio on.
But it means I could have kissed Chris Moyles.
What?
Could have kissed Chris Moyles on Radio
Little
1.
Milesy. Give Milesy a little kiss for all his good work.
Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
What happened to Chris Miles's show? Is he not on anymore?
On the TV?
Yeah.
No. Turns out he was too fat and talentless.
No.
Do you want to tell us about Hastings?
Where did that come from?
Eh? What?
Yeah, Hastings.
Yeah.
It's alright, yeah.
What's there?
Not much. It's just one of them
Is there a
places. Yeah, it's good. I think that's what's good about it. Nobody knows, right? Because last weekend it was roasting, and you saw pictures of Brighton, and it was heaving.
Yeah.
Right. Hastings, hardly anyone there. And yeah, it's got a nice little beach.
Yeah.
Sand?
Sandy
No,
beach?
pebbles. Well, that's all right, isn't it? You
Well,
don't,
no.
you don't want the sand.
Why didn't you want sand? Of course you want
Yeah, it's
sand.
a little bit, doesn't it?
It's murder building a sandcastle.
No, you just sit
Yeah,
there.
but you can't walk on pebbles, can you? It's,
What do you mean?
well, it's all kind of, it's sort of a bit, dodgy
It's
underfoot.
all right. The only annoying thing is, right, it's one of them places that it's great to visit for a day,
Yeah.
but I wonder how people who live there get by.
Why?
Because all the shops are like them things that you go in, and it's like a little pebble with a pebble stuck on the top, and it says Hastings on it. It's- every shop does that. If you want bread and milk,
You're done for.
it's murder.
Yeah.
There must be a supermarket.
I didn't see any. Seriously, it's all novelty things like that.
Yeah.
And then when I got back into London,
Their houses.
Yeah.
Just covered in pebbles and like seashells and stuff.
Oh, not rock for tea again.
well, the funny thing is, right, it's the first time I've sort of noticed somewhere like that. When you go, what do you do if you just want some Brillo pads or whatever? I'm walking in London.
Never concerned me that. Never needed Brillo pads in my life.
No, but you know what I mean. The sort of things that
Yeah.
it's a bit tricky to find. But in London, you've got the coverage.
Yeah.
Now the weird thing is, I was walking home from had a drink the other night, right?
Yeah.
Walking down the road, and there was a shop that just sold in London, chess pieces
Yeah. Is that the one on Great Portland Street?
round the corner from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's, I think that's
Well,
mental.
I remember being in Brighton once and seeing a shop, and all it sold was the foam you put inside cushions.
Yeah, there's one of those at Pentonville Road.
But I don't know who opens a shop like that.
I know where these
I'll tell you,
things are.
There's a hole in the market.
Yeah. What was that shop we walked past yesterday? And it was like something really, really... Oh, chef uniform shop.
Yeah.
It's Dundee Street. And I'll tell you what, I opened a chef uniform. Mainly sort of check trousers and white hats. But there must be a lot of chefs around. I'm eating all the time. Someone's making the food.
The funny thing is, on the chess shop, right, they mustn't have been doing that well. And someone the bosses must have been sat there going, not really working this, is it?
Yeah,
right?
people only buy one chess set in their life.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, but the funny thing is, on the door, it's just said, come in and browse. Which I thought was odd.
Did
right?
you?
No, it's shut. Right? but the funny thing is, right, so you can imagine them sat there going, oh, not doing that well. And it's changed, they've actually changed the name of the shop now.
Yeah.
And now it says chess and bridge.
Right, they've had to expand.
So they've opened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
What do you buy for bridge, if not
I don't know.
cards?
I don't know.
I don't know, I don't play bridge, but I don't know, I don't think you need a lot of stuff for bridge, except a pack of cards.
I remember going
A table.
when I was on
Three friends.
on holiday once in Devon, past a shop. I don't know if you ever need it. If you ever need an antique marionette, let me know. 'Cause I know where there's a shop.
Okay, yeah.
Antique marionettes.
I know.
Again, you only need one, unless
But I
you're a
want to know
collector.
who goes into this business. Well, son, what are you doing? Going to university to do law, father. Well, there's a factory there that makes the little plastic bits that goes on the end of chair legs. Do you want to take it over from me? We're not really, no. It's all set up.
Yeah.
It's all set up. Oh, God. All right, Dad, but just for a couple of years.
Someone's got to make them. Someone's got
know.
to make the little plastic bits that go on the end of chairs.
Well, if you make them, call us on the 123497734.
Weird though, innit? Weird.
Weird, though, isn't it?
Right, listen, songs of phrase answers next. We'll go out of the
Well,
way.
I'll tell you what, play it once more, so that people have got a chance to actually enter.
Hang on.
If you
Keep
can
talking,
be
keep
bothered.
talking, keep talking.
Oh, I can't be
Should be ready, Carl. This is
Right.
terrible.
Here we go. Right.
That is the well-known phrase, Daddy's never gonna stop robbing telephone box. The well-known phrase.
And we're looking for the songs, I think. I don't care.
Right.
Well, tell me where it all went wrong.
Libertines on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant. Over there is Karl Cayman Pilkers. I'd be great for Heart.
You really would.
Wouldn't I?
You really
Virgin, I'd probably. But it was Radio 2 being preferred. Oh, all one. Late night one would be good.
All good stations, all professional stations.
Yeah. 4
All
weeks to
have an
go.
audience, all have
4
an
weeks to go before we may give up or we may come back. Who knows? It's all up to Karl Cayman Pilkoids.
Can I just extend an apology? I was a little bit crass earlier, and I made some unsavoury remarks about Radio 1 DJ Chris Moyles. I'd like to apologise.
Funny man Chris Moyles.
I'd like to apologise for that, but it gave me an idea. You, the listeners, who do you hate? Email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. I just think that we've never really used XFM as a kind of, as a research tool, really, and it seems to me that we can get great
And
opportunities.
it's this, we don't sort of do this thing, we don't go on there and sort of like slag off other people and people in the public eye. Well, we pick on targets that are
can't fight back.
helpless, the elderly, you know, people suffering in some way that really, and particularly we don't want to pick on people like Chris Moyles who's got a big platform, much bigger
We
platform.
want people who can't answer back.
Yeah, so, who
But
do you
us,
hate?
That's us. Who do you hate? And I don't want people you went to school with or your
Do you know
boss.
what I hate, Steve?
Who do you hate, Rick?
Right, my top three, just in your top three, would be Hitler,
Yeah.
Mussolini, and General Pinochet.
Really?
No, probably Moylesy, Harry Potter, and Jamie Oliver.
Nice.
But what are your top three?
Now, don't make them comical, don't make them... These are the people that wind you up. When you see them on TV, if you hear them on the radio, if you see them in a magazine, they just... they make your kind of blood boil.
Might be us.
It could be us. I mean,
Well,
I'm expecting that.
we know that. We're not stupid.
We could take it as read that it's us.
Yeah,
And then if anyone other
let's
than us...
assume it's us, so we want other people.
Yeah. But we just want... I want to drop the top 5 people...
I don't want to hear things like Tony Blair and Jeffrey Archer and fascism.
No.
Just people who make your flesh crawl for no fault of their own.
Well,
really?
Well, sometimes their own, because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
talentless or fat.
But that'd be good. But that'd be a good long-term poll over the next 4 weeks, and then in 4 weeks' time we go. Well, we're off. We're in the top 10.
Exactly.
But here are the other 9.
So I think it's just genuinely going to be quite interesting. So ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Maybe who you hate and why. It's like giving a reason in the diary room.
Yeah, that
You
might be
can't
quite
just nominate someone. You've got to say and why.
good. Sure. But if you
You
can't
know.
be bothered to write and why, just nominate.
Yeah.
Because that means we've got a lot of reading to do if they start doing that, Rick.
Yeah.
Keep it down to one sentence.
Yeah. You know, so the reason to be so and so because they can't walk, something like that.
Sure.
Maybe.
Now then, we were playing earlier songs of phrase. We have had. I mean, the answers I could literally count on the fingers of one hand. Now the right answers, even less so. But do you want to play it once more, Karl?
Oh God.
There was 7 songs in there.
Right.
Read them out. Go on. What are they?
It was
Oh, have you got it written down?
I can remember them. Daddy Cool. Right.
Boney M.
Boney M.
Yeah.
Never Gonna.
Give
was
You
from
Up.
Rick
Rick
Astley.
Astley.
Yeah.
Write them down.
Stop. Sam Brown. And then,
Right.
Robin was Miss Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. That's not Robin.
Oh.
From Russia with Love, Matt Monro.
Right.
Telephone hanging on the telephone, Blondie.
Yeah.
And then Box, Living in a Box.
By
Living
in a box.
Well, listen, no, I don't think anyone got them all right.
No.
If you did get them all right, I'm sorry, but I gave up checking the emails a long time ago. So I'm going to give it to Michelle Flower because she got a few of them right. So well done,
She got a lot right there, actually,
Yeah.
well done.
Good. Well done.
She got 5 out of 7, so well done, Michelle. And you get all those great prizes. Incidentally, we mentioned that Stargate SG-1, I'm sure you look forward to that, Michelle. That features Richard Dean Anderson. Had a lot of emails, people saying, is that the same Richard Dean Anderson, or Dickie Anders, that used to email in and said he loved the show?
What's happened to Dickie
No, I've
Anders?
not heard from Dickie for ages. So, Dickie, if you're listening, Richard Anderson, if anyone knows Richard Anderson, what's happened to him?
Well, I think we know his top 3.
Yeah, exactly. So, Dickie Anders, if you're still out there, get in touch with
Anders. It was also. Right?
Yeah.
Anders.
I just was going to say, you're talking about people who annoy you and that.
Yeah.
Like, not many sort of celebrities annoy me because I think, well, some people like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But things that affect me, like the builders.
You're a
right, builders-
philosopher. Go
The
on.
builders annoy me, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And you could say that's a bit of stereotyping, but all the people who I've met who have been builders have always annoyed me, right? So that's
because they've been working on your house in your space. I mean, that's like all the builders that have been round your flat and making a noise when you're trying to get some sleep have annoyed you.
Well, that.
Brilliant.
But also someone in the office in the week, right, who works here.
Yeah.
He's a good lad, named Lenny, right? He's called Lenny. He proposed to his missus using XFM. So
What,
like,
you
he popped in Zoe's show, right? His girlfriend sat out there, she didn't know what was going on, she was asked to come in.
Even she wasn't listening, she was out there. she probably had a Walkman on or something.
Yeah. Well, just that thing.
Jono. He had to fax Jono with the request.
Dear Jono, I'm broadcasting from Mexico at the moment.
Oh, my girlfriend's listening to you.
Oh, God. London's Hot 106.2.
Great stuff.
But it's just that thing of, like, abusing your position, I think, annoys me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I just was thinking, if he worked for a cab company, would he have done that over...
That's one of my
Do you know
hates.
what I mean?
People abuse. Do you know what I hate? Dictators who have just sort of like, they've got there by unfair means, now they're sort of like hurting the, like, little people and that.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I hate the most.
Do you know what I don't like?
What?
Famine. No, it winds me right up. Famine and disease. Oh, I get so annoyed with it. Tune from Wilco, this is called I'm the Man Who Loves You from their album Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, XFM 104.9. Who do you hate? Ricky.Gervais at xfm.co.uk.
Alright.
Fascists. Ain't that brilliant? Van Dando, All My Life. Beautiful. On XFM 104.9. Well, that's nearly it. It's the big one. It's what people tune in for. They probably tune in about 10 to these days. For Monkey News. With, Karl Pilkington.
Can we hear the jingle?
Only 4 to go. Oh, chimpanzee, that Monkey News.
Right, this one's about it's been emailed into me.
Right.
I haven't really had time to check it out this week.
No, you're joking.
Been busy.
Ooh, I
Been
hope
busy.
it's not stupid.
Goes back to 1908, and the person's saying it's a good story and that, and they're surprised I haven't picked up on it yet. Right. The Olympics, right? In 1908 in London. Apparently it was meant to happen in Italy, but it was cancelled. Don't know why. Right, and it happened in London. Anyway, 400 metres. Right, it was meant to. There's a fella who was going to do the run, right, and the favourite to win it was this Bulgarian guy, right? It was like a newcomer.
Okay, these are the few things it cannot be. 1, he injures himself, so a monkey steps in and wins. 2, he does a drugs test, it turns out that he is a monkey. So if it's either of those, right, I'm going to go mad.
So anyway, the fella, right, this favourite, everyone's putting the money on him, thinking, yeah, he's going to do it.
Is he hairy? Is this bloke hairy?
So anyway, the race happens.
Yeah.
And everybody's lined up, ready to run. And, everyone's saying, yeah, he's going to win, he's going to win. And suddenly, a bit of murmuring going on, people going, oh, what's going on here?
Right. He's eating a banana.
And there's a fella in the lane next to him, right, he's going up. Who's that? He doesn't look familiar.
Oh, Christ, Karl.
Keep going.
Right, doesn't look familiar. Who's he?
Weird.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, what is it? What is it? Or who is it? I mean, not what is it?
So they go in. So they say, well, he might not be that any good. Do you know what I mean? He might not be good. He might. It's
Just a bit short, and
doesn't matter.
he's only 3'6", and he's hunched over on his knuckles. So,
I didn't realise it was fancy dress.
So
I
anyway,
don't think he's going to be any good. No.
So the race
Oh,
starts.
he's put his finger up his arse. That's weird for a runner to do that before a race. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Race starts.
Yeah.
The fella that no one recognises wins it. People go, what's gone on here?
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what I mean? We had our money on the favourite. What's gone on? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Anyway, he stood up there, right? He's looking well happy.
Yeah.
He's lifting the trophy and everything.
Right.
Long arms. That trophy's higher than...
So anyway,
He's only 3 foot, but the trophy's 9 foot in the air with those long arms. It's suspicious. Go on.
they had the picture in the paper the next day,
Sure.
and everyone's going, yeah, he was fast and everything, but quite hairy for a runner.
Oh, I'll tell you
Come
what,
on,
Karl.
come on.
Quite
This is
hairy for a runner, because
ridiculous.
normally they shave themselves, don't they, to make them faster. And
No.
they're going, how did he manage it? It's really hairy and that. So anyway, he wins the stuff, he walks away with a cup. The people who are in charge of the running, or like the Olympic Committee, look further into it. Turns out it was a chimp,
Right, keep talking.
No, don't keep talking. Why encourage him?
Shut up, this is monkey news. If you can't handle the news...
It's news from 1909 and I haven't heard about a chimp winning the Olympics.
Right, be quiet.
What happened there then?
400 metres, right? Now, the thing is...
talk shit.
The annoying
Please,
thing was,
Ricky.
it took so long for the Olympic Committee, right, to find out that it was a monkey. It was going going manic. It went into loads of races. It was picking up loads of, like...
Oh, shut up!
It
right?
became a celebrity. It was doing endorsements on TV.
Don't talk shit!
It said he managed to win the same race 4 years later in Athens because...
How did he get to
But it's a joke! They're winding you up, Karl!
Weird.
It's not weird, it's
isn't
right. I do not believe it. Well, that's okay. There's only 3 of them to go then. Right, because we're probably all leaving in 4 weeks' time, and that's the end, I've got to get onto a sort of mainstream radio station, because I don't think there's any other sort of tin pot place like this, is there?
No.
So I'm going to clear up my act a little bit. I've got an album from the Capital Radio Library, and it's the best punk album in the world ever, so if Capital are listening, I'm just going to show that I can do a mainstream. I'm going to play a classic song and I'm going to announce it right and everything. So
if you get a job on a decent station, you'll take me with you, will you?
we're a pair.
Brilliant.
So, okay, here we go, right. If anyone's listening, just to show that I can do mainstream radio, okay? Well, that's all. Okay.
Well, you're getting nervous. You're never nervous, so come on. Shall I get a monkey and do it?
It's alright. Okay. Well, that's about all there is time for today. You've been listening to Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant. Across the way, K-Man Pilkers. James Addiction, Just Because on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. We're all here then.
Oi, oi.
About 1:05.
Yeah.
Got 2 hours to go.
I imagine you've got all kinds of treats lined up, Rick.
Well, there's lots of things on the show. Great music. You know, Nirvana, Radiohead, The Darkness, to name but 3.
Can I play you something from Led Zeppelin later?
Yeah, please do. And maybe some Neil Young.
Oh.
Now, coming up also on the show, we're continuing a thing we started. We've only got 4 weeks to go before maybe we either give it all together or go away for a couple of months.
4 weeks or 3 weeks now?
Is it 3 weeks?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think it's the 16th of August, isn't it?
Cannot end soon enough.
Wow. Might be that. It'd be a shame to end it forever, but it's all up to Karl. But again, he's in a grumpy mood. He's probably trying up his attitude, and it's them. It's the listener that counts, Karl, not us. We may be feeling bad, but you, the listener, count. You come first, yeah? Okay, up, yeah? Big 'em up. Big up London. Big up you, the listener. Karl, leave yourself at home for a little while, yeah? We're going to continue that thing we started last week. We're doing the list of the most hated people in Britain. It's not us, it's the listener. So we'll, keep coming with those suggestions of people you just, obviously, you don't hate them. We don't want a list of mass murderers, dictators and politicians. You can't have them, but,
mass murderers and politicians, what's the difference?
Good point. Good point.
Satire.
Satire, yeah. No, we're doing some jokes like that as well, aren't we?
Satire like that.
We're trying to get onto Radio 4.
Trying to get on there, yeah.
And,
if there's any kind of amusing show that perhaps takes a sideways look at the week's news and then new people.
If there are any Radio 4 producers who have been knocking around for about 12 years with the same old hacks and they're desperately trying to get on telly, they want to give us a call, we're not interested.
No.
No.
We've got bigger fish to fry. So if people that you hate, minor celebrities, people on TV, pop stars you don't like, email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
And I'll tell you what, then we'll do like the Channel 4 do, then we'll give you the sort of list of the top 10 at the end, and you can vote within that top 10. I'll tell you ones out in front though.
Could be why I have some kind of premium rate phone line, so that we make a fortune.
We can't afford it, but if when you email in, if you could also maybe send us a lottery ticket, then, you know, we'll make something out of this. The ones in the lead, and I'll do in no particular order, but these are the ones way out in front at the moment, is Chris Moyles, Robbie Williams, Chris Tarrant, Davina McCall.
Interesting.
I'm sort of surprised at, but I know that it's probably just
I think
over
she's just
familiarity.
been on TV too much lately.
Yeah, that t-shirt annoys me, Big Mother.
Sure.
That annoys me. We don't care. We don't care whether you're pregnant or not. Loads of people have children.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Get on with it.
And Dominic Mohan. So, there's but think of your own.
There's a lot of people just coming up behind there, though. Graham Norton. He's just approaching
Graham Norton.
from behind.
Oh, there's the sort of stuff It's not like we've done satire, we've done
We've done
innuendo.
smart.
I mean, he's the king of the double
anyone-
entendre. Well, he's the king of the single entendre, but we can double it up if you want.
If anyone,
104.9, this is the sort of things we're available. Go on.
If any of
I'm
the
loving
pro-
this is going to be good. I'm loving what's coming next. What?
if any of the producers of Carry On London are listening and they need some new talent to write some smutty innuendo, I think we're your men.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Carl, you better press the knob, right, to start the record. Spunk.
Smutty. Ricky, I know you're a Neil Young fan.
Love him.
You probably won't have this album. It has basically not been available for years. It's never been available on CD before. It was part of this kind of trilogy of albums he did that were very depressing, and they've just been re-released. This is absolute dynamite. It's On the Beach. On the Beach? Yeah. And that's the opening track, Walk On, Neil Young.
Brilliant.
I
On
urge everyone-
XFM 104.9, that's the sort of stuff. You've had satire, you've had a little bit of politics. You've had, we said Spunk, which is a bit naughty, isn't it? Which
Exactly.
is a bit cutting
Rock and
edge.
roll.
Yeah. And you've had Neil Young and Jane's Addiction, so
I can't think
Probably
of
quite
anything else I'd rather
down with the kids and everything, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty hip, pretty weird.
Yeah, so, do you know what else? Wish Tony Blair would just stop
Oh,
doing
Yeah.
doing stuff wrong.
good, that's good. Who else is there to have a go at? Oh, Peter Mandelson or someone.
No,
No?
he's good, isn't he? 'Cause he's good because he's gay, isn't he?
I don't know, I don't know.
I don't know if he is. If he's not, then I'm sorry, but if he is, then well done.
Brilliant. Good to, all gay people good.
Yeah.
Any underprivileged people, you're all brilliant. But people who are overprivileged, oh,
Do you know what I like?
go on.
Foreigners.
Dear.
All the mad shit they get up to.
Oh, what is
you
it
see
now?
on the news. It's
Yeah.
just that interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy. some of it.
It's,
I'm watching, I'm going, what are you doing that
What is
for?
in that boy?
It's weird, isn't it?
Killing and that.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you're
And
the
doing
radio
good
call-
stuff. And good stuff and...
Yeah, well, yeah. Euro Disney, that's good. So anyway, that's the sort of satire and the way we can
Yeah.
kind of tear apart popular culture and just get
Yeah.
to the very nub bit.
Well, can I just leave with this? Do you know my favourite country? Africa.
It is brilliant.
Not
It's-
strictly a
it's huge.
country, but
It is
all
huge.
the countries. Except the bad ones. Remember the bad ones?
Oh, evil ones.
Play a
yeah.
record. Anyone at Radio 4 is listening.
Yeah, we would like to get on some kind of satire show, please.
Longview and further on XFM 104.9.
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Yeah.
The Holy Trinity.
Yeah, going well at the moment.
Not bad,
Going
not
well.
bad. You were just talking about foreigners.
Love 'em.
And I'll tell you something, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, because I know you're a very well-informed man. You're
Yeah,
very-
political and sort of liberal and that.
Yeah. How does Chinese work?
With the language,
I can't figure it out.
no one knows.
I can't figure it out.
No one knows.
It's not like any other language.
No, it's not. It's not.
You know,
Either spoken or written down. Well, it's not written down, it's...
well, when it's written down, it basically looks like kind of little children's drawings of those little paper houses that Chinese people live in.
Well, it's what
You know what I
it
mean?
is.
It's sort of-
It is
And
the
it's
little-
loads of them, hundreds of them, from what I can make
But I mean,
out.
even French have a go. It's not even the French like, right words, but they've got some of
They're
the right
trying to sound
letters,
like English.
and they're going, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And it's sort of they're
Exactly.
trying to do the words, but there's just something wrong. I think it's like a speech impediment. I think.
Exactly. Yeah, Germans are similar.
Yeah, Germans are going, "Ah, how are you?" And they're trying to do the words.
trying to
They're
speak
just
English, but it's
whereas
just coming out
Chinese,
of it-
no effort.
It's just, for want of a better word, it sounds to me, when I listen to Chinese, it sounds like gobbledygook.
That is a dialect.
I
that's
can't-
I think that's the main dialect. That Mandarin and orangutan. But I mean, that.
I can't, but seriously, I mean, I can't figure it out. I've got no grasp of how, because it doesn't seem to relate to anything I've
Wait,
ever
there's not
heard.
real words because there are sentences. Like, you know, we have a word, if we said, a gentleman sits by the stream of fish.
I've said it often.
Yeah? We use all the different words to each one of those words, so we've got a word for each of them.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
haven't, they've just got, I think it's like a triangle with a line through it.
Right.
So,
Right,
which
right,
can
right.
get confusing, because, you know,
Yeah, so the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
that's just, that's what, I think that's like a little paper house with a feather on top.
Right.
But if we got,
Personally, this is what I would love to do. I want to use the fact that we're on the radio to answer these questions possibly.
yeah, to
I
tell
would
me about
love-
other cultures.
I would love to speak to a Chinese person.
Yeah.
A Chinaman.
Well, or a Chinaman woman.
A Chinaman woman, I thought
Yeah.
fine. But I'd just like to speak to someone, ideally perhaps, you know, a professor of Chinese.
Or someone who works in a chip shop, but someone who was actually born in Chinaland.
Someone born in China.
Someone born in Chinaland, a Chinaman or a Chinaman woman just to talk us through exactly what they're going on about.
Exactly, and it's just because I'm very ill-informed. I've only really seen, Chinese people in kung fu movies, you know,
Chinatown.
Walking through Chinatown.
As we've said before.
Not really a town.
Not really a town.
More of a novelty street.
More of a novelty street, a slippery novelty street.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
because I remember watching kung fu a lot. They always used to speak, they always speak very slowly, don't they?
They do.
They're very kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
Inscrutable.
They never really they are unscrutable.
You cannot screw a Chinaman.
You cannot screw a Chinaman or a Chinaman.
They are unscrutable, they are non-scrutable.
Yeah.
If I was to go out in the street now and try and scroot a Chinaman...
You'd have no chance.
I would not, because they are inscrutable.
You could not screw a Chinaman for love nor money.
They are anti-scrutable.
Yeah, yeah.
I could possibly scroot a Chinese woman.
Well, I don't think you'd have any luck. You've had no luck.
But anyway, if you are a Chinaman or a Chinaman woman who can just tell us basically how it works, how would you teach us the basics of Chinese if we were going to go to China and we wanted to interact? Where would we start? What would be the first words we would say? How would we say them? How would we write them? Please help.
This is going to run and run.
What's the number, Karl?
08700 800 1234.
See, proper normal.
Whole lot of love from Led Zeppelin Classic.
On XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
We've not heard much from Karl this week.
We haven't heard much from anyone who can speak Chinese for us either, so we're not that one on the head. I don't think we'll be learning Chinese today, Steve.
What annoys me is I'm going to go out into the world still ignorant.
I know, yeah. The only Chinese I learned was from Benny Hill.
No, Benny Hill could speak fluent Chinese.
Well, the only ones I know is you silly idiot is Siri Iria.
Yes.
And bloody foreigners is bloody foreigner.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, that's it's just a matter of it. Get you by in Peking, but I mean, you come in, you hit a dialect, and your worms meet.
Sure.
Carl, yeah, we haven't heard a lot about from you. We've been going here. We've done a few features already. We've talked about different parts of the world, different parts of the globe.
Do you speak any languages?
No, not really.
Well, still struggling with English.
Yeah.
Yep.
Learn a few words. I mean, literally.
So,
about 4,000, I think
now,
he's got.
I've had a lot of emails, actually, people saying, Karl, please don't leave, we don't want to see the show ending, blah, 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 blah.
And we've had a couple of calls bringing back Cheeky Freak of the Week. And do you know what Karl said? He said, the bloke on the phone said, oh, bring back Cheeky Freak of the Week. He went, can't. I don't know, you know. And he went, oh, go on. He went, well, no, I had a story today. A fella born with 2 dicks, but I can't do it. Now, Karl, you cannot not do a feature about a fella born with 2 dicks.
Well, look if we need it. I mean, how much more have you got on the Chinese?
We're done. We've done that. We've nailed Chinese. We've done it. That's done. That's put to bed. Fella with 2 dicks, please.
No, we might get round to it later. But, like I say, Cheeky Freak of the Week. Sort of, we've put that on hold at the moment.
Sure.
Right. So, what have we got? What
are you providing then today? Have you got a quiz for us?
Yeah, we've got, what's her name if you want? We've got
what?
What's her name?
What's her name?
No,
Is that a new one?
Don't know. Yeah, what's her name? Yeah, well, what girl am I thinking of?
Someone's a phrase. We've
Someone's
got
a phrase.
We've got that coming up.
All right. Monkey News, I
Monkey News is safe, isn't it?
Some Monkey News, that goes without
I
saying.
told a bit of Monkey News. I did a photo shoot at the zoo this week, and one of the people in
Trying to make
charge...
yourself look good.
yeah. They told me that they used to have an orangutan, right? But it escaped. It worked out. It lifted up the drain, got out the drains, and got out up into the zoo. It actually did a cold type escape, right? And Karl goes, what happened? I said, well, they sort of like, they surrounded it and sort of got it back in. He went, that's no good though. I mean, it's not Monkey News unless it steals a car and goes to Spain.
Exactly, yeah, or opens a small...
I mean, that's real. That actually happened.
Yeah.
But it's not real unless it, takes a gun, gets mistaken from a president, and,
runs the country for 3 years.
There was some more news about London Zoo this week about it. They're all excited because we've got an anteater in there.
Right.
This week. So.
Is that good? Is that exciting?
No, I think they've had an okapi born. It's got a long nose. It's like a sort of tapir type thing.
Not interested. I said to you before about if an animal's named after what it eats, how interesting is it? Do you know what I mean?
An anteater is the only one, isn't it?
Well, get rid of them.
No, there's lots in there.
What other ones are there?
Well, there's flycatchers. There's lots of animals that are named after what they eat.
What's the flycatcher?
That's a bird, isn't it?
Seems ill-informed. I can't think of many beyond anteater. You're talking about, because you're talking about zoo though, and I was watching the news last night, and it had, a feature about Madame Tussauds. And it was saying that they scrapped many of the royal family. Now, I don't mean this, but I've never understood the appeal of Madame Tussauds. I just, genuinely, with no irony, cannot see the appeal of sort of having my photo taken next to a waxwork of J-Lo.
I know.
I can't compute why that would be fun. I don't know. What is it? Do they move? Because they don't move, do they?
No,
They
of
just
course
stand
they don't.
there.
I know.
So genuinely, I mean, it's so crowds of people queuing up and people queuing to have their photo taken with the royals. And I don't.
The queue would put me off immediately.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's just down the road,
But
isn't
didn't
it?
say you go home to your phone and go, there's me, there's me with Kylie.
It's
me
not
with
quite,
Britney
is it?
Spears.
Her eyes
Oh,
look a
no,
bit
it's just
funny.
a wax effigy.
Oh, I thought you met
Yeah.
her.
No, it's just a waxwork.
Right.
It's not even the real person. If you've been to Madame Tussauds, if you have any understanding of why the appeal there, email
Hold
and
on,
tell
wait a
me, 'cause
minute.
I've
Well,
no
let's
understanding.
not diss them, because they might melt down, Ricky Tomlinson one day to do me.
Sure,
You
yeah.
never know, you know.
Or Rick Waller.
yeah. So I don't want to put them off.
But seriously, I mean, I'm not...
You know, Roy Kinnear might be in there.
What
and he's
is the appeal? Genuinely, what is the appeal? To walk around a number of...
But that's the same as lookalikes. When I see it at the back of the stage, and it's got like, I don't know, Susan Gooding is Caprice.
Yeah.
And you want to go, what do you do with her? Oh, 500 quid, she comes and stands at your party.
Yeah.
And so it'll go, she looks a bit like Caprice. Yeah, don't go too close. She does, yeah.
Is that Caprice over there?
No, but it's...
It looks like...
Yeah.
There was one in the back of the stage which was so-and-so is Jordan. And it was a woman who's sort of buxom girl wearing very little.
Buxom! Are you from the West Country?
I am. I thought to myself, if you're willing to get your knocks out pretending to be Jordan, just get them out and become a pastry model. Stop pretending to be Jordan.
And call yourself after another Middle Eastern country.
Yeah.
Don't just...
It's very odd.
I know. God.
Very strange. But you've got a lookalike now, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's so odd.
But it's a bloke, right? Sort of at his desk, right?
In the picture.
In the picture, and it's David Brent.
Yeah.
And it's got Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
So...
I don't remember, it's just an old fat bloke with a beard.
Alright, don't have a go.
Alright.
Play a record, Karl. No need for that. Radiohead. There. And Go to Sleep on XFM 104.9. Don't go to sleep, we've got some more fun and great tunes coming up. Alright?
Just to let you know that we've had a few new entrants on the listeners' hate poll.
I just noticed Chris Evans is cropping up.
Chris Evans has snuck in a couple of times. We've also had Jordan added to the list, along with Mick Hucknall.
I think that's because, Pete, you reminded people.
I know, I mentioned her and,
Yeah.
consequently...
Come on,
she's on it.
think.
Mick Hucknall, and also, this is one I'm strongly behind, Daniel Bedingfield. If you've
Yeah,
ever
but I
heard him
can't hate
interviewed,
him.
oh, if you've heard him interviewed, he's such a knob.
Is he?
He really is a bit...
Don't get involved. We see the good about this is we don't get involved. This is not... does not necessarily reflect our opinions.
That's
There are a couple of people that are cropping up that I'm right behind, but I'm not going to give that away. So don't give your opinion, Steve, because then our hands are
Do you
clean.
know who I love?
Who?
Daniel Bedingfield. He's bloody brilliant.
Do you know who I think is a comedy genius?
Go on.
Chris Miles. But let's move on. Let's not.
So anyway, listen, we'll be giving the top 10 of you, the listeners, votes, probably about 2 o'clock, and then from that list we can,
If we remember.
if we remember,
If Karl doesn't lose the list.
yeah,
Yeah.
and from that list we'll probably try and drop the top 3 maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so quiz time. I know everyone's been looking forward to this. Which quiz is
Well,
it
we're
this
going to
week?
play along because he's done Songs of Phrase where he cuts up bits and pieces from records. You have to guess the title or the artist, and makes a well-known phrase, i.e. a phrase that we've said a lot. And the challenge is that me and Steve have got to try and work out what it is as well before we will tell you the phrase, but let me just see if I can guess. Play it.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Right, I know what that is.
I didn't hear it. Can you play it once more for me?
Right. I know what that is. Right, it's why don't they play the game of swing ball? Because that's what he said when he turned on and saw people in wheelchairs playing tennis.
And his point was,
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Oh dear.
That is so naughty. This show's been a bit naughty, I think. I don't know what's happened to us. I think it's like, sort of end of term sort of madness, but I think we've got to calm down here. We're a bit naughty there. We said, you know, bloke with 2 dicks. We said Chinese people don't talk properly, which is a little bit...
Offensive.
Yeah. You know what I mean, Carl?
Well, they don't know.
Right, okay, let's leave it now.
Okay, stop there, Carl. Carl does not necessarily reflect the opinions of XFM or any other human being.
If you think that me and Steve have been being offensive, we are strongly behind the guise of irony, satire, and ignorance. Carl only has ignorance and hate.
Yes.
No, but as long as you say something good about someone, you can also say something bad about
Go
them.
on,
How does that work?
Go on, and give us an example.
Well, Chinese,
Yeah,
yeah?
Yeah.
Great people, right?
good.
Really,
that's
the
the good
women really good looking as younger people.
No!
They get
What are you
older.
doing?
I'm just saying, as long as you know what I mean, there's good and bad and everything.
For every
Well, what are the
positive
old
and
ones
negative.
like?
They don't age well.
What do you mean?
The fella in Karate Kid, the teacher, was only about 36.
We started this! We started this! Oh.
Fact. So, songs of praise, email in, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, right?
I mean, I have to say, Carl, it's very tricky this week. You've got some very obscure sounding songs there.
Yeah, just all we want is the artists.
I think just the song, Carl, mate.
I
No,
think
actually,
that's harder.
hard.
I think that's
hard.
harder.
Yeah, the artist.
Just the artist, I know.
Okay, so these are the prizes this week.
Well,
We've
let's play it again so they can hear it. Try and work out all the different artists.
Yeah, why don't they play
the game of
the game of swing ball?
Right?
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
That's tricky.
It is tricky.
That is tricky.
That is good.
But there's some great prizes, including, Carl, I can't help but notice, torn from the current, well, I think today's issue of the Daily Mirror.
What, he's giving away a giveaway?
It's a free CD from the Daily Mirror, which you can buy it, you spend 30p on the Mirror, you can get this anyway. But it's still in the piece of plastic that it came in, I love
it's
that.
ripped.
Anyway, there are some other treats for yourself.
Oh, you'll be loving getting that through the door.
So there's the Jingly Jangly Sound of Summer, Good Vibes, a 2 CD set featuring music from Crowded House, R.E.M., Simon and Garfunkel and the Beach Boys.
I'll tell you what, I've thought of another game. We can put Carl's into theory, right? I can tell him a sort of like a person or, you know, a people or a place, right? Or a profession, and he's got to come up with a good and bad.
A good and bad thing.
It is dicing with death.
Yeah.
Are we ready to do this?
Well, listen, if we're quitting in the next couple of weeks, then who cares?
Okay. Good and bad, right?
Well, hang on, whoa, let me just,
good
we're on the prizes here.
Alright, okay.
So now 55. I know there's
Okay.
a lot of XFM listeners who are going to be looking forward to the likes of S Club 8 and the Fast Food Rockers. They're all on there.
I can't wait. What is their second single going to be about?
The Smashing Pumpkins. This is quite a good little compilation of sort of B-sides and live performances and stuff like that, which is not bad. The best summer holiday album in the world ever. I think we've given that away in the past. All sorts of stuff on there. Plus the director's cut of True Romance on DVD. The Tarantino scripted.
Oh, it's a great film.
Tony Scott
That's some
directed
brilliant-
movie.
oh.
So there's some quite good prizes. Just play it once more.
So email in, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Why don't they play the game of swing ball?
Just the artist, yeah? That's all we're after.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, anyway,
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Very tricky.
Brilliant.
Very,
That
very
is
tricky.
brilliant.
Alright, bung the song on. Bung the song on now.
What?
Let's put a song on. Bit of, Farrell Williams.
Yes.
Good and bad. Good and bad. Old people. Darkness. I believe in a thing called love on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Karl set the ball rolling with songs of phrase. Why don't they play swing ball? Referring, of course, to people in wheelchairs who play tennis, because he was disappointed they weren't getting around the court quickly enough. So why didn't they play swing ball?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Someone just emailed in saying because if they hit it to the top, they wouldn't be able to reach it to unravel it,
Exactly.
which is a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, nonetheless, good and bad in people in wheelchairs. Do you want to do that? Good and bad things about people in wheelchairs.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Suppose No, really. They take up less room in cinemas. They've got their own seat.
Good. That's good, is it?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well done. Well done.
That was bad.
Don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
But well, let's leave that, eh?
You started it. The hate list. Can I just return your minds to the hate list? I said on the hour that we would give you basically the top 5. Now, we have to stress, this is the top 5 most hated people that you, the XFM listeners, have suggested to us. We have not massaged these.
No.
We have not made these up. These are coming from you. Last week we began it. This week you've continued to email. So this is the list. We do not endorse this list. Some of them we may agree with, some of them maybe not, but it's the list that you have come up with. We are merely the messengers.
I tell you what was coming through recently. Cameron, but he didn't make the top 5.
I'm afraid he was just a late
Williams
entrant,
dropped out of the top 5.
Robbie Williams surprisingly dropped out of the top 5.
Yeah.
So let me tell you now, in no particular order, this is the top 5 that you're voting for.
XFM listeners. Well, I say XFM listeners. People who listen to this show. I mean, XFM listeners aren't typical radio listeners, and I think our listeners aren't typical XFM listeners.
Right.
So I don't know what this poll, what it's worth, what any poll's worth, but I mean, this one is probably worth very little.
I think in a way it's sort of worth less.
Yeah. Go on, who's the top 5 in no particular order?
We want you, the listener, to then just vote, email in with the one name that you hate the most, and then from this list
Out of this
we
list,
can
yeah.
clear out the number 1.
Okay.
But this is in no particular order. Chris Tarrant,
Yeah.
surprising entrant. Davina McCall.
Well, I don't think he's that surprising.
Well, anyway,
Because, I mean,
I'm not going to editorialise.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying I imagine XFM listeners pretty much despise someone like Chris Tarrant.
Okay, well anyway, Chris Tarrant's on there. Davina McCall.
Yeah.
Patrick Kilty.
Right.
Graham Norton.
Right.
And Chris Moyles. Now, I'm not going to say anything. Those are the names that you have drawn up. There are lots of others that didn't make the top 5. Richard Madeley was on there. Michael Flatley. Vorderman, bizarrely.
Michael Flatley's a weird one.
Very strange. So Jamie Oliver, a lot of votes for him, but he's not made the top 5. So those are the top 5. Just email in with the number 1 that you hate. And we're talking about someone
another pointless, inane poll.
Exactly.
And this time we did it. Oh, dear.
Moyles, Norton, Kilty, McCall, Tarrant. It's your choice.
Who would you have
Ricky
out of this?
Gervais.
Who would you have in your list, Carl? You're allowed to talk because people know your opinions don't matter. So, what?
I honestly don't really hate anyone.
That's
that
nice.
much. I'm not that fussed. Do you know what I mean?
We're not
I don't
talking so much about hate. We're talking about someone that
Yeah, we
annoys
don't mean
someone
hate. You can't hate any of these people. All they've done was pop them up on telly. But I think it's people who, as one listener, she put it. She sort of, I think she had some of those, and she said, you know, I don't hate them. These are the people that if they pop on my telly, I have to turn over. You know what I mean? It's not. You don't hate them. You know.
But sometimes it's not their fault. It's like Davina, right? I used to quite fancy her, and now because she's always on the telly, it's like I can't be dealing with her now.
Sure.
But she's still the same presenter. It's just that I'm bored with it.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not getting involved in it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Don't want to offend anyone.
Let me just give the email address.
But I mean,
let me just give the email address. I just said it, so look, talk over it.
Okay, I'm going to do Carl's top thing.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. That's also the email address for your answers to this week's Songs of Phrase. Play it again, Karl, if you would.
Go on.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
We just want the artists, is that right?
Yeah, that'll do.
I've got 2 that you don't like. Not that you hate them, but that you sort of like, don't agree with them. Would Liverpudlians be in your list?
Probably.
What about gay fellas in toilets looking at you?
Well, I think they've sorted that out. So.
One of the prizes this week in Karl's goodie bag features this song. Play it, Karl. The Monkees. Pleasant Valley Sunday.
God.
Monkees, Pleasant Valley Sunday. Brilliant. XFM 104.9, Karl Pilkington.
This show is monkey heavy, isn't it?
indeed.
It is monkey heavy. Karl, if you were president, would you sort of make it compulsory to maybe have a little monkey? Everyone has a little monkey of their own? Little chimps out and out, old age pensioners?
It's not a bad little. It's funny, you know, because there was a story the other day when I was looking for monkey news. Right? There's a story about a couple who couldn't have any kids, right? There's something wrong with them, but they really wanted a kid. And they got some dodgy email address. where they could buy a baby online, right? It was someone who would have a kid, and you could buy it for $3,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they got one, they got picked, and they're like, brilliant, there's the money. Got the baby and everything, they were loving it. You know, playing with it and stuff. As it got older,
Feeding it.
it got airier.
Oh, shut the oh, Carl.
Turned out they'd been sold a chimp.
You maniac. You stupid mank twat.
How on
Don't
earth?
talk shit. That is as if... That, what?
didn't know it.
Oh, don't talk. Are you mental? You
I love the fact
stupid.
that didn't make it into Monkey News.
I know, yeah.
Well, it's a bit sad though. We don't like to bring
They
the
bought...
feature down.
Yeah.
But
And how
anyway,
long was this into... It got hairier. They're born hairy.
no, it wasn't.
They're not born like humans, then develop hair, because they go, hold on, we better get the chimp stuff kicking in now, because we're in the jungle.
School photograph, they were like, hang on a minute. He looks a bit weird. With all the
Oh,
kids.
you are just
Mad, innit?
the rubbish. Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Imagine, oh, God.
But
Just
anyway.
imagine if he was in charge. We did put him in charge of the country.
Terrifying.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Let him run the country.
Just for a week.
Or the mayor. What would you do if you were the president or the Lord Mayor of London or the Prime?
Prime Minister Karl.
I
don't
wouldn't do it like he's going to be offered it. It's a hypothetical question, Carl.
No, but Suzanne was, right, my missus, if you're a new listener.
Your keeper, sure.
Yeah, help her.
She was watching the news trying to follow some heavy stuff. And I'm like,
The weather.
You
What?
know, I just was like bored and I was reading about that mouse that had an ear on its back and stuff like that. So she said, will you take notice of this? Should be, you know what Ricky and Steve are like. They try to teach you stuff and you don't even want to learn. So to try and get me interested in it, she was like saying, what would you do if you're president and stuff?
Yeah.
And I can't be doing with any of it.
What did you come up with? You must
What would
have.
your slogan be?
What did you come up with? Did you come up with anything?
I had a little, the design of it, right? I said I'd have like red and blue, to sort of, do you know what I mean? Both sort of major sides into one. to get the best out of
Well,
both.
that's broken the back of it. That's a pretty good manifesto so far. Anything else? What's on the second page?
I had like, KP looks after me.
That would be the badges, would it?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm a KP nut.
Yeah.
Um,
KP looks
that's-
after me.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's about as far as I went with it.
What would you do? What about policies, transport, crime? Just law and order.
Yeah, what would you do? How would you deal with crime? What would your initial approach be? Would you introduce guns? Should police carry guns?
Nah.
No.
Yeah. Would I have to worry about that?
Okay.
Well,
No,
you're the Prime
good point.
Minister.
Good point.
No, what I'm saying is, though, I mean, Tony Blair isn't sorting everything out, is he?
No, but he has a say in most things.
Does he? Well, go on then. What are the problems at the moment? That need sorting out.
Well, generally, what's the best way to combat? Would you bolster up the prison system? Would you introduce more community service?
Would you
put more bodies on the beat?
would you go harsher for say I don't know drugs? Would you go harsher or less harsh? There's pros and cons of
Higher or
both, isn't it? Because of course you can't see to condone it, but some people, you don't want to go through the court system and cost taxpayers thousands of pounds of money for someone, I don't know, the difference between smoking a spliff and dealing crack. Do you know what I mean? You have to all these things. Have I lost you?
Yeah, I'd just think about it for a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
You think about it for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably ask Suzanne. Why?
This is amazing.
Get her help on it.
Yeah. Can
Now,
we
what about the foreign situation? Would you have supported Bush in his war on terrorism? You're aware of this war that we had recently?
Yeah. I mean, if I was new, though, couldn't I just say, look, new slate. Do you know what I mean? Let's start again.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course you can.
I'm in charge now. Let's see if we can sort this out.
What would you do then?
Then see what happens. Just leave
Brilliant.
it. Just leave it.
Suck it and see.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
This is excellent.
Now, this is not really your jurisdiction. This is not really your area, but I imagine you'd have some powerful friends who might have a say in it.
Go on.
Yeah. Would you? What would you do about single-sex marriages, same-sex marriages?
See, this has got it's Cameron. I thought Cameron had blown it on Big Brother because they said, what do you think about gay fellas getting married?
And he went, oh no, in the Bible it says, you know, a man and a woman, and I thought, oh, he's put off a lot of,
Yeah.
I don't really think many Christians tune into Big Brother, but we know the gays love it.
Yeah.
They love Big Brother, don't they, the gays?
Yeah, so interesting. But,
So,
what would your take be on that? Same-sex marriages?
And then what? Having a kid?
well, just let's start off with, you
Well,
know,
that's all right, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just let them get on with it. It's
Sure.
not affecting anyone else,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
right? But it starts getting tricky
Right.
when you get a kid.
Okay.
go on, why?
Well, it's just tricky, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you could be right. I'm not giving any. I mean, you know, we're not. There's no right or wrong
It's
answer.
alright if you were if you lived in the jungle, right, with no one else,
Yeah.
right, and you just had these two fellas, right,
Yeah.
looking after you, but because you got no one else looking in on that, saying, "Oh, you're a bit weird, aren't you?" Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
as soon as you come
So,
to,
is it, why have they got married? Do you think the gay people turned to a bloke because they couldn't get a woman? If there's two fellas go away and they're in the jungle, they go, we're definitely not going to find a woman here. We might as well bum. That's not how homosexuality starts. People don't.
it makes you wonder. If,
No, it does make you wonder. Gays don't go, well, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen a woman I fancy yet, I'll try a bit of knob.
No. But what I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in like a little jungle, right,
Yeah.
you
How are
want
you brought up?
someone just puts you there.
I don't know what. I don't know what
Can't be
this is about.
bothered, Steve. I can't be bothered
Go
running
on,
the
mate. I'm
country.
listening. I'm fascinated.
I can't be bothered running the country. Like, I'm too much trouble for you.
KP takes care of me.
All right,
Yeah,
fair
yeah,
enough. What
okay.
I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in a jungle,
Yeah.
Right.
right, on your
What do you
own-
mean brought up?
Just let him finish.
What does he mean
You
brought-
understand
brought
what
up,
it is?
though?
Like Tarzan.
You've got to tell me what you mean by brought up. Wolves, chimps. What?
Right, well, there's a good example of what I'm saying to you.
Right.
Right, what I'm saying is, there's a fella, right, he's brought up in the jungle.
Shut up. Just let him finish. Let him finish.
There's no women about, he doesn't know about women, he doesn't understand what women are,
Right.
right? But another fella walks in the scene,
Yeah.
and he gets pally with him.
What does he talk about?
Then they've both got needs.
This scenario is ridiculous. How has he lived? Or does he know what's his reference
I
points?
can't be bothered with this. Honestly, Saturday should be, day off and that, not worrying me about problems.
God! Oh, God!
KP takes care of me.
Oh, dear. Elbow. Fallen Angel on XFM 104.9. So, there we go. Karl as president. He's still confused, aren't you, Karl?
Just a little bit sort of amazed
Yeah.
by the body.
Yeah. You're
Just
in awe
the-
of it, aren't you?
Just the way,
I'm amazed how two people can buy a baby on the internet for £3,000 and not realise it's a chimp till it goes to school.
no, but seriously, what we're, talking about there during Elbow and Fallen Angel, we were talking about that I think
Yeah.
if you're locked up, well, not locked up in a room, you've got a normal life, except there's no women in it,
Yeah.
right?
But how would that happen? What would this point of reference be? How would you bring
Right,
up
hang
a
on a minute,
person
can I just ask you
and
something
totally...
now?
Go on.
How can infinite monkeys and a typewriter?
Right, okay, and I've told you before, right, that is not... You don't actually have to test that model. It's basically a model for that explains the nature of infinity. Okay?
Yeah, but
I've told you before, it works because of the definition of infinity. There's nowhere in the world you'll ever be able to get an infinite amount of monkeys and typewriters to
But anyway, all I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I think if you don't know about women, would you crave for a woman, even though you don't know they're around?
when you hit sort of puberty, your hormones will kick in and you start getting urges.
But for what? If you don't know about it?
You don't have to know about it. You don't, if you grew up and you started feeling hunger, you wouldn't go, I wonder what that is. You'd go, get me a sandwich, I'm starving.
It's different now, it's different.
But I'm not. But we're not
it's
saying
weird.
it's all hardwired or people can't change their natural state. We do it all the time. We fight nature all the time with conditioning.
God, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's that one. I'll take that. It's weird, isn't it?
No, the body is. There was something.
Yeah.
Did you read that thing the other week about?
Man with two penises?
No. We don't need that. We don't. Need that.
Lawyer who got in office realised he was actually an orangutan and they just shaved him, put a suit on him, from Hugo Boss. And the funny thing is, he won the case and the judge said, well, don't send him back to the jungle. Let him set off on his own. Bodge it, wibble and podge. You'd make the best judge in the world.
No, there was a fella.
Here's a banana.
There's a fella who was in a coma for 20 years. Just they kept like taking him through like the normal day. They take him to Alton Towers and stuff. Doesn't know anything about it. Just kept going through the motions. Don't know if they kept charging him. Kept putting him through all that. He eventually came out of it. 20 years.
And went, stop taking me to Alton Towers, it's shit.
I just thought,
And
imagine how much
stop
post he
making,
had. How much post?
Oh,
Did you read about that guy in the paper, Karl? He, sorry, on the internet. He, in about, I think it was about 1984, 85, he had a terrible car accident.
But this must be it.
He went into a coma.
This must be what he's talking about.
Well, they didn't take him to Alton Towers.
Of course they didn't. But you've got to try and decipher the truth from the conjecture, from the thing that I mean, don't forget, Karl says, realises that he's had a dream. He talks to Suzanne and goes, that was good, wasn't it, last night we were in the plane? She goes, no, that's a dream. He goes, oh yeah, where's my cornflakes? You got to, you know what I mean, I can now decipher what he's actually seen, what he's read.
Well, go on, what did you...
Well, I'm assuming it's the same guy.
It is the same guy.
It was a guy in some small American town, and he'd had a car crash, and he'd gone into a coma, and his wife had left him. She'd gone on with her life, because he'd been in a coma since then, and he had just woken up recently.
Marriage wasn't working.
Marriage wasn't working. He just wasn't paying enough attention. He actually had, she was pregnant at the time, and so now his daughter is basically the same age as he was when he went into the coma. And, he's just started coming around, he's just started making jokes. They said, how do you feel? He said, horny, which I thought was quite witty for a man who'd been in a coma for however many years. But anyway, yeah, so he's slowly trying to rebuild, what life he can.
That's
what do you make of that, though? Because the thing is that he's missed, imagine what he's missed, Karl. Imagine the music that he's missed, the
Live
TV
Aid.
programmes,
Missed
the
Live
news.
Aid.
Live Aid, he missed
He missed,
completely. The
Phil
Spice
Collins
Girls,
playing in 2 consonants in one day.
which, frankly, I'd be devastated if I discovered that.
Missed
happened.
Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't, so he put on ripped jeans and they go, passe.
They just have to send him a series of those, I Love 1986
Exactly.
programmes with Kate Thornton filling him in on what he's missed.
Exactly. Peter Kay reminding him of space operas.
Yeah,
he remembers
Richard Burton
those.
talking rubbish.
Yeah. So,
Extraordinary though, isn't it, Karl, to think?
Mm.
No, obviously
So,
not.
had he aged much? Because he hadn't had any problems or anything, no worries.
well,
Is that
he probably wouldn't have, physiologically, he probably wouldn't have the wear and tear of a 43-year-old man.
Is that a good
Because
kid?
he wouldn't have had sun, he wouldn't have had sort of nicotine, beer.
Unless they were just feeding that to him.
Anyway,
Try and
still,
bring him round.
yeah, yeah. So,
You'd feel groggy though, wouldn't you?
yeah, you might feel a bit groggy, yeah, yeah,
Well, he's not fully back to normal. I mean, there's
No,
some
he's-
kind of residual brain damage.
yeah.
But nevertheless, he can form sentences. He's got no real memory, so he can't remember a lot of things.
It was just when I saw
Karl,
that.
have you been in
That's
an accident?
So are we giving the answers out for what's his name?
Oh, later, play a tune. I'm
Yeah.
bored.
Bit of Snoop Dogg?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Snoop Doggy Dogg from 1993. And What's My Name?
Long time ago.
It was indeed.
10 years ago.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Songs of Phrase. We've had very, very few entries. I really think people aren't interested. They really have just given up. I mean, seriously, Karl,
That's
I don't
the
mean to be
one thing. That's the
disrespectful.
one thing you contributed to this show, Karl, and it's the weak link. I
It's the
think
missing link.
in the chain, the missing link. Oh, do you reckon there is one, Karl? Do you reckon they'll ever find the missing link? Wandering around Manchester.
Wait a minute, Karl. The stats then. Let's have the answers, if we can.
Right, it was
Well, let's
specials.
play it once more.
Alright.
Specials.
Yep. Jermaine Jackson. Right, it was Play the Game of Love. I think that was Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders.
Right, you
Right.
think, but you're not sure.
Louis Armstrong was the Don't Mean a Thing if it ain't got that swing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Queen Don't stop me now. We're having a good time. And that.
We're having a ball.
We're having a ball.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering you yourself weren't entirely clear, I think it's only fair to give it to Paul Brown, who got some of the answers right.
PB, you are getting those prizes.
well
They
done,
are
Pete.
on their way
They're
to you
winging their
now.
way to you. Okay, the stats are in for the XFM listener hate list. Some interesting results.
Go on then.
Reverse order.
Okay, in 5th
In
place.
5th place, interesting, Davina McCall.
Yeah, I think that's is a reflection of her being on telly all the time and running out of stuff and being a bit over the top and yeah.
4th position,
Yeah.
Christopher Tarrant.
Okay, well, I mean, that's, yeah, I wouldn't have thought he's the favourite
There is
role
a
model
joint
of. Go on.
2nd place.
Go on.
Graham Norton
Yeah.
is alongside in 2nd place. Patrick Kilty, which means Chris Moyles is the winner with an overwhelming vote. And I swear to God, I have not done anything to those stats.
Yeah.
That is exactly as they've come in off the email.
We do not give our opinions on this.
Do
That
not
was the
condone that.
XFM listeners, but, well done.
Thumbs up, you all win a
We're going
prize.
to play you some nice records because of that, aren't we?
I reckon they sort of prefer some ads.
Either's fine.
Yeah.
Can't think about tomorrow.
Feeder. Forget About Tomorrow on XFM 104.9. When I was at university, my best mate was a bloke called Wally, and he was doing psychology, and I was doing philosophy, and we both got into this thing, theory called determinism, which is about the state of the mind. And it's a materialistic view that everything is part of the causal web, and everything has a reaction for something that happened before it. And by the way, Karl, do not confuse this with fatalism. Determinism is not predictive. It's just that if a brain state happens again, then anyway, the famous
Everyone
one is. Yeah, the famous one is if, you know, a butterfly hadn't shaken its wings, Queen Victoria wouldn't have sneezed. Everything's inextricably linked, right? We were thinking that, right? And we were thinking, what if you changed one word in, like, classic songs, or one note in Beethoven's symphony?
Yeah.
It was how it just wouldn't work.
Well, I've always thought that, come on, baby, light my fire.
Yeah.
Not as good. That sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
Enigmatic, interesting. Not so good. More pedestrian if it was, come on, baby, light a fire.
Yeah, just one thing wrong.
Yeah.
That would be great. Just sitting there, Paul McCartney comes to John and he goes, "All right, John, written a song." He goes, "Well, she was just 17. Well, you know what I mean. The way she looked was way beyond compare. I wouldn't dance with another."
I'll stop you there.
Go on.
I'll stop you there.
What's the matter?
Something not quite right with that. I love the
No.
song. It's great.
Yeah.
Just once more. for
Well,
us.
listen, don't be too harsh. I mean, because we write our own songs,
No,
but
sure,
we can still put both our
John, I
names
think
to
you're
it.
a great talent. I think you're a great talent.
Well,
I'm just saying.
listen, you hippie, right?
Well, not yet.
Well, not yet, but I
Sure.
mean, there's a Japanese bird outside looking
Don't
in.
fancy. I'm not interested.
No, well, listen, well.
And I'll never
right?
change my view.
Right, now listen, right? I wouldn't dance with another.
Is that bit?
Is it that bit you
That
don't
bit's
like?
not
Is it the...
working.
I just like the...
Could you try and... Is there a different
Well,
pitch
okay.
you could go?
I wouldn't dance with another.
So again.
You don't like the...
doesn't-
Is
I'm
it the
just
noise?
not sure the girls are going to go crazy
No.
for it when we do that
Just
bit.
think, just think of...
Is there anything else you've got?
I love the idea of just changing one
Yeah.
lyric. Radiohead. Well, that was their classic song. Creep. You can't really change that, can you? Burke. What if they
Yeah.
called it
Yeah,
Creep? I'm
yeah.
a Burke. I'm a twat.
I'm a knob.
But don't worry about determinism, Karl. Just
Please.
because it says we don't have a free will as such. You know, it's more an illusion. It's not whether we choose our choices, whether we can choose, you know, to choose our
He
choices.
knows all this.
But don't, as I say, do not confuse it with fatalism. It is non-predictive and does not change anything. I mean, the moral upshots are frightening because if we have no free will, then are we culpable for our actions? But again, it changes something because you've got to take people out of society that are at harm.
Carl has
Yeah.
often said that.
All right, Karl?
Am I still the president?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, I'm just asking. I'm not.
Yeah, what would you do? What would you do about determinism? Change it.
I'd have a day off.
If you were president of America, would you ban guns? It's in the Constitution. Everyone's allowed to have them.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
I just love that. Imagine all your different aides and the Secretary of State and generals coming to you, and they come out and they go, "What did he say?" He goes, "He said he's going to think about it." Again, did he say that again? Did he? Yeah. What was he doing? He was on Alan Over looking at monkey news. Apparently, a chimp stole a car and drove to France.
Now,
Brilliant.
monkey news. You're talking.
I'll tell you what, should we have a great song, then monkey news?
It'd be an absolute treat.
What
It'd
about
be
a little
great.
bit of David Bowie, Sorrow?
Yeah.
Didn't write this one, but, I mean, he sings it bloody well. David Bowie, Sorrow, on XFM 104.9. Nearly there, but, you know, we're working our way up to the grand finale. The bit where Karl spouts absolute nonsense from a dodgy source on the internet about a monkey who did something impossible.
Let's cue up the jingle.
Hang on. Alright.
Perfect.
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news!
Right. Let's have a look. This one's from some woman, right?
Yeah.
And she was taking part in the London to Brighton bike ride, right? Lovely day, weather's good and everything.
What year?
She's just a couple of months ago. She's done all the training, right? Done all the training and stuff. Got a brand new bike for it. Got a little puncher outfit and stuff, all set for the day, right? It's a nice day. She sets off. They all start pedalling and that on the way to Brighton, right? So she knows the route and that. Got little headphones on, cycling along. Suddenly,
Right, okay, I'm stopping now. If a cyclist overtakes her and it's going really fast and it's sort of hunched over, but it's got like lots of cycling gear on and a helmet and goggles and they can't tell what it is, but they just know it's like a little hairy fella who hasn't bothered shaving his legs, which is weird, isn't it? Because cyclists usually shave their legs, and this bloke had really hairy legs. But and it won. They gave it the medal. It won 3 years running. They gave it the key to the city. It had its own game show. And then someone said, "Hold on, though. This fella's all hunched over, and he's only 3'5", and his arms are longer than his body. It's a chimp. If it goes anywhere near that, we're never doing it again."
more monkey news next week.
She's cycling
So
along.
anyway, she's cycling along, right? And this tricycle.
I couldn't predict that.
There's always one element you can never anticipate.
Yeah. Got a kiddie's tricycle with a little kid on it. Little hairy kid with a helmet. Okay, just go on then.
Well, the tricycle comes
Whizzing past. Yeah,
him.
strong legs, don't they, chimps?
So she's thinking but didn't get a chance to see the face.
Oh, yeah, couldn't quite see the cyclist. Oh, God! You bald mank git. Go on. Yeah, research scientist Karl Pilkington.
So anyway, she gets to the end line, right? And they got talking. It was a nice day, nice race and all that. So did you see a little thing on a tricycle?
Thing? Well, a person, surely, just a human. Did you see that? No. Did you see that bloke on the tricycle?
So anyway, turns out.
Tricycle.
Yeah. Well, what did you say? Thing? Well, no, that's suspicious. I mean, what did you say? Did you see that fellow on a tricycle?
Anyway, so it turns out
Go on.
it was a chimp.
You're joking!
Right.
Well, Christ almighty, there you go. Unbelievable, and it was a chimp all along.
So anyway, right, so the woman's like,
We're never doing this again.
checking out the news, right? There's nothing on it. She checks out XFM Monkey News.
Right, okay, I'll
I
stop you
don't
there
mention
again. Right, if it turns out she does on the news, right, and the circus goes, we're looking for our chimp, it used to ride this tricycle, and it escaped with police chasing it.
No. So she listened to XFM, see if I'd picked up on the story.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't have it and stuff. So she got in touch with the organisers of the London to Brighton bike ride, said, look, saw a little hairy fella.
Why did she care?
Because she wanted to know, she thought it was a bit odd.
Well,
Turns
why-
out it was a chimp. They weren't happy about it.
Of course not.
Because now the owner of the chimp wants to enter it into the Tour de France.
No! Oh, God! I'm gonna die! Oh, God!
In 2005.
Now, a couple of questions. I trust you'll be able to answer these.
Oh, God! Steve, help me out.
How did it get hold of the tricycle?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, no, that's fine. That's not an important point.
Look, that's important.
How
What's the
did
matter
it-
with you, Steve? He doesn't know that.
How did it know to... well, firstly, how did it know which way to cycle? But more importantly, how did it know there was a major bike ride on
Following,
that
just following the crowd,
No,
Steve.
no.
What's the matter with you?
The owner of it had trained it and stuff.
No, he hadn't.
It had already done the run. beforehand, before the big day.
No, it hadn't.
Like I say, it wants to do the Tour de France in 2005.
No, it doesn't.
But there's something about animal rights. If they don't let it enter, they can kick up a bit of a fuss.
The animal rights is that it's cruel to make a tube ride a bicycle.
Not if it
that
wants
it's
to.
prejudice that it'll go, is it because I is hairy? You idiot!
Right? So,
Wow, that is the worst. That is the worst one yet. Absolute twaddle. Absolute rubbish, Karl.
Have you got a tricycle?
Unbelievable.